Hello everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Just Discourse Podcast with myself, Matt Delaharp and Max Smith. Today we are joined by Max Brianboys and Robbie Waldron, fellow lunatics in the Midnight Specials band. Check that out. It's Midnight Special Band on Instagram. Remember to like and to subscribe. Max, if you want to start off with just saying a little bit about yourself, how old you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Max, I'm 25. I own a hair salon called Shortback and Vibes just outside of Reading, and I also play music in a rock band. Other than that, apparently come on podcasts.
Well, if you like haircuts, look at mine and look at Robbie's. He did his dye job as well.
It's very aggressive. I've gone full. I mean, we're halfway through.
We're going to leave it a few days. So
I get free sound services from the
blonde,
man.
So you got to do it.
I'm like, we're going blonde, and we're about 2 dyes away from it being like silver.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is that what you're going for?
You've
Yeah,
got to do it slowly, otherwise it will just fall out.
Yeah, I mean, we did it a bit.
It would just fall out?
We accidentally someone made it blue last time.
The blue would be cool.
Like blue dye.
This lady gave us this advice. She said, when you're bleaching it, mix this blue stuff in with it. So you bleach it, and then at the end you do colour, right?
Yeah.
Right.
When we were doing colour, I was like, bang a few pumps of this in. I was sort of with another client, not really paying attention. I was like, yeah, do whatever, man. Put a bunch of blue hair dye in with the silver, and then he's come out of the bathroom after washing his hair, and I see him, and I'm just like, oh. And it's just
wrong pot.
Bright blue, yeah, it was not good.
As in like the blue like your jacket or the blue like Smurfs?
No, what, way brighter.
Smurf.
Whoa, Smurf blue.
I think I have a picture of it somewhere. I can send it to you.
Okay, we have to do it. Robbie, same questions to you, buddy?
Yes, so I'm Robbie. I'm 25 years old. I'm a personal trainer, and I am a singer and guitar player in a rock band called Midnight Specials. Yeah,
Check it out.
Bloody good
that shit
band.
out. Yeah, we're really good. You should book us for your weddings and shit.
Yeah, I'm funerals.
Oh, can we have just bar mitzvahs actually?
Huh?
We have
bar
just
mitzvahs.
bar mitzvahs.
Have we done a few of those already?
Yeah, we technically we have.
We are doing a Jewish wedding soon, aren't we?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I've never been to one of them.
Me neither.
Right.
Oh, okay. So I was
Yeah, go.
girl I was working with today. I was telling her we were in a band. And she was like, "Oh, do you know what you guys can do? Have you ever been to an Indian wedding?" I was like, "No." And she said, "Well, basically." She was like, "Well, they're like 3 days, but there's like a drummer band that like drums everyone in." And I was like, "Don't tell me that, because if I tell that to them, then they're gonna be like, let's do it, let's go. Can you drum? No, but we're gonna do it anyway."
Yeah.
So we're gonna be an Indian wedding drummer band.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I would. I think that's all of our strong suits.
How does that work? You just have one person in each corner drumming for
Yeah.
every...
Pretty much.
Every different thing that happens.
Claps on the drums, don't they?
Yeah.
Indians love a drum.
Can you say
If I
that?
know one thing about Indians, is they love a drum.
Well, they do as a people.
They love drums.
This is a well-known fact, is it? Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like it. Okay.
I studied Indians.
Well, that's something new.
Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah.
London.
IBI. Ibil.
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 No, but like, I would say probably a third of my time's Indian. I reckon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Loads, mate.
Where are you based?
Where I'm based? Japan, I'm Japanese.
I can tell.
Full-blown Japanese.
Full-blown-
Oh. Yeah, I'm in Gerrard's Cross in Buckinghamshire.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that's my little area.
Excellent.
It's a nice little posh town. I was so our parents from Wembley, so but then they took a step up to the posh suburbs. That's where I grew up, and then unfortunately my mum didn't keep receipt for private school. And now look what's happening. Yeah, you didn't pay enough for extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So I got a bit off the rails.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It happens, you know.
That's where I went wrong.
Yeah, something like that. Remember when I fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
Which time?
It's been too many times.
Yeah, how many times were you dropped?
No, it's probably what drop was bad, but I played a lot of rugby. I got knocked out a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I've broken a shitload of bones.
Well,
I'm definitely considered being more stupid than I was.
they're really strict on it now, aren't they? Like, watch
concussions,
rugby
yeah.
these days.
No,
Like,
but when I started,
start taking
it was
people
like,
off and that, don't
you'd be like dribbling and like wouldn't be able to speak, and then be like, "Come on, walk it off, mate."
yeah, you can carry on.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Mate, it was brilliant. I smacked the back of my head once and fully like proper dizzy, and then just like water on your face, get moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. But now like the slightest thing they'll take you off for. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
How can you even play rugby if they're doing it off the
Mate,
slightest thing?
they're changing a lot of the rules, and it's.
Oh, is it tag rugby? Because I'm really good at that.
Oh, mate, tag rugby.
That's not really rugby, is it?
No, they
It's
do.
just
They
Don't take this
probably
away
do
from me.
running around with the ball.
Adults do it in Australia, but adults don't do that elsewhere. I don't think. Tag rugby.
No, but I feel like you get to an age where you need to do tag instead of normal rugby.
I mean,
Otherwise you just get absolutely clarted.
But that's what just people do when they grow up. They just play the sport they like until they get injured, really, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone gets injured there.
God, can you imagine how sad is that one day you might be...
Your body's just...
So
giving up
old.
on you.
I don't
You're not
believe
gonna do
you'll last like 5 more years. You'll go from like pretty 29-year-old to like 40 in
Do
one
you
year.
reckon?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not even from any like contact
Yeah.
sports. It's just you.
No, that's just what's going to happen. Well, there's going to be a drop-off, isn't there?
Oh, big one. I hope so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so that's why I like being like the third prettiest one in the band because, you know, I'm not the worst.
You ranked us.
You're not at the bottom.
No, hang on, I don't know, who's first?
You.
Max is
Yeah,
gonna take the
fuck
pretty.
Max is the
bottom.
prettiest. Max is
Yeah,
the prettiest.
that's
Robbie's
right.
the sexiest though. But Max is. Ooh, actually
Oh,
no.
sexy.
Hang on.
Should say
Hang
that.
on.
I'll take that.
Hang on. I might change that around actually.
A girl at pub said I was hard and cute today.
Well, that's
She
nice.
thought I don't know if she could see my bone.
Yeah. Were you pointing at her?
Or she thought I was nails.
You're like, oh, there's a woman
I'll
talking.
take
Oh.
it. I'll take it.
I had a personal victory in a nightclub last week
Mm.
where I was standing with some girls, and the girls that I was standing with were going, so hard being a girl, you can't even walk through a club without these guys just like approaching you and hitting on you. And
Must be so
it's
hard
like
for them.
it's so annoying. And then as they're talking, this girl taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I just want to come in. My friend thinks you're really cute."
Nice.
Perfect.
That's brilliant, Tommy.
Did you kick up a
And
fuss?
I was like,
Not being
oh,
harassed?
I got to turn
This is
around.
disgusting.
I got to be like, you're not so special. Are you? You're not really that special, are you? Virtue signaling that. Shut up.
No, I mean, but there is for a girl. I think it does get to a point of attractiveness that it becomes inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I
It
feel
probably
like
would be annoying.
Oh,
but-
really?
again, I feel like there's
Yeah.
a drop off though. I feel like there's a
What?
drop off. I think
Well, maybe they've had the
I think
drop
it's-
off and that's what they're moaning about.
So like, if this is your graph, right?
Got it.
And like this is like the attractiveness,
Yep.
or whatever.
And this is time.
Right, and this is the amount of people talking to you. No, sorry. No, other way. Attractiveness down the bottom, amount of people talking to you like this.
Got it. Got it.
So it goes like, obviously no one's talking to this bitch. And
Yeah.
then it goes like, oh, okay,
Get to about
Yeah.
4.
okay, more, and then scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, scary attractive.
And
But
scary,
it's not
but
gonna.
then-
It's not gonna
they
plateau
avoid
though. It's
them
gonna come
because
back
they're
down
too
again.
attractive.
No, but I don't think
Two-
anything stops like catcalling and staring, but approaching.
No.
I think it
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
stops approaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Which is probably a bit, if like everyone stared at you and no one approached you, that'd be fucking shit.
Yeah.
They'd probably think
Yeah.
you're a bit of a stranger or something. Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Or
probably.
you wouldn't be able to tell if they were like staring at you because they were like whoa, or they were
Yeah.
like scared.
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
my
like,
point,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. But no, I don't think we'll, as males, will ever experience that level of. Actually, to be fair, the closest I've got is we, with my family, ironically.
Oh no, sweet home Alabama.
We went to this place next to Barcelona called Sitges, and we didn't know it was gay. It was a really nice town.
the whole town was gay.
No, it's like the Brighton of Spain, basically.
Oh, okay.
But we had no idea. And
That's
there
why
was
they
this
took
one,
you
Yeah, there
by
was
the
this
sea.
one. There was on this one road on the strip that had loads of bars and restaurants down it, and there was a little crossroads in the middle, and you'd sort of walk through that to get through the town. And there were chairs outside all of them, but they all faced inwards, so into the path.
Mm.
And I swear to God, I walked through and there's like hundreds of gay men in there.
Nice.
That's the most attention I've ever got in my life. I've been stared down. I was like, damn. I was like, I could make a lot of money if I was gay.
Yeah.
With not much effort at all.
Were you wearing your short shorts?
Always.
He's on holiday. Come on.
Yeah.
But again, short's something that I think is a weird one because the gayer they are, the less gay they come across.
What
Well,
short?
how does that metric work?
So
Not
if
sure
you were
about
to
No,
wear,
that-
There's a cross section going on here somewhere.
Let's
What does the
put
graph
this
say?
on, right?
Okay, we got there.
Look at Max's trousers, right? If
Yeah.
we were to make those into shorts that stop just above the knee,
Yeah.
like a nice,
Yeah.
safe, straight, conservative thing,
Mm-hmm.
it would really gay.
Really,
right?
really gay.
If we put it-
Would it?
Yeah,
If we
okay.
put him in a pair of frayed Daisy Dukes,
Hell yeah.
right?
I want to see that.
That would look a lot straighter. He'd just look like a beer
Especially if it was with a
drinking.
crop top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it needs to
I
be
reckon
just
belly
above the
button
navel.
shirt.
I
A
reckon,
tank top,
I reckon
yeah.
a pair of Daisy Dukes and a crop top is a lot less gay than a pair of chino shorts and like a short sleeve t-shirt.
Where do you come on 3/4 lengths?
Sorry?
3/4 length
No,
trousers.
They just cannot be worn.
Can't do three-quarter.
Ever.
Max.
I'm trying to think of something.
I mean,
Max-
to be
just
fair,
Max wear
maybe
three-quarter
an
legs.
exception, like skateboarders, like really baggy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're like the
three-quarters.
baggies, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Really, that's quite.
But they're worn like 2 sizes too big with 2 belts on.
No, but normally when we're talking 3/4, we're talking like Sports Direct Slazenger with
Yeah.
the tie
Like
on the
below
end.
Yeah, the elastic
no,
tie.
that's
Yeah.
not allowed. No.
I mean, if you're going surfing, you can get away with it.
I see.
No, it's
I
not.
would get. I would do the
I'm
toggles
not sure
tight and
they're
have them
ever
just
right.
above my knee, like the big doubloons.
Oh, that's a good shit. Oh, like a genie.
Yeah.
You look dressed like a genie.
But
That
then
could
does
work.
that make them gay then?
Sorry.
Because they're just above the
they're
knee.
gay, they're gay before you started. I think.
Very true, yeah.
So they've got to be.
Go for it.
So they've got to be just below the arse cheek to be straight. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I get you.
But I think it's a spectrum like anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that math, but we'll try it out. There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
We'd have to do a proper case study though. Though we'd need at least 10 of us to do it, and then we can
We'll
work
put
it
them
out.
all in a case.
We can get that on the
We've
pod.
already promised that we're going to step up our fashion when we get to London.
Yeah.
We're going more outrageous.
Yeah.
More. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Because he has to. Because in London you go back.
Well, then
to
the pink velvet shirt.
Oh no, I think that was either. I think it was the wrong size. I think it was either not tight enough or needed to be baggy.
No, your shirt was sick, man. I liked it.
Oh, thanks.
Sounds
'Cause
good.
I think it was.
I reckon just wash it.
Yeah, we'll just get it really small.
No, just shrink it a little bit.
And I was thinking maybe
So
have
the
it
yolk
open
sits
with a
across-
white vest underneath. That would be quite cool.
What if you just dress like any member of Frankie Goes to Hollywood?
You look,
I
mate.
don't-
You
I
look
don't
like.
know them.
You look like a cholo.
A cholo.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cholo Raider.
If you've got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
white vest on, you've got your shirt on, I guarantee you'll tuck your shirt in a little bit at the back because
Yeah.
you want it to be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
You'll look like, and then you have like baggy-ish trousers.
And then you just have like,
Lord Raider.
yeah, you
What
need to have a
about
check
you-
shirt around your
You
waist.
just tie it up at the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, yeah,
that could
yeah.
work.
that could work. That could look really
Could
good.
work, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, we're already taking it step by step with hair, you know.
Mhm.
Trying to come out my shell, you know.
You got to be careful because you go really close to going ginger.
No, yeah, that's happened. That happened the first dye.
Yeah.
It's like bright orange.
Yeah.
That was
So
like
the next
that was
one-
Hayley Williams orange. Though.
Yeah.
That wasn't like real.
What like
orange.
your jumper orange?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair play actually.
But I'm going full silver
Yeah.
there.
And the next one goes a bit lighter, and then the next one goes white, and then colour goes on it.
Mm.
And then it's nice.
Yeah, then. I mean,
Well, so 4 steps.
Yeah.
no, because I done it before and I regretted it, but now I'm doing it again because I don't learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this will last 2 days, and then the brown will come out the bottom, and I'll have to keep on getting cut like every 4 days. It's fucking pain in the ass.
And how long is the top going to last for?
Oh well,
Couple of weeks.
obviously like up to the roots, 4 or 5 days, but then the roots still look quite cool, like a week, 2
suppose,
in.
yeah.
No tips.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. But it only looks like bright, like blonde for like 4 or 5 days. Should have saved it for something really, but
Yeah.
fuck it.
Mate, every day's a special occasion.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Exactly. Every day you wake up.
Yeah, I say, I'm alive again. That's how I wake up
I
every
made it.
day.
Yeah, I made it. And is that before or after you scream?
I don't do the scream anymore. When I used to work in London, my morning routine was I'd sort of wake up, my eyes are open, and I'd roll over, and then I'd just scream into my pillow each morning. So I'd roll over, it's like, And then I'd get up
What, because
and
you
start my
weren't dead,
day.
or
Say again?
It's
what? Because you weren't dead,
So
or
I've
Yeah.
woken up again.
I was like, it's 5 a.m. and I have to get the train into the city.
Yeah. Hang on, were you here?
So
Were you
yeah, I was
here?
in this studio.
Oh, okay. That is a long journey. That makes a lot of sense.
No, I was based in Reading for a little bit, and I moved to London.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
that was brutal.
That was brutal when I was in Reading. It was like,
that's fucking horrible,
Back in the
man.
and the train's always fucked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the next life, I'm going to be a train driver because I swear
they
these
strike
boys-
all the time, don't they?
They
It's brilliant.
strike all the time. They're like they
They're
don't
paid
go
for
to
it.
work. Oh, we're on strike, and then they have a month off, and then they run someone over, and then they have 2 years off.
Oh yeah, because it's like
If you're in one of the top, because everyone's always saying how traumatizing it is hitting someone with a train. I bet it's fucking not.
I bet it's fun.
Yeah.
I bet it's not. I
but
mean,
it's fun.
Yeah.
hitting someone.
It would depend.
Hitting someone with a car.
Depends if you knew them.
Yeah, but
I mean,
if you hit someone with a car where you're going at like 30 miles an hour and they're all mangled there, oh, kill me!
they're not gonna get mangled at 30,
If you
mate.
hit
Not quite
someone-
dead,
if you
yeah.
hit someone with a train.
That's like.
That's just
No, but if
it's-
it's
that's
a
like the opening
station
scene of The
road, it's like
Boys.
a bit messy though. If you're going like 100 mile an hour, that's just
red mist.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly.
Red
You're
mist.
not
Yeah.
seeing it.
That's just like spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, and you're going to be gone before you see him. It's not like
Yeah, it'd be quite cool.
It's
See what
almost
happens.
It would be.
it literally it'd be like, oh my god, is that a
Yeah.
and it's red splat on the windshield. Like,
And then you can take a year off with pay.
Did I hit them? And then it's like, oh.
Was
Do
it
you
a
know-
bird?
Do you know the strike rule for?
No.
I think it's either 3 or 4. If you as a train driver, if you hit someone or someone like throws themselves in front of you, you get retired on the spot with your lifetime pay.
No.
Dead
Serious?
real.
Surely I would.
Dead real.
I'm sure I could commit
You'd be
someone
pushing
to commit
people in
suicide.
Yeah, you'd be like,
I'm sure there's a trap stupid enough so you could pay to commit suicide.
yeah, and you'd be like, look, mate, it'd be worth it.
Okay,
You,
well,
know.
you think you see what it's like right
I mean,
now?
I'd feel bad for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But we are in Reading. I'm sure there's like quite a big selection.
There is. Max, how many do you know?
I know a lot.
Well, maybe you could just set it up. You could just add
A fake body?
No, like murder.
Oh yeah, there you
could
go.
Pick someone.
Yeah.
It'd be better to pick someone.
Yeah, you want to pick someone that you
Yeah,
know
I don't
no
want-
one's gonna miss.
I don't want someone that's already sad. I mean,
Yeah.
I want someone that.
Exactly.
Well, the problem is you kind of blown the opportunity now.
Oh shit! Yeah.
What are you talking
Damn
about?
it. Well, I've spoken about it on podcast.
It's alright. The tramps don't listen.
I'll
It's
pay
fine.
someone. I'll pay someone.
You pay some-
Yeah, I'll just pay someone.
What if you got like a mannequin and just covered it in like blood bags? And you-
Oh shit,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
then
that's exactly the same thing.
I think
Same
they'd probably
thing. It
do
would
some
just
type of CSI, wouldn't they?
Don't worry about
I
that,
would
mate.
shoot
You're
them,
thinking
like,
too much
why
into
are there
it.
chunks of plastic everywhere?
And you'd be like, you had a prosthetic
But
leg.
if it's because of the trauma, not because of the
Death.
actual
Exactly.
death.
As long as you thought
It's
it
the
was a
trauma.
real.
Yeah, exactly. You
You're
genuinely
not
believe it's
being
thing.
prosecuted for doing a murder. You're saying I need time off of work because I'm PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go. We've overcome the problem.
Although-
That's good. Then
Again-
people have sympathy
again,
for
if
you as
they-
well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I take back. I don't
If
want
they
to
hit
do
a
that.
person
Yeah.
and get time off work, what happens if they hit deer?
Deers don't like trains. Deers don't use public
These
transport
people
anymore.
change all the time, I swear.
No,
And I
but-
believe with your pension, you can take 25% as a lump sum straight away. So that
Ooh.
means that needs to be
But that's all
divided
pensions.
across 4 of us if we're going to do this plan.
Yeah, but whose
Yeah,
pension?
well,
Because if it's his, we got nothing.
Well, actually, no. To be fair, if we put it in a cure ops or a SIP, we can draw down straight away.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, would you want to tell Max? Would you want to tell Max what you did for a university degree?
Oh yeah, so I did accounting and finance, and I was an IFA in South
Excellent.
France.
Okay, brilliant.
So I used to deal in like pension and mortgage solutions for expats.
That's
So
extremely
dorky,
helpful.
isn't it? Oh.
That is, well, to you, Robbie, to me, that's extremely
Does
interesting.
that sound fun to you?
Mate, that,
Oh,
I wouldn't say
I
I'd personally like to do it,
Yeah.
but it's handy to know someone because then I haven't got to
Oh, he
learn
knows
it.
like,
So I can just come to,
random
say,
shit.
Max.
Yeah.
And then you
Well,
like, Max,
he just,
like, what do I
he
need to
said
do here?
Two
with-
sentences. I don't know what you just
with
said.
my
but
money?
I was like, he know what it is.
Yeah, so
Oh,
he-
those letters
he
you
was-
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So he was talking
Yeah.
about
Robbie, you and me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking about when you in the UK you can hit drawdown where you can start taking your pension at whatever the age is now. 60
I think it's
or something.
7, no, is it 67?
67.
Yeah, something like that, right?
The
And,
French is still at 62 because, you know,
I'm gonna be
they
dead.
kicked off about
Yeah,
it.
and, and you've got a couple of types of pensions, but the main ones are like an occupational pension or a private pension, right? So occupational is like if you're a policeman or some shit like that, and the government goes, "Oh, here's your."
Which none of us will get
Yeah.
because we don't work in
But
public service.
So-
I could be a cop. That's
but most things used to be some kind of occupational pension.
BT or something like that.
Yeah, and then you can take that and you can convert it into a different type of pension. So if you're staying in the UK, it'd be a SIP, a self-invested personal pension. Or if you move abroad, you can use a cure ops, which is a qualified, recognised overseas pension scheme. And what that means is you can move it into like a tax haven, so like Portugal or somewhere like that.
I'm thinking, fuck, I need to get all this shit down.
Yeah, with like a
Robbie's falling
non-resident
asleep.
tax regime.
So that's why we're recording. You can listen to it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, were you taking notes? Because I was not.
It's meant to
There'll be a
business
quiz
podcast.
afterwards.
We can't
Yeah,
just talk about like women.
no,
and
it's still
drugs.
People being hit by trains.
Why not? Yeah, no, yeah. We start off. To be fair, our second one, we started talking about how a solution for paedophiles is we make them fight bulls.
Oh, I'm sure you could have more
That's
fun than
definitely the worst solution.
that. But that could be one of them. I think it'd be like.
That's a
who?
controversial
They'd
opinion
be
from
more
you,
like
buddy.
a Squid Gamey sort of thing. So they could.
Yeah, but you don't want them to win. That's why you have
Well,
them
no,
versus the
but
bull.
obviously they don't win. They all die. But there'd be loads of different challenges, and then because they would get through to the harder tasks, because some of them would be a bit shit.
Yeah.
Well, so we've added a stage then, the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Pedo
but
bullfight.
I think we can do better. I think having like a sweatshop that
Yeah.
produced children's toys
No, I'm sure.
No, because they're going to find some way to fuck them up.
By a paedophile. You know, you have someone like me who walks around with a cigarette and they're stubbing it on the back of their necks. You know, work hard.
I suppose, yeah, that's
You slag.
not a bad little idea.
No, there you go. We have the underpaid, exploited child classes of the world. We replace all of those children workers with convicted paedophiles.
Okay. Not enough pedos.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Are you sure?
How many are
I watched a program called Spotlight today,
Yeah.
and effectively, what is it, like 7% of the whole Catholic Church, which is, you know,
We just round up the
Massive.
Catholics. There you go. That'll do it.
Mate,
There's a lot of them.
I fucking love the Catholics. I think it's hilarious. The whole anti-gay thing, the whole anti-everything thing comes from the one chapter of the Bible called Leviticus.
Where a man should not lay with another man.
As he doth lie with a woman, right?
Yeah.
It says that twice, right?
Yeah, it just means you can't cuddle.
Yeah, right?
What's wrong with that?
No, it means you can't fuck dudes, right?
Oh.
That's what it says.
I read it
You
wrong.
can't fuck dudes, it says that twice in the Bible. And they were like, yeah, it's wrong. But it says you can't eat shellfish 6 times in that chapter.
And you can't wear clothes made of multiple different material either.
That's Jewish.
But it's still in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
But the Catholics are picky
But
and choosy about
but-
which one they go for.
Yeah, but Leviticus, it's got a bunch of things like that. It's like you can't just hate the gays, you've also got to hate the prawns. Do you know what I mean? And in theory, you've got to hate them 3 times more than you hate the gays.
No, that makes sense
So
actually.
when they're all protesting, they're like, God hates fags, and he's got to say, but he also hates crabs. Right? And they're not doing that. Bunch of cowards.
but then they eat fish on a Friday, don't they?
Sorry?
But then they eat fish on Fridays.
And they fuck kids.
And they fuck children.
What about
Yeah.
what about the latest rise of the last few decades in vegetarian and veganism? Would you not say that's a part of it?
I've been wanting to start a vegan brand for a long time.
Yeah, I do like this idea actually.
Yeah, so my problem with everything...
If this is a good idea, I'm cutting this out. Carry on.
You look at Beyond Meat, you look at something like that, and it goes, okay, here's the beef burgers, here's the chicken burgers. They all use living counterparts. So I thought about a food and clothing brand that made things based on non-living things. So you could have dodo, you could have pterodactyl burgers,
Nice.
you could have dinosaur leather.
Yeah.
You could have, and you can just recreate it as close as you can. So you can have, this is as close to a T-Rex steak as we can get, without any meat.
And it's what, like the size of this room kind of thing.
Without any T-Rex in it.
Yeah.
Well, you could buy like a T-Rex wing.
Yeah.
Like,
The wing.
yeah, T-Rex wing in like not T-Rex. What do you call them?
Pterodactyl.
Yeah.
In buffalo sauce, obviously.
Obviously.
But you wouldn't, there wouldn't be too much R&D in that because
T-Rex wing would be funny.
the
It's
current
like this big.
the current product doesn't have any beef in it anyway, does it? So
Yeah, but you'd have to. Like,
It's dog shit for you as well. It's horrible.
Yeah.
For you.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't understand it because you can be a healthy vegan. It is possible, but that fake meat stuff is terrible.
I
Yeah.
think
It's
moral-
worse for you.
Yeah.
It's so bad for
10
you.
times worse for you.
My
Yeah.
problem
It's
is,
horrible stuff,
is
mate.
morally, I think vegans that eat it, it's like hand-drawn child porn,
Corn.
Right?
right?
You meant to say corn.
Corn,
So-
remember corn.
No, we're good.
Oh,
we're
sorry.
past the good boy. We're
Oh.
past the good boy. It's
Oh,
okay.
No, you have to say it with corn. It has to be the whole time.
Oh, fine. I'll bleep
Yeah,
it.
because that's just from the sound. It will flag
Yeah.
it. Won't
So
Yeah.
if
Sean the sheep. Carry on.
if they're saying that the act is wrong,
He's been saying prawn for the last 10 minutes.
if the act
That's
is
fine.
That's close. To be
if
fair.
the act is wrong because of a moral thing, right? So like don't kill animals, they're helpless, defenseless, da 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 da.
That's not an excuse.
Then you getting someone to like, we're gonna fake it, but we can still enjoy the thing, right? It's like someone saying, look, I don't want to diddle that little 9-year-old, but if you could hand draw me a picture of her, alright?
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with that point, to be fair.
It's a good analogy.
It's exactly the same thing. So
Yeah.
any vegan that's like, oh no, I don't eat chicken, but I eat fake chicken, it's,
It's like saying I don't fuck kids, but I, fuck
but
puppets.
but
But I
like-
watch other people do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Pretty
exactly.
much. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not worth. It's all. There's a lot of virtue signaling in veganism.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I do get it. I do. Did you ever see those videos of the chickens getting smashed up against the wall by the
Yeah.
dogs?
Not
Yeah,
the
it's
price,
pretty-
right?
It's pretty horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
Not the most enjoyable
the
one.
the really cheap shitty meat is like million, and I get it. But I would, if it came to it, I would happily kill my food. I would kill
Yeah,
I think that's
likewise.
the.
Yeah, likewise.
just not
It's the
economically
natural way,
viable.
isn't it?
They don't really have feelings. If they do have feelings, who cares?
Chicken's a little fucking
Really.
dinosaur.
But
You see them go after a mouse.
I can understand from a conservation perspective. Like, okay, farm less cows, less deforestation. We get to keep the lungs of the planet going. Most different species of wildlife in the world living in the rainforest. Cool. Let's conserve that conservation wise. But build a 30-story car park and just battery farm chickens in there.
Strong.
Who cares? Save a cow, kill a chicken. I reckon.
That's a good tagline.
But it is. It's
Mate,
a very good
think about
tagline.
this, to save the world, if we just brand chickens as arseholes and cows as really nice.
Chickens are assholes. All we got to do, where we had that stupid bullshit
Steak's
about
good,
the turtle and the straw.
Steak's really good, but it's like a special occasion
Yeah, it is special.
for the environment. Like,
But no,
Are you
like-
doing that? We
like
might as well be
Hindu
Hindus.
style.
I was going to say, we might as well be Hindus then. When
cows
we
are like
pray to the
superheroes
cows.
to them, aren't they?
I like eating them though. Like, I do like cows.
In
but not
Hindus
enough
or
to
cows?
eat them.
Yeah,
Robbie,
red
you like
meat
eating
is
them?
king.
I like burgers.
Yeah.
I
Top
like
food.
burgers and steaks, but just like
Well,
eat them twice a week.
And
Actually,
you
no,
can
that's
survive on red meat alone.
What's your line with animals? Is there animals? I wouldn't eat a dog. That,
No.
I don't know, but would
I
I eat
would.
like a wild one in like
Yes,
China or
in-
something? Probably.
If
China, go to Greece.
Yeah.
Mate,
Greece,
if
maybe.
you're, if
Yeah, a
anyone
Greek dog,
offers you
spicy.
food, it's probably alright. As a
Yeah. I mean,
It was like the horse
in-
meat scandal, wasn't it? Well, in all the
The lasagna,
Tesco's
yeah.
beef, everyone was kicking off. And you're
I
thinking,
think
well,
that's in lasagna.
horse is far more
What's wrong with
expensive,
that?
isn't
Yeah,
it?
excellent.
do you know what I
That was a treat. They were
You're
giving us
getting a
high
better
quality
deal.
meat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think
I don't think I'd
I think
care.
the main thing with, I was reading a study the other day. The main thing with the meat thing is I don't really have a problem with eating meat, but as you mentioned, I do have a problem with the way that they are raised and looked after. You know, when they're in like the battery farms and they're beaten and blah blah blah. So the study I was reading was saying that basically, with like the factory farmed animals, the stress levels in their bodies increases the cortisol, which we then ingest ourselves, and then our stress levels are massively increased
Yeah,
due
I mean,
to it, and then it
that's-
has a knock-on effect on that way. Whereas if they're proper grass-fed, farmed, fucking looked after their whole lives, which I know is not easily to do on a mass scale, but then the effect on the environment, them, and then us on the flip side
Yeah.
is much better for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's the cost of reality, isn't it?
It's a costing
Because
factor.
if
isn't
you,
it?
because in an ideal world, every cow would be raised in nice, every chicken would be raised in a nice place.
Mm.
But in that world, rich people afford meat, poor people can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
And
true.
if it's available for rich people, it's got to be available.
Well,
Exactly.
or we just make battery farming less stressful,
Or we could get rid of poor people.
or get rid of poor people.
Well, Bill
might be
Gates
easier.
is talking about that at the moment. To be
Yeah,
fair.
he's a sketchy cat.
That was the whole COVID thing, wasn't
Right.
it? Actually, I'm
Really
not sure
sketchy.
allowed to say that either.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
fuck off.
sorry.
Give us a fucking COVID warning. Who cares?
Oh, and yeah, my dad would be upset with me as well,
Schmovid.
because he told me off for saying the C word because not because he doesn't care that I swear he says you just save it for special occasions.
Ah.
Like real C words.
Fair play.
For people like Bill
it's
Gates.
good 'cause
I
you
like
don't
that.
want it to lose its power.
I like
It's a
that. That's
great
good.
word.
Yeah.
It's sharp. It's snappy. It digs. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
But just beware, like if you're describing like another country. Oh, you just said it.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
But it works very well in the English language. Have you ever heard an American say it?
No, Australia's the best.
They kill it.
There's
No,
loads of
Ameri-
words like that.
Australia's
though,
works.
Australia's
If
the best.
you hear an American person use the word,
The American
Destroy-
person saying
they cannot
dickhead is
say it.
hilarious. It sounds so stupid.
Or them saying
Destroy.
bastard is
Yeah,
Yeah,
hilarious.
wanker
yeah.
sounds stupid.
Yeah,
as well.
wanker.
Oh my god, you're
That's-
such a wanker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
it
ruins
does
it.
No, but I do love the way that Americans and Brits talk to each other because the way that they are, you're like, awesome, yeah, I work for an American company, and like you have like what they think is banter and what English people banter, like, oh my god, you guys, you say water, a bottle of water, and we're like, yeah, you guys get shot with AR-15
In primary schools.
you goddamn bitch, now sit down.
You get slaughtered more
Yeah,
by your
you
own.
don't speak to me.
You get slaughtered more by your
No,
own
but it's
children than
literally-
any
it's
enemy.
literally- That's always the British response to
bad,
anything
yeah.
American, isn't it? It's like, hey, oh my god, our constitution is like, shut up, school shooting.
Doing nothing about it.
It's like, shut abortion and school shooting, shut up.
I don't, like literally since when I was younger, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but sort of pre-14, America's was this really cool far away.
Yeah,
place
yeah,
where all
where
the-
everybody
where
wanted
all
to
the
go.
actors-
You wanted to
Yeah.
where all
grow
the
up.
actors
Yeah.
were and all the movie stars were, and then you started like
10,
news
15
and
years,
then like
just-
social media, like oh it's fucked up over there.
Mm-hmm.
But there are cool bits, really cool bits I want to go to.
There's like pockets of awesome, and the rest of it. You're
Like
like,
the
fucking
South.
huge, though, isn't it?
South
Everywhere.
Texas, all around that area.
yeah.
Was
I think that's still.
This massive
Yeah.
The
Champion.
closest I've
Yeah,
ever
fuck yeah.
been to being in a full-blown bar fight was in
that Kentucky, was it?
Kentucky Louisville.
And they love it.
Ah,
don't they?
Louisville. We did it. You get a slugger
And I
as well.
literally had this big, fat racist and his son come up to me and go, "You're not from around here, are you?
Hang on, who's racist towards you?
Oh, that's fun.
Get the fuck out of my country." And luckily, I've been talking to these 4 country boys. One of them was a guy called Ryan Fowler,
Good name.
who's actually a famous country musician. Don't know what he was doing
What?
out in the bar. Yeah, I found out on Instagram, mate. I was like, what the hell? And they all backed us up.
Nice.
It was
That's
great.
unreal.
Everyone
That's-
grabbed
I would
super
like
cubes
to
and
be
was
What, so they were racist because you
because we're
were
British.
English?
Oh, no,
That's
no.
amazing, isn't it?
But they
That's
I suppose
amazing.
they're from the south, isn't it? So they
yeah, 'cause
probably
in their heads they're all like, "Hey, we the
hated the
Americans
redcoats, didn't
chased y'all out with our pitchforks." It's like, yeah, and French and Spanish.
Yeah.
And shut up.
and you're still really under our tax
I
laws. So.
think-
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it gets a bit sad when you start talking about old world wars.
I don't. I love old world wars.
No,
we
but
spoke about that.
in like a
We can
bar.
speak about new world wars if you
Oh, I
like.
can't. I'm rubbish with history.
Well,
But I'd
the
love
New
to
World War is against all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And it's currently ongoing. So.
Yeah. Putin's like, "I want to fight everyone."
Yeah, I could make comments about that with no full well. I have no facts.
Yeah, I've got no idea.
Well,
what
so
It's
we-
fun though. It's fun that way,
We,
isn't it?
we do usually make a disclaimer that we will delve into politics, yet we have no idea what we're talking
I haven't
about.
got a
Oh,
fucking
can we talk
clue.
about Trump?
Yes, go
'Cause I
on.
quite like him.
Oh,
But no,
I like
just-
Trump.
Just because I think American politics is so like completely wrecked.
Yeah.
It honestly doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And like fun value, he's better.
He is
Yeah.
the.
Well, this
he's
is-
fucking
The thing
hilarious.
that frustrates me the
He's
most.
an absolute.
crazy ass.
He's a
is-
professional stand-up, effectively.
Yeah, but he's-
However, he performs as well. He was
Yeah.
the best president I think they've ever had.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I don't know loads about the American
I
government.
love that
And
sort of
they-
stat. It's like with it. I reckon maybe.
Sounds good though, doesn't it? But then, like,
Yeah.
the media whipped up such a frenzy about hating Trump so much that they outed him to get, I'm sorry, a complete retarded.
Oh,
No,
mate.
no, he's not
Geezer.
retard. He's a corpse.
He's a
He
giant-
he
He's a
cannot
dead-
He's a
man.
dead
he
man.
cannot hold.
It's so embarrassing.
He can't put a sentence together.
He
can
can't walk upstairs.
He's
But have
always-
you
always
seen him?
funny.
Have you seen him with young girls?
Yes. Everyone's seen that video. That's just weird.
Yeah.
And that's noisy.
And it wasn't just like
Oh, sorry.
it wasn't like an accident with one of them. It was like fucking like 20 of them came through.
Yeah. It's like
Every
you
single
sniff
one,
each
yeah.
of you.
Oh, Clinton body count's another fun bit of the.
That is a good
American,
What is his body
Oh,
count?
what do you guys think about JFK?
JFK. Oh, I've seen. I think I've listened to just.
Have
enough
you guys
about
read
it.
In terms of
Yeah, a lot about it.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
done deep dark
So
rabbit
100%
holes.
conspiracy. I would have thought.
So, but you see the motorcade come, right, and you see this shot ring out that's meant to be from in front of the car, and it looks like it comes from the back.
yeah.
When he stops forwards.
What? So you're saying
I'm
it's
saying
not
second
Levy Harvey
gunman,
Oswald?
man. I'm saying
No,
Lee
no,
Harvey.
100%.
And for him to be shot by another random guy 2 days later.
Yeah.
No,
That's
hang on.
definitely-
No, he wasn't. Lee Harvey Oswald was not. First of all, JFK was shot twice. They found an intact bullet, not a bullet casing, an intact bullet,
Right.
which doesn't happen to any bullet created by man.
That was-
It gets
it was-
flattened
It was
or
perfect,
poof,
wasn't it?
perfect bullet
So what-
that
so
matches
why-
the gum.
so
Because they said that.
why
killed
was
him.
They said
perfect
they
then?
said
It
that
was
killed
called
him.
the magic
That's
bullet.
impossible.
but that bullet was in perfect shape.
It's
Yeah, but they
impossible.
had an explanation for it called the magic bullet. That
Yeah.
it ricocheted off his fucking skull in some ways, and that was the only way it could have ended up where it was, and that doesn't happen.
Which
But then if it did, it would be damaged, wouldn't it?
it would be,
Yeah,
it would be
flat.
flat
Yeah, it'd be flat,
or
yeah.
exploded,
Or
either
in
depending,
some way
depending on the
damaged,
shell
yeah.
or what's
Yeah,
in
the
it.
picture of it is completely clear.
Lee Harvey Oswald was killed by Jack Ruby.
Yeah.
Jack Ruby was the head of the security team for that, which also worked for MK Ultra. MK Ultra was the ones who had Charles Manson.
Yeah.
So Charles Manson was
Filling up with acid.
filled with acid while he was in prison.
Not just
Released,
him,
he
but-
was then arrested multiple times by loads of different police departments. And whenever they tried to process him, some dude turned up and released him
Let him out of prison.
every
Let 'em
time.
out.
Every time.
Yeah, that's because he's part of the.
That's
It's a fantastic book by Chaos by Tom O'Neill. It's a fucking awesome book. He basically just gets receipts for
Was it called
everything that
Chaos?
happened. Chaos.
Theodore Kaczynski was
Mental book.
Was a MK Ultra as well, wasn't it?
And so Unabomber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to know exactly what was going on
It's nuts, isn't it?
with those guys. It was giving people like 40 hits of acid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what the intention was.
Mate,
because
I literally
Mind
think-
control.
It was
By the
mind
look of
control.
things,
Yes,
the
to fuck them
intention
up to the point
they've-
where they're still
they've tried to
functioning.
They've tried
Yeah.
to dress it up
But
as
they
something
can't really do it
fancy.
themselves.
They've just
Because
discovered.
if you've done acid,
They've just
Yeah.
discovered
Yeah.
psychedelics. And it's
no,
how
you
much.
haven't. Because I can't imagine being never to be controlled by?
No.
No.
Mate.
But if you did
Think
40
of the doses
hits,
though.
But the
yeah,
doses,
the whole point is that
Yeah.
it mangles your brain,
it makes you.
but they can then program you because your brain is so fucked.
Yeah, we did
It's like the
ask,
electric shock therapy, isn't it? They basically
Yeah.
fuck your brain up, but you're
Yeah, it was
still
like- by the
able
look
to
of things,
function.
It was like, how many hits of acid does it take to make this guy retired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that seems to be that was the experiment. I wonder if we can give him enough that afterwards he'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
You
That's
studied
such
English.
that's such a hilarious. Like, no, I would have preferred if they like mixed different things just to see if it changed it.
Well, it's
They
a-
probably did.
Yeah.
They say that it's a lot to do with like the celebrity MK Ultra thing, isn't it? Is that they fuck them up to the point so much that they forget who they were previously as a person, that they can just program the reality they want them
Yeah.
to be, or the
So
person
that one
they
I don't
want them
know.
to be.
Who are you talking about specifically?
So that was you remember the whole Epstein Island thing?
Yeah.
And they were talking about
Good times. Yeah.
yeah,
Back in the day, boys,
where Epstein was just killed in his.
26 times.
That's fucking crazy.
What do you guys say? Because I remember looking.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry, you were saying. Let me finish first.
No, sorry. Go.
So it was to do with the main MK Ultra experiment was exactly for that, for celebrities and public figures and stuff like that. Is they effectively get them in, drug them up to fuck to the point where they forget them, even like molest them and do all these horrific things to them, to the point where they in their conscious mind they've been so abused and fucked that they want to completely forget who they were and blah 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 to the point where
it's like
they can then be
multiple personality disorder, basically.
exactly that yeah. So
Damn.
like most celebrities have alter egos. That's supposed to be based on that.
That makes sense because the
Beyonce,
multiple personalities
Kanye,
were extreme trauma,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah. Miley, Bieber.
Yeah, all of those people.
Because that would be extreme trauma. If
Yeah.
you
It
were
would.
if you were like fucked off acid and people started messing with you,
Yeah.
that would be horrific.
Yeah. I mean, I walked down the road before and the tree was like scaring the shit out of me.
But maybe on 40 hits and then some guy in the lab
A lizard comes in and starts
just puts
on
on
a
a recording of screams.
Yeah.
Becoming like, can you feel the spiders under your skin? Here's a potato peeler, let them out.
Sorry, Max, you were going to say. What do we think of
What do you guys
Epstein's
think
subject?
of Epstein, yeah, so I found it really interesting watching the news and the two trials running alongside each other
Ghislaine.
was
and
Johnny
Robert
Depp.
Johnny Depp
yeah,
and Ghislaine, and we didn't hear a thing about it.
No,
We did
exactly,
not.
Yeah.
Do you know the fucking names
Where are
of
the
it?
flight
That's
logs?
the only one. It's the only ever sex trafficking case, and they never released the names of the people that were trafficked.
Yeah. Or the people that were supposed to be like
They're
Jeffrey
trying to
Epstein was
imagine all
the
these
trafficker. No, or was he was the guy that set it up, the pimp, effectively.
Yeah.
We didn't hear about the people that he was pimping to,
yeah.
But it's
which surely is the main.
It surely is all
The main
people
aspect.
visiting the island.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because it sounds like that island was basically used to compromise people. So
Yeah.
they could-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so
So they'd get people there.
they'd
They'd
get
effectively
pics of
set them
videos,
up
yeah.
to have sex with someone who they thought was old enough, but obviously they've got to be fairly young.
Yeah.
And then they would come out and say, "Look, right, that girl was 14 years old.
Yeah,
We've
here's
got
the
a video of you. Now
Hit Prince
you're
Andrew.
going to do whatever I fucking tell you to. Otherwise, we're
Yeah.
going to ruin your
That would
career."
be good.
But I've,
Yeah,
there we go,
I've
that could
heard
work.
that
I
about
didn't
apparently
know that.
Suge Knight and those guys used to do that with their
Yeah,
record label.
yeah.
Did they watch to all
So
to the
what they
rappers
do
as
is
well?
when a rapper wanted to sign with them, they'd bring him in, they'd get him all fucked up, then they'd drug him, and they'd have like 3 big guys go into a room, they'd film them like raping him or something.
Whoa.
Jesus
Right,
Christ.
and the next morning they'd bring him into a room, they'd put the video of him getting fucked in the background on, and just slide the agreement across for him to sign.
Wow. And then you get absolutely fucked up on the
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's weird.
Wow.
But apparently it was
That's
used to be an
intense.
okay contract.
Yeah.
It wasn't, a great deal, but it was an okay deal. It was like, there you go.
Yeah.
We always signed.
That's an aggressive start to a business contract.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Right,
Big old
he was a
start.
crazy
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Mental.
Well, I remember that scene in.
Maybe Matt and I should have done
what
something
you
like
call it?
Mm.
Straight out Compton.
For who's who in this situation?
that. Well, I wouldn't have been getting raped.
That's what you think.
Depends what we're
You're
taking.
spoken like someone about to be raped.
It's not going to be me.
Yeah, no one needs that.
No,
It wouldn't be the best thing to happen to you.
but it's taking a somber turn.
Taking a summer turn. Yeah.
No, I'm still pretty upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
That was one of the first 10 minutes as well.
yeah.
Wait, that was half an hour ago.
I do,
No, that was 35 minutes ago.
I do wonder how much of it goes on in jail.
Oh, it's shooting quite a bit.
You would
it
imagine.
depend
So I
on
don't
the
think it's
level of
massive in the
security.
UK, but I think
Really?
in American jails, yeah.
Oh, it definitely still happens.
But
It definitely still
like,
happens, but it's not
in
massive.
the UK, so what I'm saying is like, as soon as you're locked up for 5 years plus.
You're shagging a bloke, is that what
Right.
you're saying?
No, but what I'm saying is like you've got a bunch of.
How long
you've
is
got
it
a bunch of,
Yeah.
yeah.
You only need
what
a year.
Point, at what point do you need to? Are you like look at your cellmate? Like, God, if you just grew your hair.
Shave the
I
beard.
think I could go a couple years.
Sorry.
I could go a couple years before I start.
Yeah, I could go a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think so.
But like,
You're
what-
like, come on, Malcolm.
Matt, you pretend like you could go life.
I've got no idea. No, probably.
No.
I'd probably be there as well.
You're a liar.
I'd probably do 6 months and be like, I've had enough of
Because
this.
if you're doing life, you're like, you may as well just start straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
forever.
there's zero
Just
chance of
condition
getting
yourself.
out,
You're like,
zero
if I'm getting
chance.
laid, it's going to be a dude. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I've got to get used to
you've
this.
got to get used to it. Yeah.
And I've got to get used to because they're going to be trying to shake you off as well, aren't they?
While you're mounting them, or just in general?
Yeah, they'd just be like, "Get off me!" And you're going to have to go, "Shut up, bitch." Like, because it's not going to be a pleasant, loving interaction, is it? I can't.
Well, no, I prefer it like that. Maybe that's
Yeah.
not what you.
What, pleasant and loving?
Yeah, I want.
I thought you were like, oh no, I want it like he
You're not gonna
described.
have a tender. You don't.
You're in
like,
prison.
You're not like, oh, I can't wait to lay you down with those crusty.
Why not? I
cups."
should.
Yeah.
You never. There might be a tender twink in.
No, I don't believe it.
I don't think so.
No,
Oh,
what
unless.
you're going to do, you're going to go in there and you're going to dominate some white supremacist. That's what you're going to want. You're going to.
Yeah, that's the only way to go.
Like him, he's bigger than me, so I'm not going to feel. I'm not going to
I
feel
don't
like.
feel
Don't worry about the
Yeah,
swastika
absolutely.
tattooed
I go
onto
and
his
I
forehead.
beat
Don't worry about
the shit
that.
out of him,
I'm
and
not a
I go
hate
my
fuck
way.
sort of guy, honestly.
Sorry.
I'm not a hate fuck.
No,
sort of
I
guy.
heard that.
Were you- did you-
actually.
You heard that? I'm
Yeah,
not.
I heard that.
Who are you talking to?
Never mind.
Who's telling you these things? Yeah.
Oops. Have a conversation. We need to talk about that. I want to know who's been talking to you about that.
Well, the fact that you're a tender, generous
No, I'm
lover.
more interested in the Matt's trying to get tips. He wants to know how to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just go to jail and
like,
you'll find
just
out.
So I know, just in case.
Yeah.
I might just tell someone in the future. What?
You never know.
Why so gentle? That's ever going wrong.
Exactly.
You're like,
No,
oh, you
violent,
gotta.
bloody affair.
You're like, what do you mean lube? What?
Yeah, what's that? you mean friction?
You
gel?
mean
How
tears?
is
I was
What?
really late to lube. I didn't really know. I thought it was just like a.
If you're doing it right, you don't really need
but
it.
then when I discovered it, it was the best thing ever.
Oh, the tingly stuff is great.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like popping candy.
It's
I'm
like a
thinking
tea
it's
tree.
like
You know tea tree? That
Yeah.
tingly
Mhm.
is.
Tea
It's
tree,
like that.
Yeah, real tingly.
Yeah, well, you know what I like? Fire. And oil.
Fire and oil in the
Yeah,
bedroom.
Fire and oil in the bedroom is the best elixir for sex, you know? Because it's like, I think there's something quite caveman-y about fire.
Oh, what you mean, like having a candle on, or you mean
No.
like setting fire to the oil that you've
He
just
means
rubbed
like
into?
holding his
I'm
hand under
talking-
a lighter.
I'm talking
Yeah.
Rope, deodorant, cigarette lighter.
Get on your knees.
Yeah, put the noose around your neck and
Yeah.
fix it at the top of the door and
Yeah.
just.
I think you've got
And
a
then-
different
and she
idea
stood-
of what tender loving is.
And
saw
she
that
stood in the
hot
doorway like, do you
Hot
really
wife.
need me for this? Like, you're like, not really, love.
You just need to hold the rope for me.
Yeah. If you see me passing out, pull harder.
Yeah. Give me 5 seconds and then wake me up.
Yeah, 5 seconds, then wait, then let go. It's okay.
Jesus Christ.
Fire.
Took a turn, didn't it?
So what do you do? Do you just like hold the lighter and just tickle your fingertips?
No, I get them to. I have my legs like that,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
just straight down the hole.
Oh, fair play. Yeah.
But I
Is
can
that why your arsehole's so smooth?
That's why it's a black hole. Yeah.
But jokes aside, I can see the allure of fire.
Sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I do like it.
I see
I
the
like
allure
the
of
idea of
candle wax. I
anything-
understand that.
Anything dangerous, I've done candle wax. That's fun.
Yeah, I understand that.
I,
It
yeah, I
just
thought
peels
it
right
was
off as
actually,
well.
It wasn't as painful as I was hoping.
Yeah. Extreme pain.
Robbie's there like,
That's all
oh.
about.
Yeah,
Was
so-
that
Like,
it?
it's disappointing.
Can you get 2 fires?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one on either side.
Rather than a conversation like, have you ever had someone be like, spank me, and then you go for it, and they're like, not
What?
enough.
Yes.
And then you're like,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
then they're like, okay, up the
Yeah.
ante.
Yeah. How hard
They're
do you
like,
want
no,
to
no.
not enough.
And you're like,
Yeah.
fuck it, okay. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
you're going hell for leather, and so you can wind it back and give it the old Mike
Pass it
Tyson, right, to the left cheek, the open-handed
Yeah.
punch.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're knocked out cold.
No, but
And
I
you're
think
still
it's-
That
going.
just makes me worry about the
But I
woman
did
I'm
that,
with.
I
I'm like,
did that, and I'm like,
you've been
where-
through something,
yeah,
and
where-
I don't want
Yeah.
to know that.
Yeah.
Where's your father?
I need to have a strong word with him.
Yeah.
You'd be like, have you got your phone on you? Give me your dad's number. I need to call him
We
real
need
quick.
to go for a game of golf.
Woo!
That was good though. That was good. Go on then, use that as a.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, no mess either. Yeah, love it.
No mess, no clean.
Woo! Wow, that was aggressive. You're
That
a
was
man.
aggressive. You're very man.
Yeah, that was big. I wish it'd be
His
like
missus is very lucky.
because I saw. Have you seen Graham Hancock and Mike Tyson on the podcast together?
What?
No, where was that?
Holy shit!
Wait,
They
really?
get wrecked on shrooms.
Is he on
Really?
Mike Tyson's
It's
podcast?
amazing. Yeah.
It's absolutely
Graham
great.
Hancock.
Oh my God, I
mate,
must
you've gotta
see that.
it. It's so, and like Graham's talking towards the end, and he's going so deep. I mean, you can see Mike's just fucking lost it. He's just like gone. And
He's like that
he
normally.
goes,
Like.
I love you, Graham. And I know. It's
No,
fucking.
but they're probably I love you, Graham. I love you, Mike. Can you imagine being sat there with fucking
That's a
Iron
great
Mike?
photo.
Iron Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Best podcast.
And Graham Hancock.
But I love
Yeah,
the
you
video-
don't know who you're more starstruck
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I can't remember who the comedian is, but there's a video of him talking about getting thrown out of a club. And as he's getting thrown out, and these bouncers are about to piece him up, he just hears from behind him like, "Hey man, don't worry, we got these fuckers."
Now Steve-O.
Steve, and
Steve-O.
Mike Tyson's just
Yeah.
behind him like, "Hey, no, we got these guys." And then Mike Tyson, and apparently I think he didn't have any shoes on, and he's just chasing these bouncers. And I was like, can you imagine having a buddy like that? You turn around and you're in a
I had a buddy like that at
Fixed.
school.
and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Elisa."
Isa, yeah. Oh
Isa.
mate, he looked like Mike Tyson.
But yeah, the tattoo and everything.
I've seen him throw a person before. It was hilarious. I saw this. There was this notorious. There's bloke who's notorious for just beating people up in clubs in our rugby club at uni.
Yeah.
And he started starting. I saw him put his hands on his shirt, on his chest, and pick him up, throw him like diagonally.
Whoa!
It was amazing to watch. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
That's
It was
incredible.
fantastic.
Because that must
Yeah.
be walking around
Raw
with that
power.
much power.
Mate,
Yeah.
he was beef. He was it's from mum's Nigerian, dad's from Cameroon.
Wow.
Just my height.
Good
was just
ingredients.
Yeah.
fucking
He's just
thick.
awesome. He's just huge.
Yeah, he was a winger at rugby. He was a little bit far.
A winger?
He just wouldn't bother with
Yeah,
footwork
yeah.
because people just bounced on him. It was hilarious. He was an absolute monster.
He
Mate.
just power it down the side.
I wonder if he still plays. But mate, he was good. And I was always very safe around him. Then no one started shit.
I need one of those.
What,
What a
Bobby
Cameroon
Blair
thing.
or- Oh no, I probably shouldn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, let's not go that direction.
Definitely do that.
A bodyguard is what you're
The
saying.
bodyguard would be lovely. Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a new guy at my shop. He's a really, really big guy. He's got his bouncer's license,
Yeah.
so he's allowed to eject people from the premises.
Oh, that's
Really?
banging.
which
That's the
is
next
great.
type of business I was thinking about getting into, like, because I do events and stuff like that anyway.
My
I'm thinking
sister
more.
does.
If you had security, that would be a great
Do you
little.
do events?
Yeah.
Evidence
so
security.
all my
Evidence
shipping
security.
containers in
I can
portable
see that.
toilets and
You've
all
got the
that type of
shoulders
stuff.
for it.
We do them for loads of events and stuff like that.
Oh, mate, nice.
And usually there's like, I get asked, I'm starting to get asked now, do you do security?
Yeah.
Obviously, because I'm such a big lad, they think
Yeah.
I must
Yeah.
do.
It's the
Yeah.
turtleneck.
Yeah, exactly. They
You
see me
wear
like,
earpieces.
we want you.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, beardy Steve Jobs. You do security, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool if they need a band. Yeah.
I know. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll start
nice.
plugging.
Yeah, start plugging.
I like the
Start
turtleneck.
The
No,
band,
plugging.
not putting stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, Max has already done that. Max is already a self-affirmed woman. So there we go.
So yeah. Oh mate, yeah. I got fingered and now I'm gay.
That's how it works then. Like, so you
Even
get
if it's by a
fingered,
woman,
you're gay.
he's still gay.
Yeah. Even if it's a woman, I'm gay now.
Yeah.
What if it's a prostate exam?
So, I was talking about this with a woman the other day,
Excellent. Was she?
and
At
I
the
was
time?
saying,
She was already knuckle deep. So
I was saying that I would
How many
like
knuckles?
a lady to do my prostate exam.
there you go.
Firstly, smaller hands.
Ah, good point. Yeah.
Very good
But
point.
secondly, I think I'd
Probably
be,
softer as well.
You'd relax.
I'd feel more relaxed because if
Yeah.
I've got a bloke, I'm gonna be tense. 'cause
Yeah.
I should be like
yeah.
bent over something.
Yeah, it's not necessary. They should allow you to choose.
Like one of those stirrups, like.
Yeah.
horse
Yeah,
things.
but that's Robbie's
Oh,
favourite sex
would
position.
you rather be bent over or would you rather be eye to eye with them on their prostate exam?
Yeah, you want to be
Oh,
nappy
that's
change
good.
Oh,
position.
that's a
That's a
good
good point.
question.
You d-
Nah.
That is
I
more
think I'd
relaxed.
rather be
That is
looking
nicer
away.
to be
No,
fair.
I'd want to do like a casual, like elbows on the desk sort of. bent
No,
over.
no, there needs to be a backwards chair. So you just poked out the end a little bit. Just
Like
so
a
backwards.
cholera bed.
There you go.
No, do you remember at school, if your teacher was pregnant, they had that weird chair they had where it was like had like knee bits on it and in the back.
No.
No,
Oh,
one of
the
those.
reverse
the
chair
weird
thing.
one,
Yeah.
So they just sort of
That
like
you could
front-
just
So you
be
can
like
rest your
that,
gut on
and
it.
then
Oh,
Christ.
good angle.
If okay.
Or the
so-
sex chair like from Turtle the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's already got the hole in the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, right. So
Hang
here's
on.
a hypothetical.
Expand.
Did you not see that? So at Turtle, you had
Was it
us
just a
on,
chair with a
you
hole
had
in
us
it?
on the stage, right?
Yeah.
To me, to the left was the green room, which had a sex chair in it, but it was like a fucking gothic, strapped up kind of shit, and it had a hole all the way down here.
Yeah, it's quite something.
It was, and like stirrups and straps and everything.
Interesting.
Right.
It was quite the look.
So here's a scenario. Okay, you've been dating this girl for 3 years, and it's coming up to her birthday. No, it is her birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the bedroom, and it's all sexy, and you've got a bunch of candles and stuff comes on, and she comes around the corner, right? She's like spandex and leathered up,
Mhm.
right? And as she steps around the corner, she goes like, zoom, and you see the fucking strap on.
With a
She's
massive
just-
old.
She's just done. Right? You've had enough drinks to be a little bit fuck it, all right?
Uh-huh.
And it's her birthday. You've agreed.
So, and
right?
you're with a girl
Hang
that
on,
wants
hang
to
on.
You've
fuck
already
you with
agreed.
strap on.
Hang on. Yes. Right. You've agreed. Right. You can't back out of it. Now you're looking at that thing. You're scared.
Yeah.
Right. You're frightened. You wish you hadn't agreed, but it's too
Yeah.
late to back out.
Why
right?
did you agree in the
Back
first
out,
place?
Right.
so ruin it.
Yeah. No. It's not crazy.
What
right?
sort of size are you speaking?
Right?
And then
It's you're gonna get it in. Right.
Again, let's just say for the sake of
No,
argument,
but
it's the
it's
same
not.
size
But
as
it's
yours.
not. We're not talking about the. Yeah. But
Yeah.
we're not talking about injury factor, right? You're not going to get injured, right? What I'm going
I'd
to
feel
ask,
like it.
you've
Yeah.
agreed. No,
First
you
time
would
as
feel
well.
like it. You would feel like that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, you've agreed. You
Psychologically,
can't back
it's-
out, right? So, but are you going to go for the inhuman, being bent over something?
No, I'm going
Right?
holding my
Are
knees.
you
to
going?
myself.
Are you going?
Knees
Staring
to
her in the eye. No, but you can't have your knees touching.
No.
They have to
No,
be apart. Right?
Right, to be
No,
fair,
Robbie,
either-
Robbie, you've been doing a lot of yoga. You're gonna have your feet
Yeah.
on her shoulders.
Because I want her
Like
to
that.
see me crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I want her to know
Those
I'm
are the
not
options.
joking.
Exactly.
Those are
Yeah,
the
yeah,
options.
yeah,
Legs
yeah.
on the shoulders or bent over.
But I would do
Feet,
it first.
angles on the shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Are
the
we
bent.
all going for
I'm not doing the bent over. Huh?
Are you
I'm not
all
doing the
going
bent
for
over.
the shoulders?
I think I'm going ankles on shoulders.
Angles on shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Max, what you saying?
Well, I wouldn't have
Nah,
agreed to
Max
it in the
would-
first place.
No, this
So-
Max. This Max.
No, mate, it's a hypothetical.
It's all, you're already there. You've already agreed.
we
You love
already
her.
know,
This
we
is the
already
love
know.
of your life.
Mate, your face to the pillow, arching your back.
No,
Boom.
Max, you know.
You're like this. You're like this. You're like, come on, is it in it? Is it in it?
Keep going.
Is it in? And she's like, it's been in for 5 minutes. Like, get a bigger one. Get the black hammer. Bring it in.
Max,
I think you can get another one in there.
Have you got a few friends?
I know you'd pretend to not be into it, but you'd do like foreplay and everything. So I reckon she'd be stood up
Yeah.
and she'd hold
be
you
wanking it
upside down
Yeah.
and you'd be doing a standing 69, her with the muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's jacked.
You're
as
blowing
well.
the strap on. You're blowing the
Yeah,
strap
you're
on,
blowing the
and
strap
she's
on.
just spitting on yours.
Yeah.
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 That's the
Or she's just
foreplay.
batting it with her nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then body slam and then action.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Two-
Yeah, because you'd be dazed, and you'd be lying, like you know when you have the girl
You
flat on
want
the
to make the
front.
most of it.
Flat.
I
Do
would
it.
only do it once.
Do it like if you're flat on the front, you're dead straight like a pencil, and she just pegs you from there. So it just goes straight down into like up into like your lower bladder area, you know.
Oh, good. Were there ever those horrific videos going around your school?
Of.
Like the woman getting fucked by the horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 2 girls, 1 cup. That
Yeah,
was a big one.
that was
One
a big
man,
one.
one jar.
One man, one
Oh,
jar.
I
God,
never
that
saw
big
that
one.
one.
Being
actually.
me
Never
Pain
saw
Olympics
that
was the
one.
worst
Oh,
shit I've
yeah.
ever seen in
Oh,
my life.
God, yeah.
That was the
I can
worst shit I've
imagine.
ever seen.
Which one?
BME Pain
The Pain
Olympics.
Olympics.
This dude
Oh.
hanging from the ceiling by his nutsack.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see
Or they
one
put like
chopping
fucking
a stick
firecrackers
off
up their
the-
knob, shit
Why
like
do
that.
they- Why is like 13, 14-year-olds just like the most brutal shit? It's just like,
Yeah.
let's see it.
Let's
Yeah,
watch
but
it.
where
What was that all
Where
about?
is it all trickling down from?
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
what the
I've
fuck
got,
was that? Why
Greece.
do you
I
wanna
have
see
one.
them?
One is an
I don't
answer.
know.
Do you? You
I
remember?
didn't want to see it then, but
No, but it was
you
exciting
still
for
watched
me.
it, yeah.
I'm not allowed to
There
do
was
this.
there was a teacher in our school. I'm not gonna say his name, but you'll probably know who he is.
Yeah.
Remember that maths teacher, Mr. H,
Yeah.
really tall one, really sarcastic,
Yeah.
hilarious. For some crazy ass reason,
Let's
there
see
was an anime show that they showed episodes of at lunch in his classroom, and it was the wildish fucking hentai bullshit porn. I remember being like 12, being like, "What the fuck is this?"
He showed you porn.
It was just in his classroom, and I was like,
What
"What
do you mean
the
it was
hell
in
is
his
this?"
classroom? Was he in his
It-
Hang
classroom?
on, what? Like,
Do you not-
actual
He just
hentai?
showed you
Actual
porn.
legit fucking storyline shit, and I was like, "What the
Oh,
fuck is going?"
storylines, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
but it was full on nude, cartoon, tentacle, bollocks, all that
Oh,
crap.
wow.
I've got the name for it somewhere. I can't remember what it's called.
He showed that in class when you were like 12.
He didn't, but he let the older kids show us.
He let the older kid show
Yeah, so he didn't show us.
Was
The
he
older
in the
kids-
classroom?
No,
you.
but it was
So
his
he-
classroom.
Yeah.
So he must have just been like, yeah, you kids watch films, it's fine, and then just pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
And
then-
probably didn't think that's what you'd be showing them.
Yeah. He probably just thought you would be watching
he
films.
has nothing to do with this.
It just
We
was
should-
no
Snow
just
White and the
was
Seven
him.
Dwarfs.
Yeah,
or
so we
Yeah.
so you almost got a teacher done for like.
That's why I didn't
Yeah.
say the full
showing
name.
kids porn.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say the full name.
No, I don't-
Because beyond that, he was a fucking legend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before Beyond Finger in My Bumhole, he
Yeah.
was brilliant.
Just
No, that's why he was a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a finger in the bum, huh? Nothing wrong with it.
Or doing
Each
it
to their
with
own,
the
Max,
style.
isn't it right?
Nothing wrong with it. We call it.
As long as you enjoy
we
it.
call it a Berkshire hello.
That's why those guys in America didn't want you in there.
That's you were trying to say hello to
Yeah, I was
everyone.
trying
I'm
to
from
say
Berkshire, hello.
You were like saying hello like a dog, like
Come
hello.
sit on my finger.
Let's see your tattoo, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, Max,
Oh,
do you
you-
like my new tattoo? I got it today.
Is that like a Wind in
What
the
is it,
Willows
a
fucking
frog?
frog or something?
Is a frog
It's a
smoking a joint?
frog
Oh, so
smoking
the
a-
guys basically decided to get tattoos just before the podcast.
It's a
Yeah, we
frog
were
smoking a
And
joint.
they're now drinking. Well done.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to afterwards.
Sorry?
No, you're not supposed to before.
Oh,
After you're probably fine.
So
It's suggested
people that
to do.
believe in drinking rules, it's the same as like believing in like nutrition.
Look, I've got a little wasp.
It's
Who believes in that?
It's for cowards
Like
whose
my wasp.
grandparents were
Oh, and you got a
warlords.
wasp.
Yeah, I've got a
Nice.
wasp.
Very nice.
I've got a wasp.
Believing in nutrition is for cowards whose grandparents were award, is it?
Yeah.
Wait.
I think if you believe in nutrition and you're serious, like, oh no, I've got to take my omega-4 supplement, otherwise I might get.
No, to be
scurvy or
fair,
something.
he's been getting away with acting like
Right.
a like a
I
rock star.
I smoke. I don't eat particularly well. I don't drink. I do 5 push-ups and I'm shredded.
Okay, hang on. Please tell everyone how you were brought up physically.
He did fucking gymnastics
Lots of
since you were
endurance.
like 5.
Thank you. For how long did we do it in gymnastics for?
Sorry. Years.
And dancing because you're a loser.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
years we talking?
Sorry.
How many years we talking?
Years and years and years.
Years and years and years.
10.
Like the band, yeah? Years and
Yeah.
years and years?
No, or they're the super fruit band, aren't they?
Yeah, it's
Years and years.
very
They're
super free. So Max is this
Yeah.
annoying twat in the
Yeah,
fact that at
so
the
wrong.
beginning of January he started doing push-ups every other day.
He's like, oh look, I'm Jack.
We were
Yeah.
we were building furniture the other day. It got really fucking hot. Don't ask.
Oh,
And
this is the
No.
gayest thing we've
It was
done.
the gayest thing we've ever done. We
It's
were all
not
took
the
our tops
gayest
off.
thing we've
we
done.
were talking tops off. He is more jacked than Robbie.
Yeah, he's bigger than me.
He's
now.
fucking
It's
huge,
upsetting.
and he's just a cheese
But
grater.
I haven't been behaving myself recently.
Mm.
I've been.
Yeah, but mate, you still got some lovely triceps, mate. Don't worry about
Thank
it.
you, babe.
That's all right.
But I'll be,
Yeah,
I'll be back
delightful.
soon.
Yeah.
I'll be back soon.
Yeah, he's deceptively shredded. It's really irritating.
It's like a sleeper build.
Yeah, but his insides are just
Yeah,
full
dying.
This is what we were
Yeah, the
saying.
way-
We were saying that.
Full of
We're saying-
soot.
Just
It looks like a chimney
We're
from
saying that
Oliver
the abs
Twist.
are just,
A chimney sweep.
They're just 6 tumours that just
Yeah.
happen to be in the right place.
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good. You just move. You're there, just like. Just push it into place.
Cancers.
It's gonna pop. It's gonna
So,
pop.
I was talking to someone the other day, and you know that women get these implants in their arse.
Yeah,
Men can now get implants in their abs.
it's not. It's
Yes.
not. It's not new.
Synthol.
Is that not new?
It's not. No,
No,
Louis
it's not
C.K.
like Synthol.
Louis C.K. Louis Theroux. Fucking Louis
Louis
C.K.
C.K.
is documentarian now.
Yeah, we'll bring him back in. a
Louis
second.
Theroux did a whole episode on it like 10 years ago.
Really?
It's fucked up.
What's the
So
point
stupid.
though?
For lazy people.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't look.
It looks.
And
It
surely
looks
you can't
wrong.
lift
It looks like
anything.
a. It's like a bag of socks someone shoved under your skin.
yeah, and if you try and lift something, you're just gonna
Yeah.
snap.
Can you
aren't
imagine looking that jacked and then someone be like, "Oh, you're in good shape. Can you move this sofa?"
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me?"
And
No,
you
not
can't
even
lift
this
it,
over. Can you
like-
lift this chair? And you're
Yeah.
like, no.
I don't know. I think you can get to a certain point. I feel like you can get to a certain point with your body, or because I've worked with people who sort of just exercising because they need to exercise, but they don't have any goals for their body anymore because they don't think they're achievable or you can't reach it. But I suppose if you're like, I don't think that happens in any other place in like Hollywood and things like that. I don't really think
Yeah.
normal people are getting that like ab implants and shit.
That's
No.
what I
But
mean,
if you're
like,
surrounded
Yeah.
by people that
If
just
you're like a
covered
model
in
or
fucking
something like
plastic,
that,
Yeah.
like their
Yeah.
all their lips are weird,
Mhm.
like everyone refuses to age. There might like be.
It's becoming more and more common though. Have you noticed a lot of the ladies who frequent around Reading?
Frequent, mate. I was in Bracknell today. You don't need to tell me.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, well, the ladies of the.
If you go out in
The
Reading,
ladies of the
anymore,
travelling variety.
because
Because they are. It is their season.
Maybe not just them.
Oh, okay.
Tis the
But
season.
when we were out in Reading
Yeah.
at Christmas, when I saw you guys, I was like, I haven't been in town for like
Man,
5 years or something
Oh,
like
it's
that.
bizarre.
And it was like you never saw anyone. You might have seen 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
I swear there were, I reckon, 30, maybe 40% of all the girls were like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, it's rough.
'Cause
isn't
Yeah,
it?
It's
like
horrific.
big fake lips.
Yeah, yeah.
What is it with that though?
The fake
'Cause
arse is
the
so-
lips as well. Because I think it's
Like they've been beaten
lips
up.
to other girls is like almost like rigs for guys and each other.
Yeah.
Because I think at a certain point, girls like guys that are in shape. I think that once you cross a certain boundary, they don't actually give a shit how jacked you are.
Yeah.
I think if you've made a 1 inch improvement on your
shape,
arms and you've like put 10 kilos on your bench press, you're gonna be like fucking yeah, and they don't give a fuck about
You're right about the crossing a certain boundary.
Yeah.
They're like a guy who's in shape, like the four of us. They don't like the Liver King.
Yeah, exactly. Like too far over.
That's too far.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
But he just takes steroids, though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, good old Brian.
Well,
well done, Brian.
Off them.
Why is it? Isn't it so upsetting? His real name is Brian. You're like, this is really
It's so
upsetting.
upsetting that he lied to everyone. It's like, why don't you just fucking...
It's fucking obvious.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Everyone's sort of like, this guy must be on steroids. And then it
Mike
came out.
O'Hearn
Like,
says he's not on steroids.
Yeah, that's so silly.
who's Mike O'Hearn?
He's the Titan, isn't it? Is his nickname? Is that right?
Yeah, oh, mate, he's just.
He's
so
he's like coming up on Coleman in his prime.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Have you seen Coleman these days?
He's not good.
On crutches.
Well, Ronnie, he's absolutely fucking.
His whole back is one fused vertebra.
Is it?
It's just upright. It's just one big piece of bone, and you're like,
it's mad to see him like that, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's sad though, but it happens
it's real
a
sad.
lot of like.
If you're prepared to do that,
But it's sad being in.
Was that because of the weightlifting or because of all the steroids and
Both.
everything like that? Or
well, he
a mixture of
just
both?
crushed his spine.
Yeah.
There's only two people who've survived from that, and Dorian Yates.
Yeah, he looks fine.
He looks incredible. The second was actually Arnie's okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Was he on
that's it,
steroids?
Oh, yeah, all of them.
Yeah, they all were.
No.
But this is where fucking pissed me off.
Did
Did you guys watch Game Changers on Netflix when it came out? That made me so
dumb, mate.
fucking
It was so
angry.
I haven't seen it. No.
They take James something or other, who's an ex-UFC fighter, world champion, but James Cameron creates the whole thing as basically.
Banging again.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is, but
The building should be empty. There's always that banging going.
it's that weird porn lot upstairs.
That's it. Yeah.
Corn
Catholic Church?
Corn lot, Catholic Church. Oh, it's the boys. James Cameron sponsors this whole fucking vegan movie, and it is utter bollocks. Where they just make loads of these stupid aspersions. Yeah, I was getting to that.
Yeah.
He owns make all these stupid aspersions, and at the end they have athletes saying, "Oh, I did this." They have fucking Arnie saying it, and you're like, "Arnie, you don't compete anymore."
Yeah.
It's like this is you
And
now.
you're not vegan.
Yeah, no, he gained his muscle on fucking steak, probably rice, steak, chicken, and
Eggs.
toast.
Yeah.
And shitloads of eggs, yeah. They got loads of eggs. And
Just blending it shell and all.
Well, they showed their examples they had for vegan athletes.
Oh, it was nonsense.
They had to go around the whole flipping world to find examples.
They found
none
3.
of which were at the top of their game.
3. Yeah, none of them were.
But the weird
silvers.
implication is that I don't know why they played the story like that, because if they put veganism as like a better moral option and showed the best way, the most healthy way to be vegan is this. Like, that would be a useful thing, but they tried to say it was the better thing to do, which is so dumb.
What, in terms of like gaining muscle?
No,
So
especially for
it's same for
athletes. They
everything.
say it's optimal.
Optimal
so
human
stupid.
existence is vegan versus
So
everything.
dumb.
Was
You
the whole
can't
point
get-
of it?
There's a lot of vitamins you can only get from meat, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit.
There's a lot of stuff you can only get from meat. But they were trying to say, "Oh yeah, this peanut butter sandwich is better for you than steak," and I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you saying?"
Yeah.
Just excluding the peanut butter, fine, but the fucking bread. What the fuck are you
Peanut
talking
is
about?
actually a hybrid, isn't it?
What?
Peanut is not, you know,
What,
like
like
normal
a chickpea?
grown nuts and stuff like that. It's a hybrid. It's like effectively man-made.
Is it?
Peanuts, yeah, which is
Damn.
mad.
I don't know.
Oh, what? Where it's been interbred so much?
Yeah, so you know like
Oh,
bananas.
it's like banana, yeah.
So you know bananas, they are technically not a fruit anymore.
Well, no,
Really?
They are classed as
Well, bananas
they're classed as a herb because they can't. Their seeds don't reproduce.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're technically classed as herb. Or the ones that we consume or the ones that we
Well,
can buy in our
it's not
country.
that. So bananas originally were full of seeds.
Yeah, and they were small, weren't they? Like this big.
Yeah,
You can still
and
get them.
Well, same
So,
grapes,
yeah,
wasn't it?
plantain and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But we bred them to the point where we got our banana plant, our finished one. We then cloned that,
They just keep cloning them.
and now every banana is a clone from the exact same banana plant.
Fuck, so they're all mules.
So they're all identical.
Whoa.
Yeah, every banana plant. So every banana is exactly the same banana.
Holy
And therefore, it's not
fuck.
as nutritionish for you.
Nutritionish.
Nutritionish.
Yeah.
Nailed
It's not
it.
as nutritionally dense for you.
I like
If you believe in nutrition.
Of course.
If you don't.
Which then brings us all the way back.
That would be great. That would be a great little sort of Earth is flat sort of like swing off. Is nutritionist fake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, actually.
Yeah, we could try and start a cult.
Well, like,
That's
so we
our
should
that's our
just
next
eat
branding,
Beyond Meat
Nutritionist fake.
because it's great for
Yeah.
us.
No,
next
but
branding.
no,
Prawn.
just choose really obscure stuff to eat. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know,
the Earth is
what would
flat
we-
is
what-
the most
if
crazy.
we
We'll have a handful of
nutritionist
gravel
fake,
and some
we-
parsley.
No, just be coffee and cigarettes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
but that's already a diet. That's fine.
Yeah.
We just create our own.
Breakfast of a rock star.
Yeah.
Coffee and cigarette. And a little bit of crack.
Or what we should do, we should either do Churchill
At
or
first, and then it increases to quite a lot.
Slowly
Right?
increase, yeah.
we should do the Churchill one or the what's the bloody writer? I can't remember his name now. The guy who used to work for the New York Times years and years ago. He followed Sam Kinison around. He followed Clinton when he was running for it. It's not Noam Chomsky. It's Hunter S. Thompson.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen his like itinerary for how he wakes up?
Oh, all the drugs he's taking?
Yeah.
Like waking up a glass of champagne.
He wakes up at 2. It's like champagne, cigarette, and then creme de menthe. But it's like by every
What's
like
creme
20.
de menthe?
It's a
It's
fancy
like
French
mint
thing.
liqueur.
But it's
We
like
used to drink it at
cigarette.
uni, I don't know why.
It's like cigarette, coke,
What uni did you go
whiskey,
to?
Nothing
food, a
Trent,
full
yeah,
like
nothing special.
sharing platter of like seafood or something,
Yeah.
and keeps doing all this shit until like 5 a.m. and then it just says ready to write, and you're just like, what the fuck? Is
Sounds
this?
like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Actually look it up because it's nuts. You
loads
got anything on it?
of creative.
It's Hunter S.
people
Thompson
have
drinking
weird
schedule.
techniques to like get in the zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the guy
Because-
that wrote Fear and Loathing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
A lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people
Hunter
use
S. Thompson.
exhaustion. A lot of people use
Right.
like exhaustion for writing. Apparently, a lot of writers wait until they're late at night. It's
I
not
understand
relaxing.
that. The start in the afternoon is weird though. I understand late night because like it's dark and you get your brain starts playing
Well,
tricks
we
on
nearly,
you.
What was it
we
called?
nearly finished the song
Hunter S.
today,
Thompson.
mate.
This is drinking schedule.
We pretty much finished that song we were writing.
Yeah.
Did we? That's
Ah,
awesome.
it's good.
Mate, I
It's good.
was telling Max that fucking when I got home, just that little square like kicked in. I was like, whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
the
whoa,
little bit
whoa.
mushies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
amazing.
was like, oh, here we go.
Mate, they're fantastic.
They were lovely.
Oh, Josh, should we do DMT for that? Oh, no, we shouldn't talk about that. But
Can we talk about it?
Should we do DMT?
Have you guys ever heard of DMT?
Yeah.
Do I have a
Have we got-
fifth?
So,
It's only illegal if you get caught.
So 5-dimethyltryptamine is the
It's fucking
name of the
crazy.
drug, and
Was that so? That's the what your brain
Produces
releases
anyway.
in dreams,
It's
isn't it?
you.
no,
No?
it's not.
Yeah.
How on earth? What experiment is someone going to have done where they've plugged something in to see? Oh, releases when you die. It's speculation.
I didn't say
That's
that. I said
speculation.
dreams.
It's all speculation.
I like where Max is going though. Carry on.
But what it is, it's something that's found in everything. It's a class of tryptamine, amine. So
Dimethyltryptamine.
amine is a type of organic molecule, right, in chemistry. And that just means it's carbons with something coming off of it, right? And
Is that not like everything? Because everything is carbon based.
Yes.
no, it's not. It's like anything organic.
It's carbon based. Yeah.
So like
Well, rocks are carbon based, right?
sorry.
Rocks are carbon based, aren't
Yeah,
they?
but that'd be.
But they're not going to
that'd
have.
be organic chemistry. But if we're talking about like
They're not going to have 5 MAO in it.
gaseous
Polyester.
stuff and metals and things like
Well, that's
that.
synthetics. That's a
But
combination.
polyester is organic because that's a carbon chain.
But most metals are like not aluminium because that's a alloy, isn't it? But iron,
There's still elements
gold,
though, right?
copper.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They're not-
elements, aren't they?
they're all elemental. But yeah, so it's this thing that's found in almost everything, but it's the strongest psychedelic sort of known to man, and you can take it in a few different ways. Either we roll it up in a joint and smoke it slowly, and it gradually turns everything, or you can stick it in a crack pipe and just like blast off.
Yeah, it's-
Interesting.
it's-
It lasts about 15 minutes, and oh my
But
Jesus
just
Christ.
completely back to normal, 15 minutes. It's
Really?
really weird. Well, apart from the fact you just had, it's weird
The
because
best
it's
trip of
the
your life.
craziest experience of your life, and
You
you're
can
back
live
to
like
normal.
a whole
And you're not going
lifetime
anywhere.
in that.
It's mental.
Is that a bit like crack though? Because surely
No,
you
because
don't get the down.
crack
It's not
must
a-
be so good
No,
because
this
they
is-
keep doing it.
You don't get the down. You
You don't get like the
It's another
addictiveness of
fucking-
like
15
you want to
minutes
keep
and
doing
you
it.
are elsewhere.
No.
But the weirdest thing is there's shared experiences.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you meet entities while you're in this spirit plane type place.
It's so bizarre.
But the
Like the fifth
entities that
dimension
I
or
would
something.
describe me meeting are the same entities as Rob would describe himself meeting.
And they're the same that everyone describes as
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay. And so,
And it's really weird.
and can you meet them at the same time?
No, so
No, but
so
You're not
but
going.
everyone who takes
You might do, but you're not going to
describes-
see each other.
It's weird. 'cause
it's
it's
more
shared
suggesting
experience.
that you're going to a realm that it's not like fully created in your own brain.
Yeah.
It's almost as if your consciousness goes to somewhere that other people can also go to.
A bit like the
Through-
Egyptian deities, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps.
But
Perhaps.
it's-
Because they had like
it's-
obviously individual deities for
Mm.
certain different things,
yeah,
didn't
and
they?
it,
It's really
it
weird.
makes you think like with psychedelics and stuff like that, how much of the way that the world is formed has been based on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you read back to like ancient alcohol and stuff like that.
Ooh, well
When
done,
you're-
Robbie.
when
Well
you're-
done.
When you're making like wine or something like that in ancient Rome, it wasn't actually just alcohol because they hadn't perfected the alcohol process. So you'd ferment some grapes, but then you'd throw loads of herbs and stuff in it. So like ancient Roman wine had like cannabinoids in it. It had morphine in it.
I found ergot in some.
Ergot.
It wasn't until about 200 years ago that cannabinoids or cannabis was proper demonised, was it?
Yeah.
Previously, it was.
Well, that's
It wasn't until the 1930s.
Was it
about 30s?
It was
the Mexicans that were travelling to US, wasn't it, and working, and then all the American people were getting pissed off.
No, it was the creation of the printing press. It was that cunt who set that all about because hemp was.
Yeah.
They wanted to get rid of hemp.
Exactly.
And they renamed it from cannabis. They named it marijuana to make it sound more Mexican.
Which is not even the Mexican word for cannabis.
Arrest Mexicans for it.
Yeah.
But all these like what I was saying about the wine with ergot in it, which is a fungus which is incredibly hallucinogenic.
What, a bit like mushrooms?
Yeah, and it's like all these parties you hear about them having.
Yeah.
They have when they're drinking
Ayahuasca.
wine, they take it in properly. It's not like I'm a bit tipsy. It's like wow, I'm seeing stuff.
MK Ultra stuff.
Yeah.
Well, ergot, they believe that the Salem witch trial was a result of it was an early winter. They thought the ergot got into the crops, so that's why everyone started hallucinating and seeing people floating around.
Yeah,
so you say that's what early witchcraft was?
The Salem witch trials, that's what they thought happened now.
Ergot grew on wheat.
Yeah.
So it would. I assume it could just get into bread and whatever they used.
Yeah, and people just start tripping balls,
like,
being like, witch!
Or just like shitloads of people.
Yeah, when she was just, I don't know, leading her cows down the road or something.
Yeah, hilarious. Can you imagine having your toast in the morning and just going on absolute wild?
And that would make sense why they think they were like flying on the broomsticks.
Literally, yeah.
Exactly.
But it's interesting what you're saying, Max, about like what impact the sort of psychedelics have had on society as it is. Because if you just take the basic calendar we all share, we could all sit here and say we're atheist, agnostic, whatever. We still work the same fucking time scale on the calendar that the Christians do.
Yeah.
And then you've got the work of John Marco Allegro in Christianity and the Sacred Mushroom when he did that.
Yeah.
Basically saying that the burning bush for Moses was the acacia bush, which is hallucinogenic.
Psychedelics have definitely made me less anti-religion.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not denying God. I'm just denying Christianity.
There was a point where I came to in my life where I was thinking, no, I'm definitely an atheist based on what I understand.
I would almost think
religious
people are stupid, but I don't think.
Yeah, but then when you experience psychedelics, you think no, there is something to this. They've taken a concept and maybe in a control system type of way, they've manipulated it and
they've got the right idea. They're going up the wrong
molested it the wrong way. Exactly.
The feeling of oneness that you get from something, you can see how if you replace that with an idea that you can share, how powerful it is. And if you've read *Sapiens*,
it's right there, isn't it?
Right here, baby.
Yeah. So they talk about.
I mean, Yuval Noah Harari, never heard of him.
They talk about in *Sapiens* about having an idea that can bring a group of people together. There's a similar thing, like an experience like that makes you feel one and feel connected.
That's a lot to do with male bonding, isn't it? We discussed it in the previous one. Is with males, like with sports and all that type of stuff. Is we learn to get along by having a shared goal and focus towards some type of achievement. And then when you win a football game or whatever it is you're doing,
even if you lose,
but
you have that shared.
And then you have all those rules with it, like you support your mates, you look after your mates, you don't be arseholes, don't be snidey.
Yeah.
And then you're sort of all on this. All doing something together that's hard.
Yes, exactly.
And it keeps you
shared achievements
together. Yeah.
Do you find it funny that men always require a focus? So there'll always be, let's get together and play a video game. Let's get together and do a podcast. Let's get together and play football or watch TV or watch a movie or play music. There's got to be, whereas you see women and it's like, oh, let's get together for a catch up.
Well, this is the fascinating intersection of both because we're doing something, but we're talking.
Yeah, but I would still describe this as it's a focused thing, right?
It's a focused intellectual pursuit, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
as opposed to, you know what Stacey did the other day?
Yeah, we're not talking about people. We're talking about
concepts.
Theories, ideas, and concepts. Exactly.
What's it about that phrase about small-minded people talk about other people, big-minded people talk about concepts?
But you say that, but talking about people is amazing because everything's about people.
True.
Every great story is about a person. And all we do in our day-to-day lives is tell stories about people. Like through history, you talk about Alexander the Great, and then you talk about King Henry, and you talk about
Genghis Khan.
You talk about these Mao and these people.
Does that go? I was going to say, does that go back to the times when we're in tribes and stuff like that, and you have the tribe leaders and I guess the disciples or whatever. That's how all the information was passed down, wasn't it? By everyone sitting around the fire,
But also
telling stories and
having the legend of the great warrior in your tribe brings you closer. It's like, we've got, this guy who's the great warrior who we're all proud of and we all support. And it's we, us. Yeah. We're a unit and we have this guy and
us, but
and we've helped him in this way, or he's helped us in this way.
Yeah, and it's that camaraderie that sort of people seem to yearn for. And especially, I work for a lot of people now who sort of from homes without dads, and it's weird seeing how people are raised without that male camaraderie, sort of like this is how you initiate relationships and stuff. I'm like you, and people like people that are like them, right?
Yeah, they can relate to.
Yeah, and it's so. Yeah, I think it's interesting, right?
Well, I was reading something the other day, and I can't remember where I found it. I'll need to find out where it comes from. But it was saying that children who grow up in without their mother present, but they've got their father present, tend to go on to do a lot better than people.
Significantly less crime.
Exactly. So obviously the ideal is mother and father both being present, but the difference between growing up with just your father or growing up just with your mother was extreme. It was like
more likely for violent crime.
Yeah, it was like 90% of people who come from a not a broken home go on to do well, have a successful life and an enjoyable life.
The interesting thing about that study is it shows that kids from a single father home were exactly the same as a dual parent home.
Well, they weren't exactly the same, were they? But the percentage difference was like 5%, whereas the swing for the women, say it was 80% for the male driven home, for the women's it was like 20%.
Is this from inception, as in like from birth kind of thing, or just from?
I'm not sure what it was on the.
Because
I don't think they actually stated an age.
I'm just curious because if I may ask, when did your folks split up, mate?
So my parents broke up when I was 18. So
right, okay.
I'd probably gone through most of my, developmental age. I know obviously we don't fully.
Yeah, you had another like 8 years or so.
25.
You've done the landmarks. Right?
Exactly, I did the most things, and I think for me, I was already. Well, I was not far off becoming a man before that really happened.
Because I'm curious, because if I were like when I first met you and I first met Max, we were both working for a state agency together. Yeah. Both similar level, both sort of pretty green around the gills. So we didn't see each other for like 6 years until the beginning of this year, as it were.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and there's a marked difference between who you are now and who you were then.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I did go through a stage when, because it wasn't the easiest divorce. I was of the age, I was at 18, so I knew everything that was going on between whatever happened between my parents, and I was the oldest male in the family, so I had to take on obviously the role of seeing the damage it did to my father, the damage it was doing to my, my siblings and stuff like that, and I had to bear that weight basically, which I can't say how well I did. They can say how well I did, but I think I did pretty well considering. Yeah. But of course,
look where we're sat now, mate.
Exactly, but the way I got over it was when I wasn't looking after them or doing whatever I needed to do, I abused myself. Not terribly. I just smoked a lot of weed and drank a lot of alcohol. Do you know what I mean? Because did various different drugs.
I think that's
I'm just asking
because
out
of my mind,
to tie it into the point of the male, female parent abstinence. Because obviously it's your.
But yeah, so I had the strong male role model,
yeah,
which kept me going and pushed me through. So I think I was very lucky.
So your dad was the one that stayed the constant. Got it.
When did yours?
July 2017, so 6 years ago.
Oh, that's not long ago.
Yeah, so I would have been 21.
But you're still not at that full developmental stage, right?
I think I would have. I think I've just about hit it now through no small part because of you lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very lost. My way of dealing with it was run away from home for 2 years.
Run away. I'm good at that. I like that.
Yeah, dive into the arms of someone.
Avoidance is a great.
I like your route there. I did that as well. We had a joint sad face together, and we did those drugs.
Yeah, but it was.
And it's fun.
It was awful because we both had beautiful, lovely girlfriends who were really decent people.
Yeah, they were great to look at, right?
Yeah.
Oh god, they were very nice. Gorgeous. It makes it sometimes. I mean, it makes it sad sometimes to think back, but
yeah, you know when you bring them to a garden party and you're like, fuck,
you're like,
damn,
you're like,
that's my missus.
Well, I don't know how I've done it, but I did.
Yeah.
You know when you meet someone, you meet a new bloke and he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm kind of a big deal, and you're like, where's my girlfriend? I'm gonna call her over, and he's gonna try and look down her top like a scumbag.
Yeah.
Go on, darling.
Yeah. Hello, there's someone I'd like to meet. Yeah.
No, yeah, we were both
But
getting
we
up
were
at
really
5 o'clock
sad.
every day,
Yeah.
and not being happy.
Mm.
So our little escape was we would go around to each other's houses and just get really stoned and play guitar together. And that's sort of how all the band stuff started.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
but that was the party and got a bit out of control. Because I remember having a conversation with you one morning, like we had like a 5 a.m. job somewhere, and just like I was like, "Did you have fun last night?" He was like, "No." It's like, "Did you?" He's like, "No." So we've done this like 4 weeks.
£300 each,
Yeah, 4 weeks in a row.
You spent loads of money.
Yeah.
You feel like shit.
It
You
was
didn't
like,
really enjoy what you did
realised,
last
like,
night.
How fucked up? Like, at what point of fucked upness do you start having fun when you're miserable and it turns out you don't?
You don't, yeah.
Yeah,
You're just
it's
trying to cover up that misery.
Chasing fun, and you'll never find it like that.
And it's the boring way, but it's the way it needs to go. You
Yeah.
don't realise that until you stop. You have to stop for a bit,
Do you know?
and then give it another 6 months or something like that, and you do it again. You'd be like, God, I'm actually having fun now. This is really good.
Yeah, have you? I must say, with you boys, especially with like stuff that's happened in your family, have you ever done like a therapeutic, psychedelic session?
Not
Besides with
not
you
like a
guys.
proper.
Besides with you two, but that
I've
wasn't
done
the aim.
acid with my friends
Yeah.
in a very nice, comfortable environment, which
Yeah.
I technically felt gave me therapy at the end
Yeah.
of it, even though I didn't talk to them or about anything like that.
We had like a 5 gram each mushroom experience. We sat,
Fucking mad.
we sat on this carpet in I've got like this psychedelic room in my flat, right? So the whole room is like bright colours and the walls are orange and shit. And we sat on this like psychedelic duvet facing each other.
Yeah, we're like a month out from breaking up with our
Like
girlfriends.
this, yeah, we're both in a fucking
We're
bad place.
sad.
And we're sat there like getting it all out. Rob's crying his
I
eyes out.
was just.
Rob's sat in front of me like, and I'm
We
like,
were getting through it, and it was all untangling all this bullshit.
Yeah.
It was the best sort of release I've had ever, and it was weird because I had weird moments. I don't know because I remember talking to you about the way you'd speak to yourself in those like times, and like you'd be fucking brutal to yourself.
Mhm.
You look yourself in the mirror, and I remember I'd feel myself like in public, like wanting to cry,
Mhm.
and I'd look at myself in the reflection, it's like, you fucking pussy, don't cry,
Yeah.
don't
Don't
let
do it.
anyone ever see you cry.
Mhm.
And I remember, and then I cried in front of him, and
Yeah.
I felt fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
we both came to afterwards and we were like, we learned a lot of things about each other today, and Rob's like, I learned that I'm a crier.
Yeah, oh mate, it was fucking jokes.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah,
because
proper tears.
when you two guided me on my first experience
Yeah.
close to that, you just had some sort of news that you didn't know how to deal with.
Oh mate, that was brutal. Yeah, that was a sad one.
Do you want to say what that was, or you not? Do you don't want to?
No.
Cool, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but I mean, I just don't want to be talking about someone else who probably doesn't want me talking about them.
You don't have to say names, man. It's cool.
But yeah, it was related to the old relationship. Got
Yeah.
some news about it that just threw me off,
Yeah,
and it was just nice having that opportunity to untangle it then.
mate,
Yeah, with my
you
boys.
you did well. You were just kind of there like, that could have been me. Ooh.
Yeah, it was a mad one.
Yeah.
But I think again we've all had that experience now. But you notice like growing up, they talk about drugs and they all get sort of put into one
Yeah,
category.
so silly.
And-
What pisses me off at school, all the teacher always made it out like I was going to be getting off of drugs all the time.
Yeah.
I had to
Well,
search
How hard it is to get hold of it.
some of these things that we do. Like, it took me months to find like reliable
we
DMT.
talked about DMT for years,
Yeah.
and we were like, oh my god, we finally found something.
Yeah.
Like obviously with the white girl with dreadlocks, obviously.
Yeah.
That's
Obviously.
who you ask if you need stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, back a sec, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. It was.
But then my point on that, is that, you have all like,
Oh, like crack and weed are in the same category.
yeah, exactly,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
But then like, so I've never done crack, heroin, or anything like that. But obviously,
Yeah, me neither.
you see by the people that have done it
Yeah.
that it does obviously completely destroy their lives because
Yeah, even then.
it becomes a point where they want to do that more than they want to experience their life.
Yeah.
They just want to
Oh,
take
mate,
chemical and
but-
taking it. But when you have a psychedelic experience, you don't, when you come out of it, you don't think, oh, I can't wait to do that again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You think, oh, well, I've had a mind expanding the
Yeah.
experience.
Rest
Right,
afterwards.
yeah. And how can I? Right, this is what I'm going to do now to actually change and work on my life.
Yeah,
Like, you wouldn't-
weirdly
You
insightful,
wouldn't
isn't
want
it?
Yeah.
to do acid every day, although you were telling me about a guy who was doing ayahuasca
Oh
every day.
shit, yeah. So it was funny because I was talking about exactly that. How like after you've had a trip or something, you normally have this amazing sort of afterglow, and there's sometimes you just had a great time.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you've really actually untangled
Tough
some
time,
shit.
yeah.
That you've untangled some shit that's you've had a problem with. And I think like I found this guy on Instagram. He used to be a fitness influencer.
Mhm.
And he was a bit weird, and he would used to do like reaction videos. He'd take his top off in the street, and like girls would like gawk at him and shit. That's basically what he did. But he got into ayahuasca, and he started doing it every 2 hours.
Jesus.
So he like,
Microdoses or-
No, he fucking lost it, mate. He'd lost the plot, and he
MK
started
Ultra
putting
type
up
shit.
videos like, "I'm not doing fitness anymore because I'm God," and
Jesus Christ.
yeah, and they would put videos up of him interviewing his old parents, trying to like make them spiritual. He'd lost the plot. But some people, that's the thing is, there's so many things that could be so useful for so many people. I mean, like things like Parkinson's, like tremors in Parkinson's, or your appetite with cancer and pain relief, like inflammation. And marijuana can help. Would just take away the need for a lot of shitty medications that have side effects. And mushrooms could do some amazing things. We can't lie and say that they don't have. We can't say that the weed for some people is bad. It just is. But normally, it's like, why don't you find out? Because normally, the problem is if they get really fucked up. And
You get really high straight away.
But let someone try it, have a little bit.
Morphine's Morphine's bad for some people.
Anesthesia's bad from a lot of people.
Exactly.
Anesthesia, propofol is bad for a lot of people. There's lots of things, but it's all about mitigation, right? It's like, this is bad for you, but radiotherapy isn't as bad as cancer, so we're going to go with chemo.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Even though you're basically just obliterating your body,
Yeah.
killing every
one cell at a
cell
time.
in the hope that it will kill the cancer
But
cells.
I fear it's big pharma and lobbying. If you look at the way that these guys lobby for things.
Well, the fact that lobbying's a thing is, to me, when I found that out, I was like, surely this is the most ridiculous
it's
concept, and it's legal, and they talk about it as if it's normal.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Houses of Parliament and literally say to people, we'll pay you if you support me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crackers.
How does that work?
The
whole point is that you're not supposed to be supporting
Yeah.
individual interests, you're supposed to be supporting everybody.
As soon as you played enough interest in politics to realise that it's actually it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't get involved in it anymore.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I would literally, when it comes to vote, because I love and trust my dad, I'll be like, Dad, who should I vote for?
Yeah.
Who do you reckon? Or he'll give me some little updates about if you think this, go for them. If you think this, go for them. If you think this, go for them. I just won't fucking involve myself in it.
What does your dad do, Robbie?
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, I trust him. Yeah.
He's a fucking good bloke, my dad.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a lawyer.
Yeah.
Your main man, Dave.
Good one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dave. I am.
I'm a fan of Dave too. His dad is. If you don't see him smile, he's a fucking enormous, terrifying bearded dude. And then
People say that.
and
People
then,
say that.
but you grew up with. Oh, when I first met him, I was like, "Fuck!" And I was like, "Hello, mate, I'm Matt." And then, hang on, I was like, "Hello, I'm Matt." And then he had this biggest grin I've ever seen, just splits his face. I'm like, "Oh, cutie, there you
The
go."
way he holds himself.
Yes.
Very professional.
You can
isn't it?
tell that he's important.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And so it's
In that line of work, he has to.
But it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's like, but if you approach girls, right, it's all about entitlement. So if you go up to a chick, right, and you're like, oh, hey, I'm really sorry
Yes.
to interrupt your day.
Fuck off.
I'm a little loser and I'm a little bitch, basically. They're gonna,
And she's
oh,
dry as a
fuck
Sahara.
off.
Yeah.
But if you go over there and just go, hey man, how you getting on? I'm such and such, like you're entitled to talk to her.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
The confidence.
she's then rude, she's like, am I being the weird one?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same. It's like if someone stands like they're entitled to have you address them with respect, then you automatically kind of respect them.
Exactly.
And so it's like, I think I see that with Dave. It's like
100%.
So because he's not, I mean, he's by no means arrogant and in any way. He's weirdly modest, annoyingly modest actually.
Yeah.
He won't buy a nice car. It's so ridiculous. I mean, he will buy a nice car. He won't spend proper money.
I was gonna say your standards of nice cars.
No, I mean, because I got pissed with him and he told me how much he earned like the year before. I was like,
Scary.
for fuck's sake, Dad.
Scary, isn't it? Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, and but he's just so different to me in that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much of me that I've seen that I've taken his values, and a lot of it I really appreciate.
I think that that does come with age and experience.
Yeah. But the other,
because if you were driving around in a Lambo, you'd think it would be great is, especially in the UK. I think it's a different culture in America, but in the UK, to have wealth, 90% of people hate you for it.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't
That's
it?
It's a weird concept, and I've never understood it. But yeah, if you were driving around Lambo, people would be fucking spitting and throwing shit at you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, they'd be ready to keep.
They wouldn't be like, oh, this guy's a G.
Yeah.
He's absolutely smashed it, so he can afford a Lambo.
Yeah.
They'd be like, fucking prick.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? But I fear that's part of we don't have an abundance mindset in the UK, and I think that comes from the population density. We're so often rubbing shoulders with people that are
different class.
Yeah, piss poor or really rich, and so there's always look at them and look at them. You know, it's life is a tree of monkeys, right? You look down, you see smiling faces. You look up, you see arseholes.
That's good.
That's a good one.
That's very good. What was that? Terry Pratchett?
Not sure.
Yeah. Which was Turtles All the Way Down? That's Terry Pratchett, right?
I think we probably all had a very good mix. I mean, Caversham like the perfect. Caversham has shit and really, really nice.
Yes,
exactly,
it's a perfect blend. Yeah,
it's the perfect
in
the middle.
And there's from Whitley to Caversham Heights is a fucking that's
big jump.
It's a world apart, isn't it?
Yeah. And next to me I got Slough next door to me. It's weird being right next to sort of because I through school I had rich friends and. So I grew up thinking I was like towards the lower earning, which turned out to be just because my dad wasn't that flashy.
Yeah.
So and then sort of like schools were some kids were getting dropped off at my school by the drivers.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And
what school did you go to?
Oh well, I mean I went to a bunch of them. I went to
You kicked out?
my first school I went to was called Gayhurst.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I went to the licensed victuallers in Ascot. Then I went to which was terrible. Well, I didn't like it. And I went to Shiplake College in Henley.
Oh yeah.
I went to Henley College. So I did 2 years of state school. That sorted me out. I got rid of that. Got rid of the R in my voice.
Yeah, good boy.
Yeah. No, I needed to do that. That was important.
Yeah.
You didn't get it from your folks. You just got it from the kids
No.
around you.
No. It's just sort of this weird sort of posh kind of voice.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It's probably. I mean, I don't know. People still think say I'm posh, but that's because I hang around with people from like Birmingham.
I mean, we're all posh.
Speaking properly is posh. Yeah.
Wow, you're really posh, aren't you?
And you're like, no.
I just don't sound like I'm on a Greg's advert. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to sell some like reasonably priced insurance.
Yeah.
Well, the Midlands Northern accent is the most trusted accent for advertising.
Like, we're working class, I promise.
I spent 4 years in Nottingham. I don't trust anyone there.
No.
Yeah, it's proven that statistically they get more success from using a middle.
That is interesting. And it's cheaper up there, so offices are much
definitely
cheaper.
The actors are very cheap.
They're like, hey, oh, pets, you should really invest in this crypto.
That's fucking funny.
It's interesting because like when you grew up like that, my introduction to secondary school was a local one in Emma Green, and when I joined, it was a fucking war zone. Like ambulances every week, fights every week, like absolute.
Does that come
police
with
all
the
the time.
density though?
I don't know.
Because you had like 400 people in your year, didn't you?
So we had like I had like a buffer like around my year. Like my year, as I went past through the ages, was just like nice.
Yeah.
But either side of it was just horrific.
Yeah.
Like the fights that you would see, people would end up like passed out, their limbs bent the other way, pieces of them lying away from them, shit like that. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah,
real bad. Real bad.
There was loads of the drugs were so right.
What was that?
Oh, there was designated areas.
We used to smoke, when I was like 14, we used to smoke this stuff called AM2201, which was a research chemical.
That's really high spec for a 14-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Order off the internet. We go to smoke this in the science.
Was that
bathrooms.
NZT or something?
Yeah.
You make it in chemistry.
Yeah,
Yeah, he made it.
So this is like one of those synthetic weed things that they
like spice,
keep making. Yeah, it's like spice. So you go and smoke this and you sit in double science and the teacher's eyes would change size like this. And like, talking to the private school people, that's not normal.
We had the kids that went off and smoked. That was about it.
Yeah.
No, we had the run up, the hiding and smoking.
Yeah.
But then you had.
But did you have smoking spice in the toilets? Because
It wasn't the-
You had the people that went
No.
off and did weed and stuff like
But
that.
you
but
did
it was like-
have, kids that were 15 that could afford a coke addiction.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. We weren't. They weren't on
Yeah.
spice.
What
it was,
a line!
It was coke, and then
love that.
ketamine became a big thing
Yeah.
when I was growing up, and
Oh,
obviously
it's
it
so
was
fun.
cheap, so everyone liked.
You must have had a similar education to Robbie then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess so. Yeah, I went to the oratory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mate, what the fuck?
Rah rah.
Wait, I
But,
bet.
but I come from like my old man's like working
Do you remember
class. So,
Leroy?
Yeah.
well, Henry Leroy.
Yeah, or George, or either or.
George is his young brother, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Henry was in the year below me. But you know, I was quite lucky in the respect. So I don't know what it was like at your school. At the oratory, it
I'll
was
believe
like
I'm out. Don't worry about it.
you had like there was like a class split. Do you know what I mean? You had like the working class new money,
Yeah.
and then you had like the old money.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, you know, the old money were
Bro,
all
I
the
think that was
prefects
because of,
and
like,
the head
attitude.
boys and
Yeah.
everything like that. Yeah, no, I do
Yeah,
agree.
massive.
When you
Massively.
come away, you realise it's the
Yeah,
attitude
yeah,
type.
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you had, exactly. You had all the dough boys and the new
You
money.
weren't like trying to find your tribe. You sort of just, it just sort of happened.
Yeah,
because
exactly,
How
yeah.
you were acting and whatever. And I was always, my best mate, I had sort of 3 best mates through school, and they were always the kid who's.
It's okay, Max. They're not here
grandparents
anymore.
were paying
It's alright.
or
Okay.
something because
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
getting in too much trouble.
Yeah.
I was always mates with the rascal. And mate, it was a weird upbringing.
But you know, I really enjoyed it. You know,
Yeah,
I've
fucking had a great
I've had conversations about it before. You know, if I had gone to the local secondary school you were talking about, I would have been fucked. Do you know what I mean? I would have been.
You would have been what? Hang out with me and your brother.
Do you,
It's fine.
have like ADHD or you on any spectrums or anything like that?
I've never been officially diagnosed, but I'm
Yeah.
coming
You're
around to the
on the
conclusion
OCD
I've definitely
spectrum,
got
mate, for sure.
OCD and ADHD.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I didn't know through school. I got diagnosed ADHD
Mhm.
after school, just before uni. But I'd have teachers, obviously no chances of having a state school. They would find me after class and be like, I need you to make sure you've understood this and things
Mhm.
like that. Just finish this, I know you got distracted, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, like I have one particular teacher I remember called Miss Hampton. She was hot as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked her.
That
But
helps.
she actually gave a shit.
Yeah.
And you'd have teachers that who were concerned about you, and I was annoying, but I was never rude.
Yeah,
So I would do things that would annoy people, but I was never nasty to anyone.
playful, annoying,
Yeah, but I was
Yeah.
never rude, and so they'd always sort of respect me.
and they'd like you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they would help you outside of
Yeah.
class, and that would never have happened. And I don't think I would have got into. I don't think I would have got into uni, but I'm not sure that would have mattered. But at the same time, wouldn't be here with you two.
Very true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Very good to
thank you, Miss Hampton.
Yeah, thank you, Miss
Thank you
Hampton.
very much.
I still
Foxy,
fancy you a
you
little bit.
foxy babe.
Oh no, she changed her
Robbie's-
name, I think.
Robbie's of age now. He's 25.
Yeah, 25.
He's not a little baby boy anymore.
No,
He's
no,
not
no,
a baby. He's
he's
not
no longer
14.
15.
Oh no,
14.
he's 14. 15 in a
His
few
frontal
weeks.
cortex is fully developed.
No. These two have got a few more years.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
25.
27.
I keep headbutting things
Yeah.
there.
See?
Yeah, I might
he,
delay
he
it.
regresses every
Really?
time.
26. That's bad.
I'm 26 in less than a month. What the fuck?
4th of May. May the 4th be with you.
That's my granddad's birthday.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
nice.
And we say
Are
that
you,
to
his
my
gra- are, you,
granddad
are you his granddad?
every year.
I am your
May the 4th.
grandfather.
They are.
Here is my.
This is Star Wars.
Yeah.
That is Star Wars,
That
isn't
is
it?
Star Wars. Mate, yeah. You're double now.
Star Wars Day, baby.
You're going to dress as Darth Vader.
Yeah. I'm a Sith.
Here, look at my red
I'm a
rod.
Sith.
I can see you two boys being proper Star Wars nerds.
Yeah.
Because you're Warhammer nerds.
Yeah.
You're like a
Yeah.
Warhammer nerd in disguise.
Yeah.
You're.
I'm just a Warhammer nerd.
Would you like fully Warhammer nerd? Do you like play the game and everything, or do you just paint?
It's a game.
Both.
Yeah,
There's different types of game. You got the tabletop game or you got the video games.
Yeah.
See?
Dorks.
Yeah. Yeah, me
So
and Robbie.
Robbie, I'm a daughter with biceps. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You can defend yourself. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
fine.
I like nerdy shit.
Fuck yeah.
I
Chicks
do-
do as
I
well,
do
which is
like
the fun
it.
part.
I don't think they do.
Is that
think
what they
that's
tell
part of
you?
what I don't, that's what I like about it. It's just something where it's just like, there's not really going to be chicks there, and if there are going to be chicks there, they're going to be weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Sometimes in a good way.
if
The
they're-
good weird.
if
Sometimes.
If they're weird and hot,
Freaky.
right? Weird and hot is way above the level of just hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, weird and hot's normally fun.
It's
Right?
Weird
crazy.
and hot is
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, it's
Right?
crazy.
Weird and not hot is the worst,
Yeah.
100%.
right?
That is the worst.
And
Yeah.
then hot and weird,
Hot, not weird.
and not hot.
Not hot, not weird is slightly less
Yeah,
bad.
not hot, not weird.
You're just kinda
slightly
like,
less bad.
yeah.
And hot and not weird is like cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And you get weird and hot.
Best.
That's the fucking holy. Yeah.
That's the epitome of the Venn diagram there.
That's God's. Yeah, that's when you like.
Those are God's children right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones where you sort of like having a bit of pillow talk, and it's like, oh, have you ever done this? And you're there a little bit scared, but you don't want to. Don't let them know that you're scared. So,
So you do it.
So like, yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Why do you like doing that? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And you got it. But do you find that? Is this just me with women? But like,
Next thing you know, she's strapping up.
Yeah, and then you're biting down on your gag.
That you bought for her.
Pushing your face into the wall and thinking about England.
Max, you've been with women who wished that they were men and that you were with a woman, whereas I've just been with women who just
Yeah.
What?
I haven't actually, just for the record, I haven't actually ever been fucked up the arse.
You sure? You sure about that?
Yeah,
I'm not
genuinely
ruling it out.
haven't.
I'm not ruling it out. I'm gonna say he's not even gonna know. It would have been that good. He just passed out.
Hey, I got fingered and I'm gay.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
But
You're now a woman.
Other than that,
Max, are you now a woman?
Sorry?
Are you now a woman?
No, I've always been a woman.
Oh, okay.
But what is a woman?
So
shut up, Matt Walsh.
this is a woman.
That hair is a woman, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fun. She's flirty. She's go out of town.
Strong hair.
Kids are with a babysitter.
What do we reckon? How long was that? Do we think that's here to stay now?
What?
They don't?
No.
No.
Yeah,
So
it's a
apparently the next generation coming in are already like
fuck off.
standing up and
So-
saying, look, what is wrong with you guys?
So
for
Amy
pushing that?"
and all of her
Which
mates
is
are
good
like,
because we
get that shit the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lot of gay people. A lot of gay.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of gay people that don't like it.
They hate it.
don't agree with it.
Well,
Yeah.
Obviously,
because
there's massive.
it shits on them as well because it's
Yes,
like, are you
it
trying to make fun
demeans
of
them.
my sexuality and my preference? It's
Yeah,
like,
and I see why, because it's why are they being lumped in with gay people?
yeah.
Yes.
Like,
It's
I think
Very different.
LGBTQIA
Plus
it's
bollocks.
like everything after the T, everything before the T, from the T onwards.
Yeah.
Put it in a separate category.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you've got one that
So it should just be
Is-
LGB.
it has been going on for years. You know, even back in the Roman times, you had gay men, gay women, all that type
That's
of
how
thing.
the Greeks taught people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dick in the mouth.
But but then you've got the other side of the spectrum, which, you know, it's going to be an unpopular opinion for a lot of people. I can't see it as anything else other than a mental illness.
Yes.
What transgenderism?
So I'm one of these people that I believe in freedom of speech, freedom of expression. You do whatever you want, as long as you're not like hurting or offending people. However, if someone came to you and said, "I genuinely think I'm a tiger," you'd be like, "Shit, mate, there's something we need to help you with here."
Yeah.
You know, there's something wrong. But now we've got people coming up forward and saying, you know, I'm obviously a male because I've got a dick, but I genuinely think
I think you need
I'm
to
a
prove
woman.
that one now.
It's confusing.
I'm going to offer a slight rephrasing of that.
Go on.
So I like to break this debate down into the individual versus the group, right? So I think it's fine to comment on the group and speculate on the group, and then on the individual, I think it's good to serve the individual. So with the transgender debate, the obvious things are the statistics you pull out is the 40% suicide rate.
Yeah.
The only suicide rate that's matched that in history has been Jews in occupied Germany.
Yeah.
Are they being treated the same? I'm not sure.
Probably not.
Probably not, right? So that says that there's something wrong in that, right? Over 50% of them will attempt suicide at some point in their lives. Yeah. That's another one. So that's the stats that make you go, okay, well,
but it's also
potentially there's something wrong here, right? But if I came to you, Max, and I said, mate, heads up, I like to be called a she. Would you mind calling me a she?
See, I haven't got a problem with that.
I'm sure
I
you
actually don't
I'm
care.
sure you would go as an individual with your compassion.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'll do that for you. If I come to you and say I'm a tiger, right, and I say please,
Crack
mate,
on, mate.
Like the ladybird.
Start meowing if you want.
Right? Yeah, and you go, all right, rawr,
We got to
whatever.
fight with a ladybird.
So
And it's splitting that.
my sort of main argument on this, it goes back to the Jordan Peterson thing. Is, as I said, I don't care about you can do whatever you want, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, and all that type of thing. What the whole Jordan Peterson scandal was.
My freedom of expression matters as well.
Yes, but he openly said, you know, I've had transgender students, and I called them whatever they want because it didn't bother me. What bothered him was the Canadian government mandating, passing legislation to say that he had to, which effectively, in a free country, exactly, yeah.
Right.
Which is,
Yeah,
that goes against the freedom of speech and freedom of expression, doesn't it? Because you're then telling me that I have to do this.
Yeah, you have to salute the Führer whenever you see
and that's how it starts. The first one is
you have to
say she, him, and then the next thing is you have to, I don't know, fucking kill Jews. Do you know what I mean?
It's how hot of a topic it is, and that's because in reality,
well, this is what I'm always saying. You know, whenever someone's like, oh yeah, well, what do we think about trans bathrooms? Why don't we have a trans bathroom? Why don't we have a dwarf bathroom?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are more dwarfs than trans people. Why don't we have a little toilet?
Yeah.
It's the same.
Well, they do actually have most little urinals and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do. They don't have a little sitting one.
They don't. That is true.
Right, and it's like, well, if we're gonna have a separate toilet for trans people, we need to have a dwarf toilet.
Yeah. No, I agree with that argument.
And we need a toilet accessed only by wheelchair as well.
That whole argument.
We do have those. They're called disabled toilets.
More wheelchair people.
Why do you want to go in the male toilets to the female toilets? Just go in the fucking disabled toilets if you're not that convincing. It's honestly, you should look at yourself in the mirror and you go, am I going to frighten people? Right? Yeah. If you know, bless you, Brenda, I respect your identity, okay, but if you're a 6'4" woman,
you've got a full-grown beard, yeah,
and a dick down to your knee,
just use the disabled toilet.
That's
fine. I'll call you she.
That's most likely autogynephilia. That's not
very true.
What's that?
So it's basically just getting a sexual kick out of dressing as the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of
not just the opposite sex. It's male to female specifically. It doesn't occur the other way around.
Yeah.
Female to male.
Females don't get turned on by dressing as men.
I think a lot of people that are trying to be inclusive and positive are accidentally lumping them in
Yes.
with
very true.
with that group, which damages it.
Yeah.
And it's also because of how compassionate and open and caring and supportive the system is. It's so easy to game because then you get rapists going through the court system.
That's the point I wanted to get onto.
I'm a woman, and they're like, cool, women's prison off to you. Yeah. Have at it, buddy.
But and it's worse when they let the sex offenders.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Has she? What? So.
Yeah, so there was the woman. There was the bloke who raped that woman.
And then went into
and then sex change.
A female prison.
And
but didn't actually get sex change. He just identified.
Nicola Sturgeon turned around and said, "Is she the Scottish one?"
Yeah.
Yeah. She turned around and said, "No, she is a woman." Right, she is a woman, and the interviewer turned around and went, "Well, is she going to be sent to a women's prison?" And Nicola Sturgeon said, "No, we've decided to send her to the men's prison."
Nice.
Which is completely contradictory.
And then the interviewer was like, "So there are some times when a trans person isn't a woman," and Nicola Sturgeon's like,
Nice. Very good.
That's what she got.
Very good.
And it's so sad that they can't say their opinion. They have to wait for a script to be written.
Yeah, and it's
which is the opposite of what they're supposed to do in that position of power.
That's why politics is fucking ridiculous.
But this is cancel culture, right? It should be an open forum where we can discuss things. But it's, if you don't agree with whatever the regime or the agenda is, then you're demonised and outed from society, and you'll have your job taken away and stuff like that. Because you think differently, and it doesn't have to be. I think some people now are taking it too extreme, right? Because whenever there's any kind of conflict, you have the freedom fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guys that blow up the whatever, right?
Which is obviously extremists.
And it's the same thing. It's the extremists that are going, let's demonise anyone on the other side. You know, the second that someone famous goes, not really sure if I believe in this or this thing, then it's like, bang, done, get them out.
Yeah.
It's like on the list of things that people can do, you know. I think it's a media tool that keeps us focused on bullshit, right? Rather than having
which is what the mainstream media is.
The proletariat,
effectively for.
Even you know, it's even you guys, you know, who to the naked eye are from a very very respectable higher class background. You're still the proletariat masses, man. We are still, you know,
the middle class.
The red masses.
Yeah.
The proletariat, because the actual upper class isn't the people that are making £1 million a year. Isn't the people that are making £2 million a year. Isn't the people that are making £3 million a year. These guys are making fucking billions.
Yeah.
and stood atop the shoulders of the general public. You know, I see like bailouts, corporate bailouts. This has been something that's been really getting me recently. When you hear a bank's been bailed out
for recklessly lending money,
and it should go, well then, why?
If that was my business, I'd go bankrupt, and they'd be like, "Sorry, you fucked up."
Yeah. So, but what happens is that they socialise losses and privatise profits.
Yeah.
So when the bank is making profits, it's privatised.
Yeah.
When the bank goes into losses, the government lends the money out of my pocket to socialise the losses, and it's like, whoa, there. Surely at that point, the bank should then be owned by the government.
Yeah.
But
and then therefore owned by us.
Yeah.
And
but it's not.
that's where it does become very difficult, because I'm 100% in agreement with you there, Max, that is out of order. It should never happen. I think we can all agree, though, the reason that it does is because the fallout it would have would be so extreme that no person running the government, no head is going to say, well, I'm going to vote it to completely fuck everyone. Fuck everyone's mortgage. They're going to be fucked. Because you know, with most mortgages, that there's a clause in there that the bank can say at any time, I can ask you for the full settlement. Yeah. And that's pretty much in every mortgage. Yeah. And that's effectively what would happen if they didn't get bailed out. Everybody that owned a mortgage by that bank would be said. They would come to them and say, right, you need to pay us in full, which means they'd have to sell their houses and everybody would be fucked. So it's a very
but what it should be is it should be an emergency share.
They should have some type of fund.
So the bank goes, okay, we're going to lend you £500 billion, and we're just going to take 40% of NatWest. UK, and then when you pay it back, and then
we'll privatise it again.
Yeah, like almost like if they were to give an option. So if they were to give a 5-year option as a down payment in order to buy their stock at X price,
and if not, we'll sell it to another bank when you default, basically. Yeah. To the highest bidders, and it's them privatised again.
And you can just sell the option effectively. Like that would then socialise. Or at least privatise the losses.
Or they wipe off all the mortgages for that reckless bank. Yeah. Because the bank has
that makes more sense. Yeah, they fucked up.
Yeah, just turn around to the bank and go, tell you what.
So the government bailed people that have been fucked over out rather than the bank?
Well, if the bank had gone, people wouldn't owe any more than the mortgage. There's no bank to pay to.
The government bails the bank out and then turns around and plunges the bank back into debt by going, you're not legally allowed to go and chase people up on these mortgages.
But effectively, they bail the banks out to keep that profit machine going, don't they? That's exactly what they're doing there. Whereas, as I said, if they just writ off all the debt, there'd be a restart, then banks would also be forced to be less reckless because they know, well, if we fuck this up, there's only a few times a bank would need to do that, and everybody would own their own home. And then mortgages and banks would be...
They don't exist.
Non-existent.
And the cutesy little percentages you get on a savings account, not going to bother with that.
No. Well, the interest rates would go up, which would be good for everyone.
Outperforming inflation, right? But there's that, and the other thing that's fucking annoying is is tax, corporation tax, and companies like Vodafone and Amazon and stuff that just go, oh, well, we're based in
Northern Ireland.
Where's a tax haven in
Ireland,
in Europe?
Northern Ireland.
L begins with an L.
Luxembourg, sorry.
Everyone's fucking basing themselves out of Luxembourg and paying a.
You should pay profits where you make the money. If you're multinational, then you have to pay the profits based on which country you're in.
You should have a choice. You pay 20% on profits, or you pay X amount on revenue, whichever one's less. And so if you said, okay, we're doing 5% revenue or 20% profits, whichever one's less.
They'd be forced to reinvest into that country, wouldn't they? Because they'd think, well, I'd rather not pay the profits, so I'll increase they did it on the infrastructure
it would be,
in that company, which would benefit all the people where they're getting avoiding the tax from.
Is tax deductible? That would be the way to do it. But there's never going to be, in the UK or any Western country, there's never going to be a truly socialist regime like that. Because it's all based on upper level corruption and collusion within your friends. So there's never going to be a system that's actually built for the people. Jesus, I've gone full circle on Karl Marx now.
I was going to say, I was thinking, wow, the CCP's got a real handle on Max.
Normally I'm sort of like Third Reich.
Well, that's because
Flip
politics,
to the
my
left.
friend, is a circle.
In the last 18 months, I've sort of been. I'm now a radicalised socialist.
But and that's why you'll see when we
Third
like, intellectual people like us, we can't. Oh, just groups as intellectuals. Everyone else can make that decision. But it's not easy. People talk about politics and say the working class think, oh, why don't you just do this? And of course, the middle class will say, to politicians, well, why don't you just do this? But as you say, once you go through the process and how complex and
very
complicated
complex,
life
yeah.
is,
We're all
it's
sitting
very.
in front of the TV, right, with hot wings balanced on our beer bellies, shouting at the athletes for missing the ball.
Yeah.
That's
Good
what
point.
we're doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're
Yeah.
doing. Oh, I fucking missed that. I would have got that. No, you wouldn't have fucking.
That's what you're being paid for.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made that shot.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, realistically, you put us in the House of Parliament, and we see the colour of money and the allure of it, and the drugs, and then
We're all going to wear bland suits and bang our secretaries
they
and
start
go.
bringing the whores in and the bribes and stuff like that.
Well, those bribes do sound pretty good.
Yeah,
they sound pretty good.
you get paid
Money
out.
talks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My favourite one is the one Boris Johnson had before he was PM about the Flower Bridge in London. That's
Go
my
on.
favourite. There was a what was it? It was fucking. He basically contracted it. He did the no bid contract out as an open forum. When it wasn't. It was to his mate who got like 50 million of the public's money that just never got constructed and just vanished.
Disappeared.
Okay, 15 mil.
50.
50.
50. And this was 5 years ago. And it's just
So was that to do with the COVID thing?
no. Even
Because
before,
so
that.
okay, so there was a point during COVID, and this is a complete failing of the British government here. A salesman basically, one geezer on his own, when COVID happened, he found a supplier for masks and gowns and all the gloves and everything like that. Like put it all as a package deal, and found out whoever it was to sell to the government. Now he made the deal was something like 150 million, and he made like 110 million profit. So whoever agreed that deal didn't do any due diligence on this bloke. They just desperately needed it and thought, shit, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
To the point where the taxpayer, effectively, the bloke could have made 1 million, and that would have been enough for that deal. But he walked away with like 110 million. We fucking paid 150 million
Jesus Christ.
when it should have only cost 41
It
million.
takes a special kind of arsehole to see an opportunity like that to become rich. Though.
I think it's
then you're like, well done, buddy.
I think it's immoral what he did. However, in our society, especially our capitalistic society, he's not done anything wrong. He's played everything by
He's
the
just
rules.
used the system.
And the people that are put in place to avoid that happening have completely failed who they serve.
100%.
Well, mate,
It's
it's
not his fault.
what's the morality of patenting chemo drugs?
I agree with that. What I've said, like anything like that.
What's the legality? What's the morality of patenting
Give it
AIDS
out.
drugs?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What's the morality of earning? I always think part of my sort of manifesto is going to be no more billionaires. Right? Once you reach 999,999,900, and your account goes, you get a letter in the mail that says, "Congratulations, well done, you've won."
Yeah.
Right? And if you have any more money in your account than that, or any more on your person, then the people come down, they drag you outside, and they put up what's called a guillotine. Right? And then you start paying your taxes very quickly. Okay, well it does it. Okay, well I can't have more than that anyway. Someone's going to pay my tax. Okay, cool. Like Bill Gates. The fact that people haven't just marched into his house, dragged him out, guillotine,
It's his massive. The biggest thing for him is his 180 from the vaccines. Like as soon as it's no longer profitable, he's like, it wasn't a good idea anyway.
Yeah.
We really need to lead into vegans.
And why was he
Way to go.
a bloke who's got no medical background?
And he's got a gut.
Yeah. Talking and
About health.
being a pundit on health, and who was allowing
Look
him
at
to
our
do
what was he
for
doing
us
on
as a
Epstein
country though.
Island?
Look at our fucking health
and
minister.
Epstein
She's
were
a
like that,
fat
weren't
pig.
Yeah.
I can imagine old Billy was probably in cahoots with
I'm going to send,
Why,
Jeffrey,
I'm going
to-
to fly someone out to you. mate.
I need you to do this.
Can you send me some photos?
A
back?
billionaire
I need him to
software
sign
owner or something like that. He's like, I need you to get him to
Yeah,
do
or-
something so he can sign it
or
all over to
someone who's-
Microsoft.
Oh, this guy's blocking me. I'm going to fly him out to
Mm.
you. You compromise him, and then I'll put through whatever. Yeah.
And again, it's amazing that people like him and various other of the celebrities that we know were involved with Epstein, radio silence.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell, I mean, she's got done, but
Has she even done? I thought that was just...
we don't really know. I think she's been jailed.
She's been in jail.
Yeah.
And, she might. I mean.
What's the jail, like a Ritz-Carlton or something?
Probably.
Yeah, but she's got
House
tennis
arrest.
court.
Tennis court, she doesn't even
Well,
play
in
in.
the States, you've got private prisons. So you can
That
either-
system is fucked.
Yeah, so if I'm worth £1 billion, like Donald Trump goes to prison, I go, well, I'll pay for my prison time.
Well, you had the same thing with El Chapo.
Yeah.
Well, what about
I'm Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar? He
That's
built
what I'm
his
thinking.
own
I'm
prison,
sorry.
didn't
That's
he?
what I'm thinking. My bad. Yeah, Pablo Escobar, and he flew in the Mexican football team to play with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
You got girls and drugs in there with him.
He had armed guards. He had everything he wanted.
Single-handedly fucked up the natural balance of that area by bringing in sort of animals, rhinos and
Oh,
shit.
really?
Yeah.
What, like?
Yeah, there's
He
hippos.
imported
There's
African
hippos.
animals
There's
from
still-
Mexico.
Yeah, there's still hippos in Mexico because of Pablo Escobar.
He wasn't
he
from
had a
Mexico,
little
was he? It was Colombia.
Yeah.
Was it in Colombia or Mexico that he was in his
Colombian,
prison?
yeah.
His prison.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck it.
I
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
where his
Mexico.
prison was, to be fair.
But in Mexico, in his place in Mexico, I think it's in Mexico.
I'm sure it was.
In his place in Mexico, there's still hippos in the area
It's fantastic, isn't it?
from his old estate.
Oh, what? They got loose and now they won.
Yeah.
Well, because he died and they all just left, so they just let him out.
And they made he had a little zoo in his prison.
It's fascinating when you get
That's sick.
invasive indigenous species like in Hawaii with the axis deer who
Yeah,
are brought over
or-
from
or
Africa.
Cane toads in Australia.
Or the
We
pigs
got-
in Hawaii where they have to gun them down like Apocalypse Now.
We
from,
got grey
like, attack
squirrels.
helicopters.
That's what I was going to say. Grey squirrels.
Grey
We're not,
squirrels,
we're
yeah.
not quite hippos, but
Yeah.
grey squirrels.
Because
That hasn't
we
basically-
had
yeah.
red ones, didn't we? And they
Yeah.
got all fucked up by the grey ones.
And
They're
the red
only up north
squirrels
now.
were cute as fuck. And now
Yeah.
we just got these grey squirrels. They're, still cute.
They're evil.
We've got a lot in the
They're
UK
evil.
though.
No, we don't have exciting.
Nah, it's just a less colourful
I would
version.
like to have more stuff that would kill me. That'd be more exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen like the
Fun. I like
the
to
spiders
learn
and that from America? Imagine
Komodo
waking up
dragon.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
night.
but you're
and
faster
there's
than a Komodo dragon.
fucking
so-
huge
Yeah.
spider above your bed, and you've got to get up and do something about it, or it's going to kill you.
I mean, we can import a bird-eating spider. I've seen one. It's like the size of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
can't live
not
with
very poisonous.
No, but they're just big and they'll chew through your face.
I'd like lions
venomous,
of some
should I say?
description. That
Yeah.
would be fun.
Like a lion.
Yeah.
It would be
You
handy
need some
too.
kind of big, like a big dog or a big cat.
Big
or something.
cat,
Unbelievable.
yeah. But I assume we killed most of them out because we wanted to be the apex predator.
Because we had ground sloths, didn't we?
I don't know.
Don't
I
we?
think we had wolves at some point.
No.
I don't know about sloths. I've never heard about sloths.
No, that's a new one to me. A ground sloth.
Yeah.
So they don't swing about in trees, no?
No, really, they're massive.
Aye.
Giant ones.
Yeah, Jurassic animals.
Like wildlife fucking stuff. So what's the most exciting wildlife we have? It's like the cool cows in like the Highlands and that stuff. That's the best stuff.
Pretty much a bull. Or
We
Or like foxes.
We do like a horse in this country.
Yeah, but none of them are English horses.
No.
No, we had Spanish horses and shit.
But yeah, we hate foxes in this country. But have you ever seen a fox?
Yeah?
They're pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're pretty cool
cool.
looking.
saw
I mean, they
them walk
scream
up
like
and
they're
down
being
the other day.
They rape each other
raped.
at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that sound is quite
Yeah,
something.
it's horrible.
Yeah, this fox.
And you'd never know whether you should like
Yeah,
look out in
yeah,
case
that
it's
child,
somebody
yeah,
like
It sounds like,
yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah, is it a child or something like that? You're
Yeah.
thinking, what's my
Like
neighbour doing?
shrieking. It's
Yeah, yeah.
fucking horrific sound. It's a very weird sound.
I got a live as well.
Gonna kiss.
Gonna kiss myself.
So this business podcast.
it's just two of
is
us.
A little bit offset.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, I probably won't advertise this one so much as a predominantly business
You'd have
podcast.
maybe take a couple of clips out of it. Then
Yeah.
we might have 1 minute of quality content.
But I mean, that's the beauty of
shareable.
this concept is we go round and talk about various different
Yeah.
pertinent exciting points, which hopefully are a tad more
Yeah,
exciting than
Death can, anyone?
just the business.
Oh, Death Can. I'm a bit yawny.
Lovely.
What's the
Death
time?
can,
Have we got any standard ones? What have we got?
yes, we do. We have a standard can.
No, that's a Coke.
That's what I said. Death can.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, yes,
what standard
sorry.
death
What
can?
the fuck is that?
That's what I mean. I'm not really keen on the different flavours.
Pacific Punch.
Oh, there we go.
That's the standard.
So, let's talk about how badly we sort of grew up, sort of nutritionally and drug. So, have you ever been a smoker?
Yep. So I
Cigarette
gave up
smoke.
smoking. New Year's Eve.
So, what was your journey? When did you start smoking?
So I started smoking. I've been on and off smoking myself. So
Yeah.
I smoked cigarettes. Started smoking when I was 16. I avoided it for years.
Mhm.
You know, all my mates started smoking, 13, 14, 15. Always avoided it just because I've had various different experiences in my life which I don't really want to divulge in, but in terms with family and drugs and stuff like that. So for me,
You got
demonised.
molested by a
shit.
carrot.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
carrot, wow.
So it was demonised for years in my family. So I
Carrot.
just avoided everything like that. I drank obviously because we're British. We drink from
Yeah.
very
That's the
young
weird
age.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and heavily as well.
Yeah, because like 14, 15, you start getting battered at parties. don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Weird.
Mate, not even
Like
parties, like
blackout.
fields down by your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, like
blackout drunk.
Yeah.
like bottles of fucking.
That's a
Glen's
weird
vodka,
British
cheapest.
thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Nothing.
Glenn's. Oh,
Glen's vodka. man,
what an
yeah.
initiation
Good
that is.
stuff. But yeah, so I gave up smoking. Well, no, so I started smoking probably about 16, and then I probably smoked all the way till I was about 18. But then I started smoking weed, and then when I
Did that
smoked weed, I wouldn't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
So then it got to a point where
You smoke weed during the day?
not when I was at work,
No.
not at work, but as soon as I finished, I would,
Mm.
4 or 5 joints a night.
Yeah, because that was fine for me when it was only in the evening, but if it drifted into the day, that's when I started to have a problem with weed.
Yeah, so I've luckily, because I've always had a strong work ethic, it never crept into my work because I was fairly career driven, or I had an idea or a concept of what I wanted to achieve, so I never allowed it to get into that area of my life. But I'd smoked quite to the point where when I wasn't at work, I'd be smoking.
Here's the funny
Like
one, what
non-stop.
about like caffeine? Did you ever smash like energy drinks 30,
Yeah.
40?
Yeah, 13, 14.
Because
smoked
I
shitloads of
realised
those
now how
drinks.
fucking bad that was, like conditioning us like to dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not realising at that age that we're just just growing these dependencies within ourselves. And
To the point
nicotine
where
is
it's-
probably the worst one,
Yeah.
I think. And actually, to be fair, caffeine, I bet I tried to take a couple of days off caffeine.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard. Almost
it is.
harder than smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard.
I don't know. It's
I think you'd be.
Yeah, but we all drink tea, coffee.
Energy
You're like
drinks.
constantly,
So
man.
Yeah.
I don't drink that many energy drinks, but I drink green tea like it's going out of fashion. Like I will have 15, 16 cups a day.
Fuck.
Seriously.
That's not that much caffeine, though. I don't think.
But so I think there is, it's like 80 milligrams in tea. I think it's 120 milligrams in coffee.
Yeah.
Then I think it's 40 in green tea. So there's more than you think there is.
Okay.
Because I just assumed
16's a lot. Yeah.
I just assumed
16's
green.
a lot of anything.
Yeah. But I just assumed green tea had
That's
nothing
a lot
in
of
it.
grapes.
It depends what it depends also what sort of coffee you're talking about. If you're talking like a Starbucks coffee, that's 330 milligrams.
Is it?
Starbucks sucks though. Because
It's-
it's fucking sweaty.
You're there like
teenagers, but,
Jesus.
Because all
And
you want when
burnt
you
as
buy a
well.
coffee now, you basically want someone covered in tattoos with one of those short beanies that's like rolled up an extra one, and they got like a weird mustache. That's who you want to make your coffee now.
Yeah.
True.
Because they're if that's a sign that they
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah,
very
They're gonna
champion
do some
barista.
sick latte art.
Or there's some random really aggressive Australian
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate. It's like old school tattoos, moustache.
Yeah.
Or lesbians make great coffee.
They do.
Yeah.
Angry lesbians are the best.
Gay
Yeah.
women are really good at making things.
Yeah.
Not food though.
I think lesbians
Funny
are
that.
making coffee.
Yeah.
Gay guys make the best cakes.
Gay
Oh
I
god,
think,
yeah, gay guys can bake.
I've never had a gay cake.
It's very
Yeah,
gakes.
gay cake, mate, that's
Gakes.
what
I
I'm
bet
saying,
you
mate.
have had a gay cake, you just don't know it.
I probably have had
Probably
a
have,
cake.
and you're like, this is fantastic.
This is probably a really good cake. Yeah. Have you guys watched Is It Cake?
No.
Yeah, got it.
So there's
Well, they
a
all
show.
get-
It's like a game show, and they have to bake something that looks like. So they'll get given this. They have to recreate this, but it's a cake.
Nice.
But at the end,
Is
the
it a
guy
cake?
comes and cuts it to see if it's a cake or not. This fucking guy, right? He cuts halfway and he tears. He tears the cake. He doesn't
What
cut
a
the cake
psychopath.
nicely. And it just, and me and my buddy
One,
did a
two.
load of mushrooms and watched the whole of this series. And this guy, his like, eyes all like bugging. He's like, is it cake? Am I cake? Yeah. And yeah, oh man, it was fucked, but it was worth a watch. But there was a
Is it
gay guy
cake?
on that and he baked really well. I think he
Totally.
won.
I'm sure.
And that was the point.
Yeah. That's the point of that moral story.
Well, the gay people are good at stuff.
Yeah. In different ways. And a different kind of gay.
Yeah. Did you grow up with gay people around you?
I'm trying to think.
Because I'm a very, very very unhomophobic family.
Yeah.
Immediate. And I found it very strange to come across homophobic people. Right?
Yes, that is very strange.
Yeah.
I found it really,
Well,
really
it's-
weird.
I think it goes back to the same thing as like racist people. Like
Yeah.
it's a weird extremist concept, isn't it? Like, what's your problem?
Something happening outside of us.
Yeah.
Like most of the time.
Yeah.
Like everyone had like a grandparent that would do the odd off comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'd all just be like,
But the whole family would be like, just stay wrong.
yeah, he's
You
on.
just leave it.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah.
don't listen to him.
Yeah.
And you just don't. You just ignore it. But there was no real racism.
But again, we come from a very free country, don't we? We're lucky in that respect.
And a generation as well.
Yeah,
and
we're a
generation.
very un-racist country in general.
Like a lot of South.
Obviously, there's pockets of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was in.
If you go up north,
Yeah.
there's not a high density of black people.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
North,
And
yes.
then
Middle,
north,
you're fine.
yeah, and they're just strangely racist.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a bit weird.
Yeah,
to hear.
I went to Parklife with my mates when I was like 18, 19? No, that was at uni, must have been 20. So, that was in Manchester. So you would, Parklife was quite cool, because you'd go to the fields for the festival, then you'd come back into the city for the hotel, just from a taxi. It was really short. But on the Saturday, I think it was, on the way in, we walked through the city and there was an EDL march going on. I was like, oh, wow, this is something. Just like fucking skinheads, like shouting about England and stuff. And, like, we didn't see any black people there.
Yeah, no shit.
And I guarantee none of them had jobs.
Yeah.
And were contributing to society.
Yeah,
No, definitely not.
that's right,
They're out
Steve.
here.
You with your 3 teeth and 4 GCSEs and by Khaled the neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
But going back to religion, I think that's religion. I think that's people just lost fucking losers who like fucking have a joint thing in the pub and talk about. Do you know who's been? Do you know why this is? Why we have to live in this shit on? It's because of them.
Yeah.
We have.
It's nothing to do with our attitude.
Yeah, we don't deserve this. And this
We've done nothing wrong.
Yeah. And we're a team of brothers.
Yeah.
And it's that only sort of opportunity to create.
Well, Max,
sort of
you hit the nail on the head. Me and a couple of my friends, we have like a running joke of the typical British fucking scumbag that's like, oh, these fucking Polish people coming over here taking our jobs, and it's like, mate, if the bloke who can barely speak the language has got no qualifications, can come over here.
He was 3 days off the floating door.
Yeah.
Right?
And he can take your job.
Yeah.
Is it really
He's
him?
natural
Is
selection
he?
at that point.
Yeah. Is he the problem?
You would die in the wild.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have loads of businesses now having problems with having less sort of Europeans there.
Yeah.
We're all fucking lazy cunts and won't.
Massive.
I don't want to get paid too much.
Yeah, we get paid too much and we won't work hard for a shit wage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, then most English people would rather just skip off the government than work properly for a shit
Well,
wage.
and I was talking to you about this the other day, Matt. There was an advertisement which I thought was bang out of order. They had an advertisement saying, like, do you know how much benefits you could claim? And it gave like a figure of like $2,500. And it's like, why is there an advertisement from the government saying you can earn basically $40,000 a year?
Because there'll be a company
sit at
that will
home.
be helping people organise getting their benefits, taking a cut out of it.
But it's like,
Jeez.
how is that allowed?
But I
For
think,
benefits to be that fucking much as well.
I think the way that it needs to be done
That's
is...
going to be extreme, isn't it? They'll be able to have like the ones
Yes.
that can get every single
Yeah.
benefit. But
Still,
the fact
There needs to be some kind of rehabilitation. You know, like how prison, we've reframed prison now. Rather than being punishment, it's rehabilitation. Like benefits should be the same. It should be like, once you sign on,
do community service.
it's like, well done, you've joined the 2 years of rehabilitation.
Yeah.
In 2 years' time, it's cut. You don't get any more. Same with like kids. I have people that come to my shop that's got 5 kids. Like benefits for the first child, no support for the second child, and additional population tax for the third child. Then suddenly you stop having 5 children in households.
Unless you can afford it.
That are receiving $2,000 a month from the government.
What's the incentive for having multiple kids? Do you get more benefits per kid?
Yeah, you get child benefits.
Way more. Way more. So that's why you see like Tina from the hood with her quadruple pushchair.
Fuck.
Yeah, and each kid's a different flavour.
Is it really worth that much
Yes.
to wreck your body that quickly with 4 kids?
For some people. For some
To
people
get
have got
what,
no
fucking $8,000
real
a month?
prospects.
Yeah, so if you get an extra...
$8,000 a month.
So it's an extra about...
Well, I'm using your number.
$8,000 a month.
So it's an extra about £300 a month per child.
That's not worth wrecking your badge for that. Come on.
Or is it? So...
I mean, to be fair, Tina's probably not a looker.
Child,
House is paid for, remember?
Yeah, so the house
True.
The house has been paid for.
Shit, yeah.
If you've got kids, and the more kids you have, the larger house you get.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. So
And you get the right to buy in this
Yeah,
country,
so the
which
first-
And you get
the
the social
most-
housing preference
as soon as
with
you've
any
got a
new build,
child,
obviously.
they have to house you.
Yeah.
So you get put in social housing. You get 300 for the kid, 300 for you, 600. So that puts you on 6,600 a year. Right?
Yeah.
Which means you need to earn £800 a month or $850 a month if you were to have a proper job
Yeah.
and be taxed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go up. So you have child number 2,
So that's,
that's
900 a month, yeah.
which is what 10,800.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No. So yes, $9,000. Yeah, it is.
9,900. Sorry.
Well,
That's
Yeah,
11
because
months. No, you're right. 10-8. You're right.
Yeah.
10,800.
10,800.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
So 10,800. Kid number 3.
Takes you to
You're
12.
now making 12k a month. So that's
It can't be a month.
No,
No,
it can't be
1,200 a
12
month.
a year.
1,200 a month. So
1200
that's
So that's 14,400.
1,200 a month,
Yeah.
£300
That's
per
all.
child.
Okay.
So that's 14,400.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you're not paying tax on that. You're not. That's the same as someone who's earning 35 grand, pretty much.
Yeah. And bear in mind,
And
if you were to have
paying for everything you
And
need to pay
paying
for.
their rent.
a 4-bedroom house
Yeah.
these days, you're probably looking at what,
15,
600
18.
grand minimum.
Or
That
if
means-
you're renting, 15 to 18.
Yeah, 15 to 18. Okay, let's say 15 to 18 plus bills. It's going to cost you
£2,000.
£2,200
Yeah.
a month minimum
Yeah.
to be able to afford to live in that
Plus
house.
your 1,200.
Yeah,
So
which
may
is
as well be
which is if
earning
you work that out, that's what
3,500.
well, that's 35 grand a year once you take taxes out of it that you'd
Yeah.
have to earn just to be able to afford for that to pay for the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you live in if you've grown up in a town where Mackey's is posh, and it's fucking, it's
Yeah, where it's like
shit
guys,
And-
it's your
Mate,
birthday.
IKEA-
We're going to Five Guys.
Yeah.
IKEA is posh. That's the step up.
Mm.
That guy's expensive.
IKEA's cheap and that's better quality.
Yeah, and if you got no inspiration whatsoever, why the fuck are you gonna work hard when there's that offer for free?
Yeah.
shit?
And when you see, but to be fair, it's easy. Like something I've learned from running my shop in the hood. Someone said to me, "He's like Max, until you've grown up with crackheads and bailiffs, you can't talk about life around here."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's absolutely fair. You know, it's,
Mm.
you can't go why you want benefits."
Yeah.
Mate, if I grew up with crackheads and bailiffs at the houses, then I'd probably be like, that's what I'm going to learn.
But that is unfair to a lot of people that have grown up in that scenario and fucking work their bollocks off to get out of it. Because
No,
you do get.
that's not unfair. What I'm saying is the motivation that they have isn't as readily available as motivation for us.
Mm.
So if you look
I
at
do
your,
agree with that
If you
argument.
look at your father, who's out being a stud, and he comes home in his suit and he goes, "Son, I made some great moves today. We're going to be able to go on a nice holiday."
You have a
this year."
great role model, do
Whereas if a dad comes in, "Hey, sorry, son,"
And slaps your mum.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
got any cash in your bedroom?
Mm.
Punches your mum, and then you get a knock on the door from a bailiff comes to take the sofa.
Mm.
It's like that's not in. You know, there might be that one kid that goes, "I'm going to show everyone."
It's like
Mhm.
I'm
2%,
gonna fight
isn't it?
against
Something like that.
But that's
And that's where you get the
rarity.
amazing stories because it's so rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you get the Goggins.
Yeah, that's the Goggins.
Mm.
Yeah.
But again, it's interesting. It's something that my mum always says to me, because my mum came from very, very working class in
Mm.
Bristol. Her dad drove a truck, and her
Mm.
mum was a seamstress, right?
Yeah.
Pennies. She goes, "Mate, the one thing I can't give you that I had is nothing."
Mhm.
And like that,
Damn.
like nothing is more motivating than an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you have no
it's like,
choice.
Mate, I've always had food. I've always had a bed. I've always had a roof.
Yeah.
Bought a sports car when I was 21.
Mhm.
There's never been anything where I've gone, right, I need to sit down, I need to fucking study.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no escape.
need to get
Yeah.
out of
Exactly.
here
Yeah.
or die.
You've had that safe
Whereas
place
whereas someone else has
to
gone,
grow and develop,
yeah,
whereas a lot of them
I
don't
need to
do
go
that.
and I need to read and read and read until
Mm.
I become a lawyer.
Mm.
And it's, so they can't give you, they can give you all the trinkets in the world, but they can't give you that nothing, that motivator.
Yeah, that's what my old man did. His A level. One of his teachers lost one of his A levels, and he just
Lost his A level.
Yeah, they
the
lost
paper.
a paper that was that they needed to finish it.
So
he didn't
this
get
would have
it.
been back in the day of physical paper.
Yeah, with literal paper, and when he got a job, he would go to school. So he'd do a full day of work, and then he would study after school so he could get into uni. And he would work all through uni as well. So that was sort of non-stop. That is, I will get out of this.
Have to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll never know what that feels like.
No.
But I feel like we could artificially create it though.
Yeah.
I think what we should
But
do.
that's what all these books are for. That's why you read
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow
Yeah.
Rich. That's why you read How to Win Friends.
Discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obstacle is the way.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? We're all up towards that sort of self-fulfillment end. And it's like, okay, well, how can I set... and then you go, okay, well, I'll read Goals by Brian Tracy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, okay, well, how can I motivate myself using place markers and stuff like that? But it's still, it's never going to have anything compared to... You look at 50 Cent, right, going around the hood when he was 13 with a gun in his waistband selling coke. And you get shot 10 times and then go, right, I need to get the fuck out of this. I'm going to focus on music.
And he was lucky because he had that near-death experience, wasn't it, that forced him out of that, where again most people would have just died. Exactly, and that would have been it.
And that's the end of the story. And so it's well, I think there's more movement from the lower class to the sort of new money now than there is middle class to big money.
Yeah, well, so
I think a lot of the middle class, we're slipping back.
So there's actually a higher percentage of people that live in the middle class that drop down to the lower class than elevate to the upper class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
makes sense. Yeah.
Because they've had that comfort where they haven't really had to work for it, and say they especially, I don't know if you guys notice in our generation, I'm a couple of years older, so I really saw it in the couple of years before me, is the big push for everybody to go to university. Yeah. Whereas in the previous generation, it was a absolute privilege to go to university. Now these days, you can go to university for fucking
gender studies.
For something that's never going to generate any income for you to even be able to pay off the loan that you've had to get to. So then when you come out of university and you've got that massive debt, what is it, like 50 grand or something like that, to go, and you won't be able to get a job because where can you work where gender studies is going to be relevant? You're going to have to just get a random
the place
job.
that is relevant is a scary place to work at. Not for the people who want to be there because they've been indoctrinated, but for everyone to witness as a concept. And then as you said, there is no motivation for them to elevate themselves out, because they think, well, if I elevate, I've got to then start paying more debt off. It's actually easier for me to just stay.
Yeah, you need to temporarily choose to make your situation more uncomfortable to try and get out. And sometimes it's not bad.
Which the middle class don't tend to.
Yeah, so those people would benefit from, in a weird way, they would benefit off of their situation being worse.
But so often people we all try and assign meaning to life. And something that I've seen where I've done a total 180, so a lot of these guys are just chasing money, they assign the pursuit of increased level of comfort as being the sole reason for their existence.
And do you notice those people are the ones that fail more often than not?
No. I'm talking the complete opposite. I'm talking about the guys in the city who are working 80 hours a week.
But they fail in the real life goal of fulfillment.
Yes.
Is they get to the end of it and they've got a big pile of money. They realise they're still fucking unhappy.
But they're comfortable in their car.
Why if they don't shag and kids that hate them?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's...
They've got a nice car which they bought because they're showing off to all the people that they also don't fucking
It's not even the kids that hate them, the kids who don't know them because they've missed their development.
But for the meaning of life to be, I want to be more comfortable. What the fuck? I want to be uncomfortable, man.
It's only our generation that has ever
that much of it. I think
experienced that. Because previously,
it's all wrapped up
all
together.
generations up to now, we were obviously up until 45, especially in the West, war. We were always at war for whatever reason, trying to defend our country. Then we got to the point, we had the swinging 60s and stuff like that, and you had more disposable income and all that type of stuff, and that's where comfort really started coming in. We've never, our parents' generation were probably the last generation that had nothing and had no option.
Well, they were baby boom, man. They were the opposite. They had everything.
But in terms of...
Are you Forex boomers? My folks are just on the edge of that.
In terms of comfort, I mean,
61.
Max.
Yeah, so they would have been, yeah.
So in terms of comfort, though, if you speak to your parents when they were younger, they had pubs and football, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
They didn't have,
They had comfort, but they didn't have variety.
Exactly. So you'd have a fish and chip shop and maybe a curry house. That was about it.
That
days...
sounds like the fucking life, doesn't it?
But these days, so I went to London this weekend. I could have...
Did you? What were we doing this weekend?
I went and saw some shit bands.
Oh, right, yeah. Cool, yeah.
No, it was a good gig. It was a very good gig. Very good gig. You guys are pretty insane.
No, quick fact check there. Like, oh fuck, there's 3 of them.
And remember, that's the midnight specials ban on Instagram, everyone.
Yeah,
I could probably take 2 of you, but 3.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
which would be the 3rd hole?
Oh damn it! You beat me to it, bastard.
I knew that was
One in
coming.
the butt, one in the mouth, and the other one in the corner by
I
himself.
was saying 2 in the ears,
Oh Jesus!
1 in the mouth.
Are you that small?
So yeah, mine would go.
It's
all
quite,
the
it
way
is quite
through.
cold in here.
They call me the lobotomizer.
Oh Jesus!
You alright, man?
Yeah, man. I'm just getting a new position.
I literally have your dick on my brain.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we saying?
Doesn't matter. That's
Oh,
beautiful.
so I went to London this weekend, and you could be in London and go to a different place every day for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Do something completely different.
No question.
And it's
Wild.
the freedom of choice we have these days is so abundant that I think it forces complacency.
Yeah.
Where you're complacent because you think, oh, it's easy.
It is-
Yeah,
it
how
is-
do you be
it
happy
is-
with what
but
you've got when
ease-
there's just infinite options?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think this is a problem that comes from ease of travel. Ease of travel has eroded the difference between countries.
Be careful how we go down this route
the
because
same way that
the next route is
access to music. The ease to access of music has eroded the difference between genres.
And also the quality of
and the
music
quality.
available.
Yeah.
So back in the day, if I wanted to be a punk, I'd have to go out and buy my punk outfit, and I'd have to go and buy the Sex Pistols record and the Clash record.
From the punk store.
Right, from the punk shop. And at the punk shop, a man went to charge me a lot of money for each of my records, my 2 records that I bought, and they charged me a lot of money for my punk clothes. Right? And because of that, that's what I have to spend my money on. So you came round and you flicked through my record collection, I had my punk records, so you'd listen to my punk music.
Which you
or
saved up for weeks. to
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah,
my
weeks.
punk clothes that I saved up for weeks to buy.
On your £40 a month.
Yeah, whereas now, because I've got Spotify, I can be a punk 1 minute, then I can listen to Elton John, then I can be a rocker, then I can be a mod.
And you have
Buy
some
every
Beatles,
outfit for a
there's some
tenner.
Then I can
Smiths.
listen to some jazz, and then I can go on to Sheen, and I can be a punk rocker one day, and I can wear a suit the next day, and I can dress up as a fucking whoever the next day.
And Tiger.
And it just ruins subculture.
Ladybug.
Yeah.
The same way that the ease of travel has ruined. If you go to Spain now, you can get El Cheeseburger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you
I do agree with that destruction of.
If you're in France, you shouldn't be ordering Le Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
You should be getting some fucking charcuterie off in a back alley from Jean-Francois.
You need to be stepping down from the Arc de Triomphe, walking down Rue de la Harpe, yes, it's a thing, and having a lovely pain au chocolat, freshly made.
Yeah, exactly. But the ease has just eroded that difference down completely.
And the destruction of culture is a terrible thing for the world in general and those specific countries. Do you know what I mean? Just to the point where I was looking, I think it was just an Instagram post today, and it was saying how like if you go to the cities, you could be dropped in any one of the major cities
You can
all
navigate.
over the world, and all the buildings would look the same. All
Yeah.
these tall glass buildings. Whereas before, you go to Shanghai, it'd be this really nice ornate
You go to Sydney.
building. Yeah, you go to.
And you go,
I don't know anything
who's
about
the
Sydney.
architect for this city?
Exactly,
Oh,
yeah.
in Barcelona. Oh, Gaudi's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in, yeah.
Oh, I'm in Brussels.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
all
deco on
brutalism
the road.
here.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's all such and such here. It's all, yeah.
To the point where I was in London, and again it's slightly different because it's not really too much different in culture. But you know, even in areas, you'd have different types of buildings being built. But there was a building that looked exactly the same as the building that had just been built in Reading. So you
Well, we also talked. Max and I, when we were driving in, we were talking about right by Westfield. They're building these fucking monstrosities right next to it. We were like, these.
Oh,
Look,
those high rises.
yeah, we were like, these look dog shit. And then Max was like, yeah, they're probably about 400 grand for a 2-bed.
Yeah. It's,
Easy, yeah.
it's,
And we were like,
it's these,
fuck.
but I don't know why
Yeah,
they're
it's
still
London
building like that.
coming
It's
out.
like this
Yeah.
Thatcher
No, it's going
kind
up,
of
it's going up.
brutalism, concrete.
It's not expanding out, it's just expanding up.
Yeah.
Well, no, but the fact that there are high-rise buildings that far out from
Oh,
central.
good.
is
Yeah, I
what
get
I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah.
It's because the literally all the height of the buildings is increasing further out.
Yeah,
As well.
got you.
Yeah, so just the density is just getting so silly.
and I don't get me wrong. I like the interior of like industrial design
Yeah.
because you know, over the years everything's going to change, and interiors are so easy to change, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I don't really have an issue with that type of sort of decoration and say
Yeah, it's
architecture.
cool, right? It's
Yeah.
cool and trendy
But
at the moment.
there- there are some buildings that I saw.
Brick, that kind of
It's
shit.
like when you take the ceiling out,
Yeah,
so
and
you
you've
can
got
see
the-
ducts and
Yeah,
stuff
and you've
like
got
that.
ducts and stuff
Got
like
it.
that. But then
Bare walls.
But there was a few buildings that were brand new, still being built, that were completely industrial looking, and you just think in 5, 10, 15 years time, that's going to look absolute dog shite. But it's going to stay there for what, another 100 years? We don't
Is
even
that
know
the point of something like that, so they can then build more shit on the outside of it?
I don't know, but again, it looks. Going back to, I'm a massive fan of architecture. You know, so I've been to Venice, Paris, all those different places, and you look at the properties and all the intricate details and the cathedrals and all that type of stuff, and you think, fucking hell, like these guys were supposed to be unintelligent morons from what we're told in history books. But you think we're building this, and they're building these architectural beauties.
There is reason.
Yeah, because
there is reason for it.
Because they were
to get
forced.
1,000 skilled labourers now, you've got to fucking pay them and feed them and make sure that they've got working conditions and stuff like that. Whereas if
not
you
just steal their children.
If you wanted to build the Sistine Chapel, right, you call the East India Company. So send me 1,000 of your finest.
Yeah, they'd go and steal them.
And 1,000 whips as well, actually. And
you're not going to need 1,000.
Yeah, that's
like 100.
I will hire one person for every worker. Right?
That's where the money's going.
When the worker gets too tired, then they swap.
That's one hell of an incentive.
Yeah,
fuck, you're not going to whip that hard.
So, I mean, you don't have to look far around London to see some insane flipping buildings. I mean,
Yeah, even in London.
Isn't there a strip which is just like a whole street of just like empty mansions somewhere?
Oh yeah, no, there's
it's like Russian oligarchs and
Mayfair's like that.
Yeah, and that kind of
Like,
shit.
Well, they're just all empty because they're owned.
And like Saudi families is just empty just
Yeah.
because they own London property.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just buy it.
There are places that I used to go,
value.
like Royal Albert Embankment and stuff, and you go into these beautiful high rises, and there'll be 2 people there because it's people's second homes. And it's also all the lawyers in the city. They all live out in Oxford or Cambridge or wherever, and they have their little place in the city, which will be their flat that they stay at during the week.
With their
And it's
mistress.
just like, what the fuck, man?
You get one of my ex, she used to live in Salcombe, and she said it was lovely until summer, where all the city twats turned up because they were just there for summer, and they just ruined it because it just went from this nice, sleepy little, beautiful town to then just being rammed with people who had bought property that was empty the whole year except for summer, and now they can be like, yeah, we are now Jack Wheels because the flagship is Jack Wheels down there.
Do we have enough memory?
I think we're doing good.
Good.
Yeah, I checked earlier. I think we're okay.
Memories all alone in the moonlight.
Ooh, 234, tasty.
234. We've been going a while.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, and
We're doing very well here, boys.
But that, to be fair, that going back to your point, I don't know why I never really grasped that concept. Obviously, back in the day, it was like, well, if you don't do this perfectly, you're gonna die.
yeah,
We'll whip you to fucking death.
yeah.
And if you fuck it up, we're gonna put you in front of everyone,
Yeah.
and they can watch you being whipped to
Yeah.
death. So yeah, that.
I mean, you got to hand it to
kinda
someone.
makes
I mean, the
sense.
Colosseum is
It's
still
like,
there.
It's like
Yeah.
slaves, right? Look at all the great things that were built by slaves. And it's like, well, we can't do that anymore because we also don't have masons.
Yeah,
Where are you going
real
to find
masons,
1,000 masons
Yeah.
to carve a chapel out of stone?
But Max, you're not seeing the obvious answer. We had the slave. They're just in Libya.
Yeah,
Up for auction.
They just haven't been farmed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring slavery back, I say.
Well, they already had when they took out Gaddafi. Brought it right back.
Yeah, no.
Oh, what? Because Gaddafi was building the country up,
We
and
do
they.
have a weird sort of relationship with slavery in this country because we sort of pretend like
We
Never
pretended
had it.
we weren't part of it.
it's because they weren't here. That's what we just had.
Yeah, we were the middlemen. We were the middlemen.
We
Exactly.
But we did move them around a lot.
Yeah. We were the taxi drivers of the slavery industry.
Yeah, we were very good at turning blind eyes.
But-
we were the first place to make it legal, though.
Yeah.
However,
Good people we are.
Yeah.
if you research, you will find that it wasn't like, especially in America, it was predominantly African slaves that they would go and basically just they'd be sold by the African kings to the East India Trading Company or something like, or the Europeans that were going over to colonise America.
All the Dutch and
But
Spanish.
in the UK and most of Europe, it wasn't African people. It was it was peasant slaves.
It was our other people,
It was our own people
Yeah.
that were the peasantry basically
Yeah.
that were forced
sold
to do
into
it.
serfdom.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, well, what are you going to do? You're either going to die of hunger, or you can come and live on the Lord's land, you know, and you can
That's
live
true,
in
yeah.
his grounds, and he'll
Yeah.
feed you. And if you have any problems, he'll protect you, but you have to work for free, basically.
It's like you're either going to die or you become a slave.
Effectively, yeah, that was the choices.
And you become a commodity at that point.
Yeah, which, I mean, I would make that choice. If you're given that option, and
But-
and my point is the difference between the American colonialism is, they were just rounded up and sold by their kings to the Europeans to then go and colonize another country.
America's such a bizarrely interesting place.
It's called
new.
you had the Amerigo Vespucci. You called it the Great Experiment for a reason. Still is.
I'm not sure about that.
Do you think it was a Freemasonry experience?
Can you catch me
Freemason.
up?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Amerigo Vespucci is the one of the Italian, obviously not the original settler, because you're the Spanish and the Dutch and the conquistadors, blah blah blah, moved from
French.
Central to up and everything. But he was the one who coined the term the Great Experiment, because that was the time of it. It was like, this is the land of opportunity and plenty. Whether it's the English pilgrims all moving across, the other colonisers going from the south and moving up and bringing the plague and destroying the Aztecs and the Mayans. Whoops, sorry. And then, have all this land that was like these incredible runways and pyramids and ziggurats just vanish because they brought the plague with them. But he was like, this is the land where we could do anything. You've got this incredible abundance, and you've got a particular nation that is as big as our continent. This is one whole thing. And it still is the Great Experiment, which is the idea was it, what's the idea, the amendments to where they are, because it's self-governance as much as you can, which they're trying to roll back, as you can see.
Yeah, well, the whole point was that they were amendments and they were meant to change. But I'm baffled. The whole gun control argument is something that always baffles me.
I'm glad you brought this one up.
This is my take on it, and you might agree, you might disagree. So they put it in. They said, okay, everyone's got the right to bear arms.
Yep.
Because we had to overthrow a tyrannical government to get us in place.
Yep.
If we become tyrannical, you guys should be able to raise up as a militia and overthrow us.
Yeah.
It was also because there was so much land that if you're 15, 20, 50 miles away from the nearest big settlement or something like that, and someone tries to come and take your land, you can obviously protect yourself.
Yeah. And the obvious argument against guns would be that was written in the age of the flintlock rifle, where you've got one shot per rifle and then you need to reload.
And that's all everyone has.
And that's
So
all that everyone has.
So
So yeah, and now it's like, oh yeah, well, do you need an AR-15? I think that's the wrong argument to take on this. I'm still anti-gun, but if it's that you should be able to overthrow a tyrannical government, if we take 100 of these guys and they're like, we need to overthrow the damn government, and they've got their helmets and their Kevlar on, and they've all got their AR-15s, like, let's go! Put them against the American government, and there's one guy sat in a computer, and he's the other team, and they're like, okay, y'all, we're gonna get lock and load, baby, lock and load, and he's there. It's like, okay, well, my name's John. I'm a drone pilot. Oh well, look, if you look at my screen, here they are, and wow, they're all stood very close together. That's awfully nice. Now, and the guy's like, I've got my Kevlar vest, I got my AR-15, all 100 of my brothers, we got AR-15, we got sidearms, and we all got 15 grenades each. And he's like, I've got 6 Hellfire missiles. Press
What?
the button.
Press 1.
Yeah, so I pressed number 1, and they're all gone. Okay, it's time for me to have some lunch. There you go, the drone will fly itself back, and I'll go. That's it. So it's like this whole we'll stand up and fight a tyrannical government. It's like,
it's not going to happen.
You cannot fight the United States of America.
No.
You can't bring an AR-15 to a drone fight.
You can't bring so why?
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's good.
So if you're bringing an AR-15 to a drone fight, right, and if that
It's
doesn't
like a
work,
water pistol, isn't it?
We've got some good phrases in this one, man.
It'd be like bringing a water pistol. It's pointless. You're not going to even get one shot of it.
Yeah, so why are we still letting people bring AR-15s to school fights?
So the argument I would have on that is I am anti-gun, coming from the UK. I've seen guns from, going to a very middle-class school and being able to do CCF at school and blah, blah, blah. That's about it. A completely controlled environment. Yeah. Whereas, other than that, never seen a gun anywhere. Yeah. Never known anyone to be shot, killed, anything like that.
Yep.
Obviously, it's fucking rife in America, isn't it? Where, there's school mass shootings all the time, blah, 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 blah. My argument is, when they're trying to take guns off the general public now, is a bit like when they did it with knives in the UK. The only people that are going to give their guns over are the good, law-abiding citizen. The people that are going to use them for bad things aren't going to give their guns over. So then Exactly.
So-
Only the bad people are armed, and they're just going to completely annihilate.
Yeah,
it's also
basically too late.
It's too late.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Again,
There's too many
that's
There's
an
more
okay-
guns than
that's-
people.
That's an okay argument to make in theory.
I don't think it's the
But-
right just to say that and end it there. But
No, but
what are the
you have
options?
to back it up with a case study,
Go on.
right? You can't. So to back that up with a case study, the only case study there is Australia. 1999 was it?
Mm-hmm.
They had their first mass shooting.
Yeah.
First mass shooting. Someone with a semi-automatic rifle goes into school. Blah, 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 blah,
why is it always schools as well? Is it because they have the biggest
population don't
social
I
effect?
also think likely
Weak, easy targets.
You can take a 14-year-old and you can put him in, and he's a little bit different. And kids are mean, so kids group thinks go, he's an outsider, we're going to bully him. And so he, as an individual, gets made, or she, but mostly he, gets made to feel isolated and alone. And then it's me versus them.
Who wants to take them out?
And most of the time, this other kid's shown physical force against them before, but they're too small to sort of fight back. So it's okay, well, physical force is on the cards. I can't have a fist fight with you because you'd win, but I need my retribution. You've made my life hell.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you've made me outcast, and all I wanted was to. You can see how someone with an easy access to a gun and just who's having a terrible week anyway might go, okay, I'm gonna get on with teach this fucking cunt.
I made that decision. Yeah.
And then it's me versus all of them. So whether you're a year 6, you're a year 13, it's you all them, those people. And you can see how psychologically it works. But in Australia, they had this mass shooting. No more guns. No more guns. We're not doing it. Not been a single mass shooting since.
Is it not? And it worked?
No, and it worked.
Okay.
So that's the trouble I have. Obviously, are there more guns in America than there were in Australia? Yes.
Yeah, and they didn't have a Second Amendment that was sort of.
But until then, you've got all the wild animals, stuff like that. So you need to have rifles and stuff. But you take away access, and there's still some guns, right? You take away access to high velocity semi-automatic weapons. They're easily modified to make them automatic.
Most of it's just a switch.
It's like okay, well, sorry that you don't. I mean, because the whole argument at that point goes, yeah, but it's awesome, you know.
It's pretty much the only argument they have,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, but have you ever fired one? It's
they
fucking
wouldn't
fun.
They wouldn't even ban drum magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
So that everything's allowed. I mean, there has to be some sort of.
What's a drum magazine? The big round
one.
ones.
Where the line is though, because it's so squiffy. It's just so complex now because there's so many. Do you see those pictures of all the Republicans that would they'd laid out all their guns on their front yard? Some of them have like fucking 200 guns.
It's mental. Well, over there. They're like investments. We buy gold,
buy an old
property,
gun,
houses, watches, or something like that. They'll buy a gun, and that will increase in value.
Yeah.
It's mental.
Yeah, it's impossible to know where the line is though, because like you said, a kid should never be able to fucking walk upstairs and grab his fucking dad's gun and to walk into school and shoot people up. That should never be allowed to happen. But then again, if you say, right, everyone don't take your guns, only the bad people I'm going to hide this under my bed. And then they can mug someone in the street that they now know isn't armed anymore because the rules have changed. Because I mean, it's all different all over the shop though in America. Because some places you can have a concealed carry license. Yeah. You can literally carry a gun around you.
Some you can have open carry where you can
if you're in Texas, you can go to the shop with your gun.
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's such a weird thing.
But concealed carries. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Well, so I guess the only way they could really combat it, which won't be easy, but in the UK, obviously you have hunters and farmers and all that type of stuff. Obviously they're allowed guns, they have to be registered, but they have to have a locked closet that the gun is in, and they get checked. I think once a year or something like that.
That's the law in the States, right? You have to have a gun case.
And you also have your magazine separate from the gun.
Yeah.
It has to be in like a different room or something.
You ever see Jim Jeffries' sketch?
Yeah, the famous sketch.
And he compares it to the slaves.
Yeah.
It's a really smart sketch actually.
I haven't seen that one.
I'll have to send it to you.
Smart boy.
Which is but it doesn't make sense. So you've got to go into one gun safe and get the gun, and you've got to run across the house to the other one.
Again,
you can't have
doesn't make
loaded
sense.
magazines.
Yeah. Oh, so then you have to buy the
magazine.
Yeah, which if something's happening now, that gun is no use to you.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is you're in a mall, right? And there's an active shooter. You hear a couple of shots go off, and you're like, "This is what I prepared for. So you pull your handgun out and run towards the shots, right? And the other 15 heroes in there who also have their guns on their hips pull their handguns out and run towards the shot. So the police show up, and there's now 16 people with guns in their hands.
With 2 dead people on the floor.
In the mall. 2 of the gunmen have been shot already. Is it the right one?
Yeah, who's who?
How the fuck do I know?
And also...
the shooter is he's about a 5'10" white male with brown hair.
In the south of America, it's like south of the United States.
It's like everyone in there is like, let me get him.
He's got a baseball cap on. Like.
Yeah. And so...
And then that's 2 police officers versus 16 people with guns.
But so I was going to make a counter argument to that, but to be fair, your story there completely obliterated it. But I watched a documentary on Netflix about 3 years ago, and it was about the gun control thing, and it was saying how in Texas, because they've got the most people that are allowed open carry weapons, is that they have the least amount of mass shootings and or shootings because everybody's got a gun.
Yeah.
If someone starts shooting, the good people will just get a gun out and shoot.
It seems to be like the less stringent the gun rules are,
the safer it is. Yeah, which is.
And our society, it's a polite society, is the argument.
But it's self-policing, isn't it? So it's like...
which is what America was built on,
it's
effectively,
all about,
wasn't it?
right? So it's like, oh, well, do we just say everyone's allowed everything? And that we police ourselves, which actually, that's where I lean politically. So I lean towards anarchy. I believe that the government's got no business telling me anything.
Exactly.
Right? I was like,
taxing you.
Do the bare minimum, cut it down, have a government of 10 people that just handle foreign affairs and stop wars happening. Right?
And make sure there's a fire department, an ambulance service, police. That's it.
Yeah. If I want to smoke crack, right?
And I'm not harming anyone.
And then I die as a result of it. That's me.
Not hurt anyone.
Yeah.
The laws are carved down on a piece of stone. 10 commandments: don't kill people, don't rape people,
don't steal
kids,
shit.
Look, that one could go to the top.
Don't steal.
Don't
steal. Don't let women drive.
Oh, that's second.
But just 10 commandments, and if you do any of these, you will be dragged out of your home 3 a.m.
You know where the guillotine is.
You'll be knelt down in your front garden. You'll be shot.
Yeah.
Then the police officer will walk inside with a bill for the bullet and hand that to your family member or next of kin, right? And that will very quickly teach people, don't break the list of the 10 commandments. You know, because you'll just hear like a kerfuffle down your road and then doors open and you just hear a single gunshot, someone sobbing while they get handed a bill for £3 for a bullet, right?
Is how much a single bullet is? Fuck.
Yeah,
probably more.
cheap.
Jesus.
Well, going back to the self-policing point that you made is, we don't really have it, or it's not really known in this country anymore. But back when they had like gangsters, like Al Capone and all that type of stuff, it was unless you were involved in that line of work, it was pretty safe.
Yeah,
because they intentionally, they intentionally kept it within that type of fraternity, so that obviously they could continue to perpetuate what they were doing. Because obviously, if they go around killing random people, then everyone's going to cut down on them.
Even if
so they would.
Even if Yakuza in Japan,
yeah.
If you mug someone on the street, the Yakuza will find out who you are and they'll cut your hand off.
Really?
Yeah.
That was like, well, you guys may be too young for this, but Mandela Court. Does anyone know about Mandela Court?
No.
So it's a very famous part of Reading, down by Huntley and Palmer's, where for 30 years it was running. You go there, pick up a bag of weed, pay whatever you want. Well, you obviously don't pay whatever you want. They tell you what it is, you buy it. Now, if you ever got robbed on your way back or anything like that, you could go there and say, bloke robbed me, I know who he is or whatever like that. They go find the geezer, beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And I only know that because it happened to me once, where we walked.
You mugged someone and they beat the shit out of you.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. We walked away, got robbed. Guy came. We obviously walked straight back and thought, well, still need to get some weed, didn't we? So got some more weed. They said, you've literally just been here. Like, what's up? And said, obviously got mugged, and they went down, found the geezer, beat the fuck out of him.
That's cool.
It was brilliant.
And gave you double weed.
No, I think it was double weed. No, I still had to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny. I do like that argument because it does to me boil down to it's fun, and it's
what?
very much like
weed or guns.
Self-policing if self-policing was the argument that they were making,
and it gives a sense of community as well.
yeah, then I'd be like, cool, fair enough. But annoyingly, they give the tyrannical government argument, which I don't think holds up.
Also, a faceless organisation.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got the guy who thinks he's head.
You look at self-policing wherever we've had it in society as a formal measure, which is in cults.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only time we've had a group of people. You look at Jonestown or something, where there was 980 people or whatever, united over in a self-governed commune, right, where our law is the law, right? You can look at the Amish to some extent, but those are the only case studies where we've got a large enough sample size to sort of cast any sort of judgment or opinion, right? Because smaller than that, you've got tribes and shit like that, but everything works. Communism works when you've got 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
communism
exactly.
doesn't work
On a
when
large
you've got
scale.
1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like self-governance where everyone goes, oh, I lent so-and-so £5 last week, and so I remember with him, and I saw so-and-so doing this last week, so I'll call him up on that. And that only works when there's enough of you to have a personal relationship with everyone else in the system. Soon as
that's when currency was made, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you start relying on systems, again, Ted Kaczynski writes about this, being sat at a red light in the middle of the night and there's no cars around.
Mm-hmm.
And the system, the machine, has become so self-reliant on itself that now if you removed the machine, the system wouldn't be able to run.
So yeah,
so
what you mean like everybody would just try and go at the same time, rather than just thinking, right, let's take our turn type
we're
thing.
sat at a red light in the middle of the night, there's no fucking cars anywhere, and we're sat there not moving.
Still waiting,
Because that's what we're meant to do.
Well, you see it in London, when people are trying to cross the road.
Yeah.
Like I'm not from the city, you know what I mean, so I'm terrible at that. You get to a junction, and we're in Westminster. There's literally like 100 people waiting for the fucking green man to come across, and I'm like, I can look left and right and see there's no fucking car coming.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
walking across. I'm gone, like, and you see all the people like tutting as you walk across. It's like, guys, like, what are you doing? Like, do you hate yourself that much?
Are you that plugged into to the sort of systems that we've put in place? But we've put them in place. But if they ground to a halt now, if the electricity cut out,
we'd be screwed.
What would we do?
And that's one thing I've actually sort of discussed with my brother and a couple of other close friends, is that the system has got so large now, and there is the powers, i.e. Russia, China, all those types of things. They could easily just EMP us. Everybody's fucked. Do you know what I mean? We've got no food reserves. We've got no drinks reserve. Say again?
Internet would probably be the
psychologically, not physically.
An EMP is an electromagnetic pulse. It would take down all electricity. You wouldn't be able to drive your car. You wouldn't be able to. The water will probably stop
drive
coming
my
out.
car. Don't worry about that.
To the point where I've said, look, we need to work together, buy a farm, food reserves, all those types of things. Yeah. I know it sounds extreme, but it's like it's very unlikely to happen, but it's possible to happen. Yeah. So, are we really that naive and stupid to think it won't happen one day?
The EMPs exist.
Yeah.
So
have they been used before?
So they happen inadvertently.
Have you never played Call of Duty?
They happened.
Fucking EMP was like the 20 kill streak.
Exactly. They were inadvertently discovered from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What happens after you had the main implosion where it sucks everything in? Yeah. You have an EMP explosion afterwards, which kind of is a bit irrelevant because there's nothing really left to blow up, but to affect it that way. But they found that they are like, we can isolate this particular effect without. Hiroshima, you get 13th century.
And if they do it in the air, obviously it doesn't destroy.
It just comes, and it's a
if you
massive block
detonate
area.
a nuclear explosive above a city, you won't get the nuclear fallout in the same way, but you would get the electromagnetic pulse
because it all just spreads
radiation
down.
Pulse, that just fries every single second.
Nothing working.
Nothing. Your
couldn't
watch,
even
your phone, your
you'd
car.
have to change. You'd have to just buy a new.
Straight out. It'd be not even Mad Max. Mad Max is too advanced. It would be straight up like fucking Walking Dead shit. Yeah. Bows and arrows again.
Yeah, everyone would be going around killing each other for food.
I don't think it would be interesting to see how long that would take.
Well, how much
But
food?
What, for people to
how
freak
much,
out?
No, because the freak out. Because if you manage to not involve yourself in the freak out, that's when you could be.
But how do you stay safe during the freak out?
Because everybody's trying to rob you.
If you see it coming, you're like, shelter, now.
Yeah.
6 months in the shelter, we're all good.
Because
But
also,
also-
the time you're most at risk is like as it happens, is you're fucking sprinting to the shops, like
Exactly,
fighting
yeah,
people for food.
But again,
The
that's
first
why you
thing
can't
is
do
food.
that. You can't
Yeah,
do
but
that.
you don't do
Particularly
that,
if you imagine if you two boys are in London.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
scary.
if you're in a different country or not where you're, based, then you really are.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a city.
Do you know what? So I've got a zombie plan, but I mean you can sort of adapt this, right? So the first week
To a COVID plan.
The first week is the interesting one, isn't it? Right. So it all goes off. Everyone
That's
goes
gathering
crazy.
supplies.
Everyone's gathering supplies, right?
Toilet roll.
Yeah.
You just stay at home.
Yes,
you
COVID.
You just stay at home and sellotape knives to broomsticks, right?
Yeah.
And you just keep an eye out, and you see when one of your neighbours returns with a big bunch of stuff.
Rob
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
go
do
around
one
there.
bit by bit.
Yeah, you just kill them as they sort of come back and take the
Mhm.
stuff. While you're doing this, you're spending your time. You need to build a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have something talky with a bulldozer on the front that can push cars out the way, right?
Yeah, cow
I've
catcher.
already prepared that.
Yeah.
I've got a
Oh,
match.
Yeah.
So we need to go like
Right,
proper
so-
old school
and then-
machine that doesn't
Yeah.
need electricity.
So you can
And
change
then-
a circuit board like that rather than
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
cars are so complicated. You
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to do it.
exactly.
Mm.
And then once you've got that vehicle that's going to get you to the coast,
Does that mean we go back to steam?
you drive back to the coast. Steam engines are really hard to make.
You need just shitloads of diesel and
Right.
petrol.
Drive to the coast. That's where you commandeer a yacht,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Then you go out there.
But you have to
chill-
change your circuit
With
board.
your broomstick.
No,
You wouldn't circuit board because you just wind power.
wind power.
There we go.
So then you go out fishing,
Stay on there for a while.
chill, chill for a month.
Fishing because you don't need any food. That's a very good point.
Right.
And you have the what's the one to you take seawater and it filters it for you.
Oh,
And you have all the salt.
still.
Yeah. So you take that, so you just dump it off the
Yeah.
side, yank it back on,
but
does its
or you
thing.
can build a solar still very easy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But so you got that. You chill there for a month.
Yep.
Right? After a month, you come back in. You make your way into a city.
It's probably fucked already.
Yeah. Most people.
Well, they
will be
should have
dead
burned
by
out by
Yeah,
then.
most people are fucked, right? And then you get your way up to a really tall building, right? You
Mhm.
make your way all the way to the top of the building. You go, right, this is where we're going to chill,
Yeah.
right? Then you start foraging for rust and aluminium. Anything that's made of rust or aluminium, right? So
Made
rust
of
is red
rust.
iron oxide,
Mm.
and aluminium's obviously aluminium, right? So you mix those two together. So you file rust down, you file aluminium piles down. Mix those together, you get something called thermite.
Yes, we know
Right.
what thermite
You
is.
then start
Used in the
leveling-
Twin Towers.
Yeah, you start leveling all the other buildings around you, Twin Tower style, right? Right, all the buildings, right? And while you're doing that, you're scouting. You get some solar panels. You pick up an Xbox, stuff like that. On the top of your building now, you've got your tower block. Got your solar panels on the top. Got your Xbox there. So you're playing a bit of Xbox.
You've got a big
Right.
tub for rainwater.
Right.
So you've already got free
And
time.
by that time, hopefully, you've got a rifle with a scope or some binoculars or something, so you can see
Just
a
vape-bomb.
decent distance around you. Now, all you've got to worry about is finding the last remaining bitches. Alright?
Yeah.
That's
That
oh
is-
shit! Can I talk like that in the podcast?
Say what the fuck you want, mate.
Can I talk?
You've always said women can't drive.
We spoke about
I don't-
Nazis, paedophiles.
Yeah. Anyway,
Very
but I don't
specific.
think they're
Max,
actually
if someone
bitches.
started listening to this podcast
At this point,
and is still listening at this point and has not got offended yet and turned it
we've
off,
done something wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I
then
think we're fine.
Then all
Yeah.
you need to find.
If no one's offended at this point, we fucked up.
So what will happen then is you've got all the Xbox going, you've got some ground stuff to grow some plants up on the roof, got some crops going, you've got some cool stuff, you've got like a sheep in one of the rooms. It's great. Then you find some women.
What's the sheep for?
Don't worry about that.
Just for chilling. Eat.
Are you secretly Welsh?
Yeah.
The sheep's there until you get the bitches. That's why.
Yeah. And then once you get the bitches in,
Max, are you Welsh?
they'll be there for like 3 days. And then something will happen and we'll all die.
Yeah.
So what you're
No,
Realistically,
what you're saying is the women ruin it.
Have you seen I Am Legend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
All
Surviving fine.
It's
Him
a man
dog
and his dog.
chilling, right?
Man and his
They're
dog.
walking around, he's doing his shit, people come and try and fight him, he's like, no zombie, right? One day. Beats a girl, one day.
Yeah. Mr. Girl,
That is
dead.
true.
He
Women
kills himself with a fucking grenade.
Yeah.
And he has to choke out his best friend.
Yeah.
Can you believe that
was a
shit?
horrible scene.
I hated that shit.
That was a fucking good movie, actually.
What,
It's
Sam?
very- I Am Legend. So
I'm
you're-
Sam.
No, the dog was called Sam, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, he said I am Sam. also, great movie.
I haven't seen that song.
I am Sam. Is that the fake movie from Tropic Thunder?
No,
Or
Simple
is that-
Simple Jack.
You're
no,
Simple
that's
Jack,
Simple
yeah,
Jack. No, I Am Sam is basically Simple Jack.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
Fuck.
fully or proper autistic movie.
Fuck, you did the
Good
Forrest
movie,
Gump.
I think, if I remember correctly.
So Max's idea is combining.
Dead.
It's going to be
Come on,
28 Days
Legend.
Later, Dawn of the Dead, a little bit of Underworld, and then also a little bit of, oh my god, what's that bloody good stupid series?
American Pie.
That one, and there's another one else.
Walking
that's in my
Dead.
head.
I think we'd have fun.
No?
There's something
If
else in
it's
my head that's
like
going to come
that,
back to me. It'll come
we'd
back.
have
Oh,
fun.
Resident Evil. Resident Evil.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Then like my idea is in my tower block, my lone tower block that you have. You have a bunch of fun like bows and arrows and shit like that, and you can the zombies gather around. Oh, I assume there's zombies by this point.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it'll be zombies.
Right,
Yeah.
and you're sort of shooting them with your bow.
They've all
and
had the
arrows
vaccine,
and
haven't they?
roof.
So
Yeah. But then like each floor in your tower block, you have different cool stuff. So you have like a livestock floor. You've got the chickens or the cows.
You've got
or
the
whatever.
brothel
You've got
floor.
the brothel floor.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is for
yeah.
That's a good idea.
grateful
That'd be
women.
fun.
Grateful, yeah.
You could have like
Gratefully
you could have
aroused.
the weed farm on one of the
Yeah,
Yeah,
marijuana farm.
Oh, it would be like when they're laundering money, they have to do it all in their bikinis.
That'd be
Yeah.
the only other building in the whole town. That'd be our tower block, and then next to that would be the biggest greenhouse
Yeah.
that anyone would
It wouldn't be next to it. You'd have kept one block and just built a Tarzan drawbridge.
That'd be quite easy to do.
One that
Yeah,
swayed in the wind.
there as well.
Yeah.
Actually, no. You'd have to reserve the roof for the mushrooms.
Oh, the one next to you would be a little bit slower, and you'd have a zip line to it, which is your escape.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be able to have electric light, would you?
Sorry.
Or
Well, it's
you-
ultraviolet.
You
No,
need
but
a couple of
want
diesel
You want
generators.
indirect light, so you want the mushrooms to be inside, so you're just in a room like this.
just by the window.
Yeah.
And they're all made of glass on them these days, anyway, so it'll be fine.
Oh, there you get the shard. Done. Double magnification.
Yeah, but that would be bloody brilliant, wouldn't it?
'Cause I
I'd
don't-
quite like that to happen.
And there'd be a lot less people about.
Yeah, I think
Less
great.
competition.
If I could, if I had to keep one form of entertainment like through an apocalypse,
Women?
it would be mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not women.
No, I mean.
Well, mushrooms
they're-
don't fall back, so.
I'd take mushrooms.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
I'd
would.
take
I
mushrooms.
would
Mushrooms over sex.
And they're much
Yeah.
less likely to get you killed.
Mushrooms just
Yeah.
make you feel good, man. You just
Yeah.
feel lovely after.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, whereas women just make you feel dirty.
Yeah.
In a good way.
And used.
Yeah, I feel
In a good way.
Dirty news, and then I'd cry.
In a good
you wouldn't be able
way?
to shower.
I'd cry and apologise. Oh yeah, you wouldn't be able to shower.
No, you do that, but you do that during. You apologise during.
Yeah, I
It's okay.
apologise. I love you, I'm sorry.
And then profusely afterwards.
Yeah.
You've got a real girlfriend, don't you?
I do, yeah.
He's a
You
real
got
man.
married? Has that happened yet? Proposal? Or we're
No,
not there
no,
yet?
mate, I've only been going out with her for a couple of months.
Oh
So
god, yeah, don't do
we
that.
still,
Oh,
I've still got many years.
Have you
before
done a long
we need to have that
relationship before?
conversation. Yeah, I've actually had three
Three couple
4-year
of years.
relationships.
Oh,
Jesus.
beat me, brother.
Yeah.
Damn.
Learn from your mistakes.
I know, mate. I know.
No,
I never.
I
learn.
haven't
never
met
learn.
the others. This one's lovely.
No, she's a really nice girl.
Yeah.
But I've always, I've done the typical thing when you're young and you go around like shagging birds and all that type of stuff, and
Yeah,
you think,
so
yeah, it's
lame.
great, it's brilliant, blah blah. But after a while, I actually just, I'm not.
Put in perspective, he's
Talking-
not
the fun
really
bit's talking
interested.
about it,
Max. Put in
Yeah,
perspective.
exactly. That's the
It's-
only
it's
part.
like-
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The fun bit
the
is doing
graph.
it with your buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
going
when
in
you
it, man.
mates do it,
We
exactly.
like to do it together. It's like a team. I hope
Yeah,
they
it's a
don't
team
watch this.
sport, isn't it?
But like as like a team activity, like you
It's
do
a bonding
you
exercise,
do
that's
it
for
together
sure.
with your bro.
Yeah.
And like afterwards,
It's
when
actually
you
more
finish
for your
shagging,
brothers than the girl.
You go out and you see your bro and like, hey, do you want to
Yes.
hang out for a little bit? We go
Yeah.
out for a smoke or something, and we're like, we did that together. That was us.
Yeah, because it's
The team game.
Because the journey to getting sex is
It's
like
much more
it's
fun
weird.
than the actual.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
yeah, it's.
Well,
It's a
after
dance,
that-
isn't
If
it?
it's- if it's just
flirtation
sex-
and the-
If it's just sex itself as opposed to the pursuit of
'Cause
the
if it's not
person
girl
as a
you're pursuing-
person,
Yeah, if
yeah.
you're
But
not
this
pursuing a girl romantically, it's
Yeah.
like, I've got to drive over to there. I've got to like pretend I'm like interested in what she's like, like's going on for a little bit.
There's so
But
much-
sometimes it's fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have great chats. Sometimes whatever. But you don't really care that much.
No, but
There's a lot of
you have to
extra
bear
stuff.
with me. You have to.
Yeah.
I have been with. Okay, you guys can probably count on a couple of hands on people you've been. I can only count on one hand. Okay.
Okay.
And I've been a serial monogamist, so I can't relate to you what you guys are saying.
I'm
I'm only perceiving vicariously.
Yeah.
I've been a little dirty slut.
Yeah.
I've been relationship.
No,
Yeah, no, I've been like
I did one long one.
But
Yeah, and
for me, I've always, I don't know if it's,
I can
you know,
never.
I come from a
Sorry.
like this one, but I'm always been a family man, so I've always been like, I'm getting in this relationship because I want to build a life, and then something goes wrong.
Like
you're
what
like,
you've
fuck,
seen
like,
around you, right? Where you've been like, you've seen a bit of a tough time relationship-wise. You crave the safety or you crave the security in that relationship. Whereas where you and I have probably watched very, very good relationships, we crave the chaos and the mayhem that comes.
Interesting fact we worked out in my family the other day is that nobody in our family, aunties, uncles, parents, grandparents, have been in a successful relationship. No one. Actually, no one. Nobody has. They've all got divorced. Yeah. Not in necessarily like horrifically problematic ways, but it just hasn't worked out. And I'd never thought about it before until literally about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I was discussing it with my brother, and I thought, is that maybe why?
Maybe.
I like being in a relationship, or you know, they're all like long-term relationships. It wasn't like they had a couple of kids and then broke up. It was like they'd been together for 10, 15 years or something, and then broke up.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. Because my brother and sister are different to me. Both my brother and sister go relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely wildly different to them.
You're also the middle child.
My parents have been together since they're 15.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're still happy somehow. Yeah, it's weird.
It's a trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I could never sleep with a hooker who I pay.
No.
Whereas that clinical.
That seems
go
like the
in
most
and
disgusting
do the
thing.
deed.
I don't believe you.
I got head from a prostitute once.
But did you pay her? But did you pay her?
I'm not talking about past. I'm talking
Okay, there you
I'm
go.
talking about, because for anything, you just have to be at the right, weirdest place at the right time.
True. To be drunk.
Pretty much
That's
True.
right. That's right.
True.
If I'm somewhere and there's like I'm a bit loose and I'm having a good time, and there's a whore next to me and she's like,
It looks as good as me.
Yeah. She looks just like you, and she goes, I quite like you. My normal rate's 100, but if you give me a tenner, we can go back. Go there and roll around, right? I'll be like, game fucking on, right? But what I'm talking.
Let me get a couple of coins together.
Day to day.
For an apple and strap away.
I could never see myself just going, I'm going to go and see, big busty Brenda.
I agree. I agree.
Just go in there, pump her one, and then be like, cool, fist bump, see you later.
Well,
like, I couldn't do that. Like there's something about the dance, the back and forth,
where the enjoyment is.
Yeah, the build up the excitement. You can see some chick that's really into you. And it's quite nice because most of the time they see me and they go, oh, I know it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right, and so they're kind of saying.
But that's great though, isn't it? It's great when they know, and then you overcome that. You're
but
like,
it's like like handling a venomous snake or something like that. When the people are like, oh, this snake's really dangerous, but look at me, I can hold it. Like I think that's.
But I've tamed it, yeah. But
is that the anatomy of women as well though?
Yes.
Because they've always needed a strong male up until, again, 50 years ago to protect them from other males, effectively.
But yeah.
And if they pick the wrong one, they're basically going to be fucked or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And not in a good way.
It's interesting in reactions, the way that women, like, shit test you and stuff like that. So if you're coming off confident and stuff like that, in the first 10 minutes of an interaction with a girl, if she fancies you, she's going to try and make you look like
she's going to break you,
idiot.
Try and make you break.
She's going to make you look like a cunt.
It's so weird.
But I love
all your friends. And
You're right, it's the shit test. It's the test.
Rob always laughs at me with girls because I'm always talking about, stabbing them or something like that.
Okay, hang on.
Okay,
I've got to explain this. So, we went out on a singles night, just for the hell of it. We were the youngest people there by 20 years. Yeah. These two just get absolutely blathered while I'm talking to all their mums about how they teach their kids to play drums, whatever. These two are at the back racing about.
Trying to get a job.
I was trying to get a job. Not that kind of job. Sorry, singles night. I messed up. These two are at the back racing up and down a little fucking tricycle they found in a bush.
And all the mums were like, "Oh, I love these children."
No, they like me. They hated them. But so he pisses off the barmaid. Good start. He's out the back. Him and Robbie are talking shit. This girl, the one girl there who's our age, comes out with her friend.
She's fit as well.
Very
Looks
fit.
like Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Very fit.
Ooh.
So Matt,
like the
orange turtleneck,
the real one,
big rim
the
glasses.
real one, not the cartoon.
Correct.
There we go,
well, either way.
She really looked like Velma.
She did.
It was like she was dressed.
I don't know her real name. I was just calling her Velma.
So as soon as they come out, they start talking, say hi, whatever. Max then proceeds to do a very convincing reenactment of how he wants to kiss and stab Robbie at the same time. But it's like proper like visceral and shit. This chick, I can literally see her.
And then I was doing
Oh, no, no, hang on.
like,
No. So I wasn't there for that point. So I'm still watching this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know when you see someone who's like, especially with a woman, when they do like the fake laugh and the shit, and they do the kind of, and then they come back again. She did this like 6 times to him, where she's getting physically closer each time. And I'm like, this is fucking fascinating, because she's drawn to a serial killer.
Yeah, I'm like, I put my forehead against hers. I'm like, this is how I'm stab you to death.
And she's like melting in front of him. It's like mental.
Like, I'm so into you.
Literally, I couldn't believe what was happening.
And it's the element of danger.
I couldn't believe what was happening. And then I go, I can't watch this anymore. I'm going home. Next thing he's there like, yeah, shag her. And I was like, what? I was like, you didn't shag her, but you know.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
He's like, I got off with her. I was like, what the fuck?
You find it so much in today's society that I don't know if it's the lowered T levels, which we all fucking see about on social media these days.
Yeah.
But
Cheers.
cheers, lad. but so many men are what I like to call cucks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're so they see a girl, they fucking freeze up, and they're thinking, oh, I really fancy her. I want to go talk to her. So, and they'll go up and they'll go, as you did. Oh, hi. My name's
I'm
John.
really sorry.
Blah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're really
we've noticed
attractive,
that doesn't work.
and they're basically just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is, as you do,
Entitlement, yeah.
be the confident person. They'll try and break you because you're confident in your ability and stuff like that. They're not going to break you, and they're like, fuck, I like this guy.
But the shit test is actually
You
a
get
good thing as well,
fired,
because you weed out the bullshit that way.
If she's firing questions at you that are difficult questions, oh, what, you think you're a tough guy, do you? You think you're smart?
I'm like,
Yeah.
and
Well, you
I've
think
seen
you're
that
so
before.
clever and so cool, do you? I don't like your shirt. She is ready.
Yeah.
And it's baffling. If you can just dodge,
Yeah.
duck, and weave around these questions,
Yeah, don't
make her laugh,
don't fight
at
them.
her own shit
Don't
testing
fight them, dodge
questions,
them,
Yeah.
weave around them.
then for some reason they're like, oh my
They
god,
love it.
I love you.
Yeah, you don't like my shirt? Well, it's a good thing you ain't got to fucking wear it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean?
But that's your opportunity to be really flirty, really fun, and it's fascinating.
It's very interesting, yeah.
The way that and reliably, every girl will do the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you go, hey, lovely to meet you, my name's Max, I think you're really beautiful, da 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 da. Within 5 minutes of conversation, they'll start.
Yeah, test it.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. So the
Can I make you? It's like gay chicken, right? Can I make you chicken out? And it's like, no, I'm gonna grab that dick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work the pole, lick the shaft, and swallow the gravy if I have to
Just to get some heroin.
Yeah.
very good, very good. You got the reference.
Jelly beans. Like Kobayashi.
But like going back to that it's mental how it works every time. But in a way, you have to act like you don't give a shit without being arrogant about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't need you, but I think you're attractive and I do want you type
But
thing.
I cherish connection, right? I think that's really sexy. If you can get someone,
And that's probably why I choose to go
yeah,
towards a relationship
yeah,
with you. So.
right. But if you can really get someone and there's passion between you guys, I think that's a beautiful thing. And just because you might share an experience with someone else, might also be a beautiful experience. But it's going to be completely different. You know, it's like. So if you were to have a sexual experience with me versus you versus Matt versus Rob, it's going to be a completely different
Dynamic,
ball game. But you'd be able to achieve the most out of it by talking to you and going,
And you'd achieve different height, different peaks of different aspects of what you can have.
Yeah. And it's also, if you've got that sort of basics, you're like, like a little tickle there? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You learn the controls.
Yeah.
And you're like, right, let's get this engine going. Let's see if we can make you purr.
Well, it's a bit like for males, is the majority of us, I don't know about, I'm speaking for myself here, but if I know a girl has been run through, do you know what I mean? She's had many guys. To me,
this is
it's
a really interesting topic.
It's a proper turn off. I've never, and I think I guess another reason why I like to go in
If
relationships.
she's hot and you bump into her at 2 a.m. in the Purple Turtle,
That's a different
she's the first
story.
person you speak to.
And you don't know who she is, or how many guys she's had, whatever her body count is.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different. But I mean, generally, if you know she's had, you walk into a bar and you know that fucking 5 of these geezers have already had her. To me, that's like the biggest turn off. Whereas
I see this quite a lot on social media. I completely disagree.
Dude.
I go, if I meet a girl and she's like, I fucked 2 guys, I'm like, boring.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's
They've got a certain. I don't agree with the whole virgin thing because they've got to have a certain level of experience to be able to keep.
Still not a virgin.
Yeah.
To be able to keep up with my level of desire. Do you know what I mean?
But sexual maturity.
Yeah.
I find is something that can only be had by having a certain number of partners, a certain number of experiences.
But what is that number?
And for someone to be sexually mature, I've slept with girls who are virgins and girls who've slept with a few guys. Is often they don't have confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing, so they might not be, you know, the
It could be really awkward
cleanest.
as well.
Yeah.
The cleanest,
Yeah.
or
No, I agree with
or
that,
I don't know about protection and stuff like that. I don't know about you know how they're going at it from this angle.
And how they're going to help you as well.
Okay, well let me go, and you go. Well, what do you like? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like what do you mean? You
What
want
do you mean,
to
yeah.
blow a raspberry into your butthole?
Yeah.
Like
I can do
and
that.
They're like no. It's like okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, do you like? And so as soon as you've got someone who's got that level of maturity where you can have a conversation, and she can go, oh, actually, yeah, give me a little tickle there.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, ah, there's the on switch. It's
Yeah.
next to the prostate, right? Like, I find that a lot more interesting. So obviously there's a spectrum, right? If you've got some girl that's got her heels in her hand from last night, you know, and I see her in the street, obviously I'm not going to go and chat her up.
Yeah.
But
They've got to have a certain level of experience. However, they could have had that from being in a relationship for 5 years or whatever with,
But I think
with
it's also
one geezer.
perceived. I'm never going to ask to go. I'll be like, I'm
No,
not gonna
no,
go,
no,
what's your body count?
Never got
I'm gonna
that.
look
Is
at
why
her and
people.
I'm going to go, if you look like a slut,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be attracted to you because I don't like girls that look like sluts.
Yeah.
But if you are a slut
But you don't look like
and you
one.
don't look like one,
And I-
I'm going to
yeah.
fall for you.
And I don't know.
Yeah. Because the second that you get to the bedroom and she pulls out the Gluck Gluck 3000,
Yeah.
I'm not there going, oh, where did you learn that? You know, or have you been practicing on the broomstick?
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, cool, we're here, nice.
When also you're too busy shivering to realise what's going
Yeah,
on.
I'm like, I'll pay for it, don't worry, babe, I got this one. Yeah.
But so my main point of bringing that up is it tends to be the opposite for women.
Go on.
Oh yeah.
Is that women will 9 times out of 10 choose
Someone
A
who's
bloke-
perceived as a player.
a bloke who's got experience over than choosing a virgin.
Yeah.
More than likely because they know that we're going to have some level of experience to be able to pleasure them in the way that they're going to want it. Rather than if you go with a virgin, they know it's probably going to fucking last
See,
30 seconds.
I'm gonna disagree with
I
that.
think it's
Go on.
I think it's a social thing. This is a really short one. I think this is a social thing for women.
That's what
rather
she
than a
said.
That's
sexual
what she
thing,
said, yeah.
Right, which is that a key that opens many locks is a master lock.
Yeah.
And a lock that's opened by many keys
He's
is
a
just
shit lock.
lock.
Yeah.
Right? And it's that kind of like, oh well, it demonstrates prowess in men and demonstrates
A level of
restraint
self-respect
in
in women.
Yeah.
It's dependent on the women. We have very different sexualities between men and women. Women's, for both genders, it is tied. Our identity is tied to it, but for different ways. For men, as we mature and we hit puberty, we then grow up. We get hair on our chest, hair on our dicks. We get taller, we get deeper. Our dicks start growing and start spitting out weird shit.
Mine didn't.
It will one day.
Mine got smaller.
And it's tied. It's sort of tied to a sense of purpose. A woman changes. Her body changes for sex. It is specifically for sex. We change so that we can then be stronger, protected, blah blah blah. They change for sex. They can then have sex and then have children, etc.
Yeah, it's for childbirth, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're
Reproduction, the only real reason we're here.
for their whole sexuality and their identity is very different of how it's taken in by them. For women to have had a lot of sex, if they're in sort of double digits going over that point, that's usually as a result of sort of trauma or daddy issues or something going on from there. If you're below 20, that's probably pretty healthy. If you're above that, for anyone, that's probably a problem. But again, if it's something that's...
For women.
But again, it depends what it is. If it's something that you are genuinely... It's a case-by-case basis. If you're
And it
genuinely
is always
because-
case by case.
If you're
However,
genuinely
in a
from a place...
general...
Yeah.
When you're talking general.
If
obviously
it's
generalising.
from a place of, I really love this, I have a high sex drive, I just love exploring people, I love meeting people, it's from a healthy place, great. If it's from a place of traumatic reenactment, it's a fucking problem. Unfortunately, it tends more to be the latter than the former.
Yeah, but
For everyone.
For example, I'm seeing this girl at the moment, and I haven't asked her what her body count is, but I think it's pretty high, right?
I'd never want to know.
Do you still like
I
that?
think it's definitely a M.
Okay.
Yeah.
And really nice
Max, I
girl.
told you not to tell you. Man.
Yeah. Really nice girl. Beautiful girl.
Hang on, you sleep with him as well?
Yeah, fucks like
I thought it was just me.
fucks like a trooper.
Yeah.
Like a trooper.
Full Metal Jacket or Apocalypse Now?
Oh my god, like it's
Jarhead, got it.
Do you know what I mean? It's a kind of like
Well enough to me wank the stories about
yeah.
it.
Lucas
He calls me at night. It's like, okay,
Why do you
ready?
get the
It's time for
stories? I want the stories.
Lucas
I'm like, I'm ready.
I want the stories.
We'll do the stories after the podcast.
Alright, thanks, man.
But the Lucasade Sport and a cigarette doesn't even touch the edges. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like
Stop
afterwards,
putting
you
that
sat
inside
out-
yourself.
You sat outside and never clean. Alright? And but
He's there in the bathroom
but
reapplying his mascara.
Where she's had a lot of shit experiences, she knows what she likes,
Yeah.
right? And she's confident enough that she's not like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't.
And that's
She's
that's definitely off-putting.
She's like, is this alright?
Yeah.
You reckon, do I need to do it like this?
Yeah.
And that's cool when you're having a bit of a laugh and you're like, no. Turn the other way round and then split your legs.
Yeah.
And they're like this? And it's like when they've got that kind of, obviously not quite like
But I think that does come with a level of confidence, and do you necessarily need that from experience? If you've got a confident
That's
girl,
true.
you can ask the questions.
That's true.
And they'll say...
the argument is you could build that up together,
Yeah.
right? Which would be even more beautiful.
Exactly, yeah. And as a male, that goes back to my point, is if you have a certain level of experience and they're less experienced, but they're confident, then you'll be fine. But I think if it's the other way
If you're
round...
looking for them, if you're looking for a sexual partner, you want someone that's experienced. But if you're looking for a mate, it doesn't really matter. You're looking for confidence because you can build that
Exactly,
sexual partnership together.
No, you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
For because my point being is I've never really enjoyed. I have
One-night
enjoyed
stands
it.
shit.
Oh yeah.
they're rubbish.
Because
They're fun
the
to
sex
talk
is
about. It's a
tends to be a bit
drunken
shit.
fun ball, right?
Exactly.
It's not about
Yeah.
sport.
No, it's about chatting them up at the club. That's the fun part.
That's the fun
right?
part. Exactly. Yeah. And because I have experience
Yeah,
being in
and then it's like
relationships.
30 seconds of missionary, and then you wake up with a hangover.
Yeah. And you're like, are you still here? Like.
Yeah, after 2 hours sleep.
Have you read anything about polyamory or ethical non-monogamy? So it's this sort
Ethical
of,
non-monogamy, so you have open relationships.
yeah. So it means this,
But it's
polyamory
respectful,
and ethical non-monogamy are kind of like the same thing. It's like saying, look, I'm not going to have just one relationship. However, I'm going to develop these relationships with each of the people that I sort of see. You might have a primary partner. You might have two primary partners. You might
Which a
have
lot of the high-value males or high-value people in general tend to have, don't they? Because they'll have their relationship publicly,
yeah.
and then they'll go and shag a load of whores or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And but this kind of thing makes. I love people. Like, I hate people, but I love people. Right? So,
I'm exactly the same.
So like when you sit with someone and you go, what are your motivations? What makes you tick? What turns you on? And again, if I sat down across a candlelit table with you or Matt, the things that I find out that turn you on and butter your biscuit are going to be very different to Matt's things. And similarly, when we go back to the hotel room afterwards, there's things that make you happy cry versus Matt are going to be very different, right? And it's
I'm always crying.
yeah.
That's before you've even started.
Yeah. And so yeah, I find that sort of experiencing different people and stuff, people of different genres as well,
Yeah, I've always felt a bit weird about the polyamory and stuff because I don't believe.
I don't really.
I think it might
agree
suit
with
some
it.
people. I mean,
Yeah, some people
like,
would.
you
For
know,
me,
like-
I know I wouldn't be able to. Not in like a necessarily I feel bad way, but it's like, look, if we're having an
If
agreement,
there's
I don't
another
really
guy
want
involved,
my
there's no fucking chance.
exactly. There's no chance
No
I will
fucking
want
chance.
whoever I'm in a relationship with to be getting dug out by other blokes.
It's not
Like,
happening.
Never gonna
But I
happen.
think it's a different way of looking at it because you don't look at them as being they're my girlfriend. You look at each of them.
But also, I don't agree with possession either. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been like, look, if you don't want to be with me, absolutely fine. Like, I like you, and
Yeah.
I'd rather you be with me because I want you to be with me.
Yeah,
but if you
you've
don't,
got your
then
rules for being with you, right?
Yeah.
And whereas for me, I'm like, if a girl just, if I'm vibing with a girl and she's vibing with me,
memory over.
and we go to have a tumble or whatever, it's not something that I'm like, okay, where is this going to? I can stay detached enough. I'm like, I don't care. If she's shagging another bird this week, another guy this week, I don't care. Don't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
If
not
you
like-
don't want to know about it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to know, but this is my dilemma that I have, where I'm like with these girls, I don't want to know about
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear like, oh, I've been fucking this guy called Kevin this week. Like no, because that turns me off.
Mm-hmm.
But I break that down just to that turns me off, so we don't have that conversation. Whereas, but I can go and have a beautiful meal with them where we talk about each other and talk about our families and have really insightful, interesting conversations where I get to know them and know them really deeply.
Yeah.
But it's not on a level where it's like you and me belong to each other, so that we can't go with anyone else. So I look at it like I don't belong to her. Each time I see her, I call her again.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No. But
I think literally the mitigating factor is meeting your family.
Yeah.
I think that's where it changes.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you introduce a girl to your parents, they could mean something completely different. That's real. Like I think that's when it becomes.
And also you don't want to be
your parental figure. It could be a friend.
Yeah, and you don't want to be introducing or bringing somebody into that family home that isn't going to be there. Yeah, because you start listening. You know, I see it in both ways.
I've heard that before. It's like
if
I'm meeting your mum, it's like, and she's there with a thin white T-shirt on that you can see her nipple piercing. Shut up and get to my room.
Yeah, do you really think I'm going to take you to meet my?
This is getting very misogynistic.
Yeah.
There was a.
Also on the flip side, sorry, Matt.
No, go on.
I was just saying. Also on the flip side is if they take you to meet their parents, it's like shit. Like they think it's getting serious now, and I would.
Yeah, but I was.
The morality in me, where I'd be like, look, if I'm not going to take that forward, that's it. I've got to end it there and then, because I'm thinking like, I don't want her, parents to get the wrong end of the her to get the wrong end of the stick, her parents to get the wrong end of the stick. Yeah. I've got sisters and stuff like that, so there's always that element that I think if a bloke would ever brought into my house and stuff like that, and he wasn't going to take it seriously, and he would, I don't want to really think about those things. No, but if you're going to be with my sister for a while. Yeah. Then I'll get over that fact, if you know what I mean.
I've got two younger sisters, right? And I like to think in that where I'm with women, I try and make it quite clear most of the time. Sometimes I'm bad, but most of the time.
But if that is the best way to be, is if you're clear from the outset.
Yeah.
It's no one's getting hurt, no one's.
So everyone knows exactly what's going on,
and you tend to enjoy it more.
Yeah. And if you I'll explain to them, I was like, look, if you want to get married, I'm the wrong guy. Yeah. If you want to share a beautiful experience and build a beautiful relationship.
You're that confident.
Right? We can build a beautiful. It might be shit, right? But I guarantee it'll be fun.
But you've got to be confident about it and tell them.
Guarantee.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you'll have fun.
You'll have the best 30 seconds of your life.
Right? It might be 30 seconds of pumping, but it's all the excitement around that, right? And that's how I sort of phrase it. And a lot of people are like, cool, if you want that rock and roll excitement kind of thing, awesome. If you don't want that, then it's sort of go for something a bit more traditional. I think at some point in my life, how old are you, Matty?
29, I'm 30 this year.
30 this year, so I'm going to be 26 in a month. And so I think I'm a little bit behind.
I'm at a different stage in my life than you probably are.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the previous two relationships I was in, I sort of fell into the first two long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And even at that stage when I broke up, it was like, right, I'm having a few months where I just go and do whatever I want, and you do really enjoy it. Between the last relationship I had and this relationship, I wasn't with anybody else, and that's because I
took the time.
Yeah, no, I thought, right, when I broke up, I had a conversation with my brother and one of my good mates, is that I'm going to enjoy this time. Yeah. I'm gonna have a bit of fun with a few people, and then I started like going through the process of like talking to girls and all that type of stuff and blah 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 blah. I went on a couple of dates and I just thought, I'm not actually interested in just being with loads of people. Yeah. Like now, at my stage in my life now, I'm really not interested in it. Yeah,
you want some kind of security. And go back to it now.
Well, and I was probably because I've been used to it for so long now. And then I was very lucky that I met my girlfriend that I'm with now, because otherwise I probably would have been, doing all sorts of things.
It'd be interesting to know what your previous girlfriends were like, because mine. So I had two sort of proper girlfriends. They were both very posh, very well behaved, very disapproving of a lot of things that I did, drugs, cars, my past history with girls, none of them liked, and so they were very disapproving of things that I did and things that I loved, and so I think I was sort of tarred with the same brush. That's what happens with relationships, so that's why I quite enjoy having, I keep calling them these experiences, but where you sort of, you enjoy each other for as long as it works, and then when it doesn't work, you go, hey,
Not
you've had
working
such
now.
a great time. And I imagine that will change at some point.
Might do,
it's
it might
still
not
having
do.
the-
But it might not.
Which, and as long as you're enjoying it and doing whatever you
Yeah.
want, do you know what I mean?
I think I'd love to have kids. Because I think
Yeah.
it's so sad when you see someone who's just fucked around with women their whole life, and they're 60, and there's no one sat around their table.
Well, I'm at that stage as well of my life where, you know, I've started my business now. You know, that's going really well, and I
Really
need
impressive, by the way.
I need to thank you. I appreciate that. And I really need to focus on my day-to-day life and what I'm doing. You know, I've got 3 lads working for me now, an accounts lady and stuff like that. And it's weird, the change, even over the last year or two, it sort of hits you. Is like, I haven't got children or anything like that, but I've got responsibilities
Yeah.
to ensure that I keep this business going the way it is, because I've got the responsibility of the people that work for me. They've got kids, all that type of stuff. And if I fuck that up, I'm not just ruining it for myself anymore. I've got the responsibility of affecting their lives. And we discussed it in one of the previous podcasts. Is especially Reading. It's a largest town in the UK, but you'll know from being here, especially in Caversham and stuff like that. Everybody knows everyone.
Yeah.
It's not like London where like there's so many people about that everybody sort of comes in ins and outs of lives. In Caversham and Reading, you're always, you know, there's a cross section where you're always coming into contact with the same people. It might not be for years or anything like that, but like you end up coming back into contact with them.
Yeah.
And I feel that genuine responsibility for the community that has helped me grow and has given me the, you know, exceptional life I've managed to live. But I'm at that age now where it's my turn to give back and make sure I look after them type thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's a weird responsibility going from, you know, a kid that just
Very parental.
But
exactly, but you go out and getting fucked up and stuff like that.
I'm finding the same thing where I've got people in my shop who are working for me. You know, my new guy who's brought on, he's 35. My full-time staff is 33, and then the other guys are sort of your age and older. And being 25 and being in control of people's livelihoods.
So I've got 2 guys with 3 people that work for me that are older.
Yeah, and
you
it's
have
just
a
not
real
only
responsibility.
being the boss and being like, guys, you've got to listen to me and do what I say, but it's like if I make a call and that stops clients coming in, then these people are going to lose
their livelihood.
They've got to go home and feed their kids, you know. And it's an interesting sort of point to be at.
And it puts a certain amount of weight
yeah.
onto you from having no responsibility, like I did 3-4 years ago. The only responsibility I had was myself, obviously, to look after my family and stuff like that, and my girlfriend. But now, it's, you know, they're effectively the most important people that I need to look after. And the dynamic has changed, considering 3 years ago, I didn't even know who these people were.
Yeah.
Now, I have to perform every day to make sure I look after them effectively.
Fascinating.
So it's interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly what I think I was saying to my brother the other day. That's the transition I've seen. Is like, again, I used to go out, you know, just get fucked up, drink quite a lot, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're basically just trying to avoid that as much as physically possible. Because I was slowly managing sort of, finding myself, especially the ex, sort of gathering responsibilities and just not liking them.
And if you don't want them, there's no point going for it.
Yeah, and I just realised that there were sacrifices that I wasn't actually prepared to make at this point, and I don't want to make.
Yeah.
So I'm very much enjoying not having
and
responsibility.
And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. If
and my brain tells me now at 32 I'll probably be the same, but fuck, who knows? I might be like, right, it's time to have a kid now.
But it happens all of a sudden. Like, I'm not joking you. Between the age of sort of 27 and 29, you know, I've seen it with myself.
It's older now.
Yeah.
And what fucking
that's a lot older than the previous generation where it was 2021. Yeah. But, you know, for example, I noticed that transition for myself, that I came out of going out and getting drunk all the time, and then thought, right, I need to seriously look after myself and my career and my body and all that type of stuff. And then we've got the youngest bloke that works for me. When he first started, you know, he was going out, spending all his money on booze, getting bottles at the club, all that type of stuff. And he'd come back and he'd tell the older guys, as if we'd be like, yeah, that's really cool. Like, and we're all looking at him like, mate, like, what are you doing with your money? Like, blah, blah, blah. And he, you know, I've noticed a transition over the last year of him sort of getting more like, right, I need to buy a house, I need to look after my girlfriend, blah, 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 not spending money on that type of stuff. And it's interesting to see the transition from from a different perspective, as if to see it in someone else.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just an age thing. Again, you guys are still.
I think it's
You're
also
still young.
financial maturity.
Yeah.
So where my business is still very much in its sort of antithesis stage, you know, we're 8 months in. Still, you know, it's not like tons of cash coming in. So it's, I think, sensible people hit financial maturity and then life maturity, right? Idiots try and do life maturity and then try and catch up with financial maturity. So it's like, you know, till you've got a paycheck where you can go, okay, well now I'm going to look at life and kids and family. You know, it's similar to you, right? It's like you probably wouldn't look at kids until you were like, I can afford a kid.
And I've always, that's another reason what's pushed me into what I'm doing now, because you come to a point where you have to make a decision. Well, you don't have to make a decision, but if you want to achieve a certain goal, then it comes with...
Doing nothing is a decision.
Effectively like a business, comes with profits and loss.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There are some things you're going to have to give up, and there are some things that, you know, if you achieve those, it'd be worth giving up. Delayed gratification type thing is... Since we discussed about the farms and stuff like that, is that when I made that goal that I need a farm, I was like, okay, well, why am I going out, spunking all my money on food, booze, holidays, all these things that realistically in 5 years' time, if I avoided for 5-10 years, I could achieve that goal and have that safety and security to the point where I can have children and blah, 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 and then I can do whatever I want after that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than wait until I get to 35, 40, I've got no energy because I'm a lot older. My body's probably ruined because I've just been abusing it for however long. And you think, fuck, like, that's my personal goal. That's why it changed for me. But if you guys, you know, if you don't really want to do that types of things, then you're still doing exactly what you want to do.
Well, my life sort of goal has changed wildly since we've started taking music bits more seriously. And because I was starting an online business with I was an online coaching business because I wanted to move online so I could be more free, move around and stuff like that. But the amount of fucking effort it takes me sit still at a fucking desk and do that stuff.
I can't do it.
And I'm already good at personal training and I already have clients and that is earning me enough money to do this music shit that could go fucking anywhere. Because we have, which is quite cool. We've sort of seen like the possibility, like slightly sort of like grow, like what the fuck could possibly
every now and again you go to a new level, and each level you realise how far you are from the top. But each time you jump up, it's like, oh, you go a little bit further. Or someone goes, hey, you guys really need to meet this person. Can I book you for this festival?
It's cool and it's exciting. Each little dip, like, oh, we could do this, and then we go, hang on, we could do this. And like all of my life has changed to now. It's, I don't know. With you, like I am prepared. I'm not prepared to put in a lot of effort into something that will hinder my chances of that improving. Yeah. So I'm not. I mean, as much as I would love to earn sort of 8-10 grand a month at the moment, I know for a fucking fact that means I'm not really practicing guitar and singing that much. There's going to be gigs I'm going to have to say no to, shit like that. And I'm not prepared to do that at the moment.
That was similar to me. I was in the city. I was working a high-end sales job. I was doing quite well at it. I was selling I was doing 45 grand in sales a month. Selling clothes,
which is impressive.
Which is fucking a decent amount. I was getting some good checks through, and it's just like.
Wouldn't it be nice if they let you keep all that money that you made?
Well, I mean, I was on track. So you build the way that you build it all up. So you take half the commission when you sold it, half the commission when you collected the cash, right? Which is when 8 weeks later when you take the clothes out. So I'd sort of stacked it up to the point where I was making between 35 and 45k in sales a month. And the commission was about 8%. So if I'd stayed on, I would have been earning about 6 grand a month. Probably been about 6-7 grand a month now.
Pre-commission.
No, that's commission.
In commission, yeah. So that put me on about 9 grand take home. 9 grand before tax. I was like looking at that, and I was like, but I was working 16 hours a day. I was like,
is it worth it?
So it was like, look, well, you
at your age as well. Whereas
this is the thing. I was 24, and then I was like, Max, look, if you carry on this trajectory, you're going to be on 100 grand in less than a year. It was like, well, do I want to do that? Can I keep doing this every day? and I couldn't play music because I was so tired. I get to the weekend and I was so tired. So okay, when I'm 60, then I can buy my Porsche. I was like, that's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me being a wrinkly old man, and now I can finally the chicks will love this.
Yeah.
No.
And I've always thought that about, because I love my cars as well,
Yeah.
and obviously they're the worst fucking investment you can ever
Yeah.
make.
So stupid.
But
Yeah.
I'm always battling back and forth with this. Is what's the point of having the Porsche at 60 years old? You want the Porsche when you're
Get fucking down,
when
mate.
you're
If you can
25.
afford
Do you know what I mean?
it, get it. If you give a shit about it, fucking get it.
I wrote
But then I go back to the concept of with my business
Yeah.
is I can spend 80 grand on a car, and after spending 80 grand, it will still cost me £500 a month, tax, insurance, all that type of stuff, fuel. Or I can invest 80 grand into my business, and it'll net me.
Spend 15
Or-
grand
It'll,
on a fucking
it'll net me
car.
£4 or something like that, and it's like, well,
or you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, right?
Yeah.
And so you say you want the car, which is the liability that costs 50 grand.
Yeah.
So then you take your 50 grand and you
Invest
use
it,
that
yeah.
to buy a cash flow, and that cash flow will
Yeah.
do you say it's generous and it does 10%.
Mhm.
So that'll give you £5 grand per year, which is about 400 per month, which is what you use to lease the car with. And so when you finish paying for the car, you've got a cash flow that's worth X amount per month, and you've got the assets, which is worth, however much it is. And then you end up with both. So the cash flow that's worth 50k and the car that's worth 50k. That's, the logical way to do it. It's never buy an asset, always buy on finance.
But lease a depreciating asset,
Yeah.
purchase a appreciating
Yeah.
asset, and that is the point that I keep getting to.
One of the core
is
tenets of building wealth, right?
Yeah, well, I keep getting to the point where I'm like, I've got that asset that can buy the car now. Well, do I just buy another asset and I can get a better car next time?
I think
I can just keep flipping it and then
slide under
maybe I
that.
can get a better car, or I can flip it and then maybe I can get a better house.
Yeah, but-
and that's the
but as
I'm
soon as
stuck
you've
in
got-
that.
As soon as you've got the 50 grand, you spend the 50 grand, and then you spend that on something boring, and then as a well done present, then you buy yourself a car.
100%.
Yeah, because I think.
There's got to be some enjoyment, and
Yeah.
I've over the past 4 years, well, even the previous 5 years when I was building up to the point where I started my business, I've got fairly good at managing the delayed gratification
Yeah.
to the point now where I think that's the cycle I'm stuck in. I get to the point where I'm like, I can buy the car now, and I'm like, why don't I just delay it a bit more? Because then, as I said, you can increase or retire 5 years earlier, or do anything like
I'm
that.
intrigued. So, if 50 grand spare, what car is it for you?
50 grand.
Yeah, if you got 50 grand to spend on it.
So when I originally started the business, I wanted an M2 on A45.
Yeah.
Nice. M2, 100 all day.
Yeah, over the A45.
Yeah.
But now, as I said, I'm getting to that level now where I'm like, well, if I just invest a little bit more, I can get a GLC 63, or if I get to that level, then I flip it again more, I can get a AMG GT or something.
Or
like that.
definitely buy an Audi R8 V10. That'd be my one.
Well, again, that's the 100 grand level, really, isn't it? And that's
40k.
Or you buy one that's 10 years old,
Second
that's
hand,
already
yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
towards the bottom of it. Sort
and
of
to be
price.
fair, with the Audis, they don't tend to need that much maintenance, do they? Because that's the worry of buying an old
It's a
supercar. so far.
Lamborghini engine.
But then that also ties back to the concept I had, or we discussed earlier in the pod, is that if I start driving around in one of those at 29, my employees, the people that work for me, and various other people, they tend to get jealous and they'll think, oh, fucking dickhead, look, I'm doing all this work and blah,
so you
blah,
never
blah,
show
blah.
up to a client's house in a car nicer than theirs,
Yeah.
right? That's like the rule. And with your employees, you can phrase it in a certain way. So if you come in and you're the boss and you're, hey, look at me in my nice suit and my fast car, or if you sit everyone down, you're really transparent, and you go, hey guys, I just wanted to share something with you all. Okay, I hit my goals this year. So at the start of this year, I set these goals. So if I'm going to be able to do them, I'll be able to make this much money, right? And so I managed to do that. I've got myself a toy. And now what the aim is to have everyone else able to hit their goals and get their toy. And the way that I did it, so it was all reliant on this. I had to put this in to achieve my goal. And that then makes it really easy when you sit down with your staff member. I had a boss like this who was a stud.
It's a good
And
concept.
he followed
So
through.
you push
and he
them
did
towards
his
their
thing.
goals as well.
And he'd sit down and he'd go, Max, look, I'm going to retire with this much. And this is why and this is how. If you want to do the same, you can. This is why and this is how. and that sort of leading from the front, you know, when you see like Lord of the Rings and they're charging in and the king's out in front of everyone on his horse with his sword, that turns everyone on and, you know, gets everyone going, I think. But it's just how you frame it. And I think showing up in a pink Lamborghini definitely sends the wrong image.
Yes.
But showing up in a car that's nice enough that everyone aspires to be in your shoes, I think that's really that can be quite
but I
cool.
think if you're already thinking about that, you're already the sort of personality that's not gonna be that showy twatty guy.
So I've never, you know, I like nice clothes, watches, cars and stuff like that, but I've never really been like I like them. I know that there's a lot of psychology behind it to say that most people only like those things because they want to show it to other people. I've actually never been fucking interested in showing or anything, or like telling, or telling other people about it. Do you know what I mean? My favourite watch that I've got is £35.
Yeah.
You know, that's my absolute. It's a Casio,
Matt, I love
Data
Casio.
Bank. Honestly, my favourite watch going, and it's nothing to do with the price tag. It's all to do with how it looks, how I sort of feel when I'm wearing it. Like I just really like it, and I've never. You know, you get those as you show people, like I mentioned earlier, is you get the guy that is doing that shitty job, but he's earning loads of money. He's not happy off the field. He buys the house to keep up with the Joneses and all that type of stuff. I've never really got that concept because I just want to do it because I want to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
But it's interesting what you assign value to in that sense. So I mean, if you look at my wardrobe, I've got Tom Fords in there. Like my suits, I've got Tom Fords. I've got all these fancy things. My favourite jacket is this jacket. I've got 20 quid, which is my Carhartt jacket. Right, which is the more paint and shit and holes it gets in it, the better it looks, and it makes depressed girls just drop at my feet. Right.
Your target market.
Black eyeliner and scar marks, sort of.
Yeah.
But I fucking adore that. I fucking love it, and it's not. I don't think I'm impressing anyone walking around in my builder's jacket full of holes.
But you like the way it looks.
I love it.
Yeah.
Man. And I put that up on the same level as my Tom Ford suit. And I paid £20 for the Carhartt one. I paid a bit more for the Tom Ford.
Are you gonna wear that on Saturday?
What's happening on Saturday?
Peaky Blinders.
Oh fuck, are we going to that thing?
Oh fuck! I think I've got stand do.
Or we might.
I might have a stag do. Shit. I'll see.
If not, do you want to do mushrooms? No.
Well, you and I were gonna hang out.
Well, on Saturday.
Yeah.
Will Brazil's coming on the pod, isn't he?
There you go. Well,
Who?
I made a business.
Potentially afterwards.
Do you want this
Get an early
mushroom?
one in.
We could do an adventure. I need an adventure.
Oh, do you want to come again?
Spiritual.
Do you want to come here again?
Of course.
There you are then. There you go. That's sorted.
But so we're memories down here. We've got nothing.
2 hours 43.
I want to come on the mushroom.
2 hours 43 on camera.
This is still going. Oh yeah. Apparently 30 gigs is not enough space.
No.
Really?
You so see.
Right. Should we wrap up?
Why not?
Let's do it.
How do we wrap up a podcast? Do we do closing remarks?
Easy.
we all kiss.
Closing. Yeah, exactly. Closing remarks.
Closing
Maximus.
remarks. Go on then, Max.
Thank you very much for coming on the pod. We've enjoyed both yourself.
Hang on, we know the wrap up. Go, what was your closing
Robbie's
remarks?
time.
Oh, so my closing remarks. Thanks for having me on. I've really enjoyed myself sort of talking about this. I'm glad we've sort of hashed out zombie survival plans.
I think that's the most important part.
Gender politics.
Mm-hmm. 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments.
Don't fuck kids.
Generally politics. Politics and law systems. I'm glad we got that one out. Lots of drugs. I think we've all agreed that drugs should be legal and we're all grown ups.
Yeah.
I think that was a really interesting conversation. We got through it.
And I would always like to try and end on this because we're predominantly a business and fitness podcast. Obviously,
that's completely what
your side of things is more the business side of things. Robbie's, I guess, is probably more the fitness.
A little bit so.
What book do you think you have read that has had the most impact on your life?
I'm going to give you 3 books.
Go for it.
So the first book is a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Woo!
Right?
Douglas Adams,
By
let's
a guy
go.
called Douglas Adams. And the plot of the book is it's a philosophy book masquerading as a comedy. And the point of the book is that they build this supercomputer.
Look at that fucking forearm.
To ask it the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. What is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? And the supercomputer, which is the Earth, right? The Earth is, and we're all part of the computer, right?
We all came
the
from it.
simulation. And after billions of years, it finally is ready. And it goes, the answer to the ultimate question of life and universe and everything is 42. And people are like, what the fuck? And they go, well, maybe we asked it the wrong question then. So to match it to the answer, they ask the Earth, can you tell us the ultimate question? And the Earth says, no, but I can design the computer for you that can answer that question. And so the whole thing is, what's the meaning of life? You're going to need a bigger computer to figure that out.
Yeah.
But 42 in computer code is an asterisk, which means unassigned.
Yeah.
So the full thing is, well, what's the meaning of life? It's unassigned. It could be whatever you want it to be. And I thought that was a really cool sentiment. Second book, for one line from it, which I'm going to butcher the quote. Well, I think I sent it to Rob actually.
We sent that picture.
Which is a quote from. It's a sort of quasi religious book called the. Begins with an E.
Epoch.
What the fuck is it called?
Or the Book of Enoch.
No.
Yeah, I remember you sending it to me. I think you typed it out there, so I don't think there'll be a picture of it.
Who's the one you were trying to tell me about, Max?
Yeah, I must have typed it out, but basically that's where it says that a lot of people assign their purpose of life to being the pursuit of additional comfort, which is such a sad thing, you know, that you'll toil 18 hours a day to lie down at the end of the day in silk rather than cotton. And I was like, I'd much rather take cotton and spend the 18 hours of the day filling my mind, my body, my soul with excitement, adventure, really wild things. And then the third book would probably be Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
By Robert Kiyosaki, just because that sort of frame things as you don't have to go and do the job that your dad did. You can forge your own way, and if you continue to learn more about this, you can continue to go down the rabbit hole. I think those three, in conjunction, have greatly sort of directed where my life is and where it's going and what my motivations are.
Excellent. Robbie?
Books. So there's all three the only three books I've ever read.
Go on.
No. I mean, one of them's actually here. The War of Art that you've got here by Stephen Pressfield, I've really enjoyed.
Superb
Sort of
book.
about it's about just feeling, particularly about sort of feeling resistance to doing what you've got to do to achieve what you want, basically. And all the
Strong
little
concept.
all the little things we do to lie to ourselves to just basically avoid doing what needs to be done.
The
And
procrastination.
it's a bit helps you avoid procrastination, exactly. But I really enjoyed that one. There's another one called Switch, which I really enjoyed, and it uses the analogy of your sort of your mind being split in two, and so you've got your mind is like an elephant with a rider on top. So the elephant is the emotional side of you, and the rider is the tactical thought processing sort of part of you. And it doesn't fucking matter how tactical and clued in you are, if you've not got your fucking emotions in check, that elephant's taking control and he's taking you on a different path. And it's the same vice versa. If you've got your emotions in check, but the rider has not got the right path, he's not thinking of the path, there's not a clear path of what you're going to do, and you're not organised, you're not going to go in the right direction. So it's all about having the balance between looking after yourself and pushing to trying to find your limits, basically. Yeah, that was a big one. So Switch is number 2.
And who's that written by?
I can't remember. Chip and Dean, I believe. Chip and Dean, yeah, that's the one. Great book. But yeah, so that's. Oh, was there any other books? I don't know. No, I don't think so. Those are my 2 favourites.
Excellent. Thank you for coming on, gentlemen.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
good fun.
That was really fun. How long did we do?
In 10 minutes would be 4 hours.
That's Rogan time, baby.
Yeah.
That is, which is a fucking
The Celestine prophecy. That's the last
Celestine
Celestine prophecy.
Excellent.
There you go.
Well, Matthew, thank you as always.
My pleasure, mate. It was always good fun, and also particularly with you lunatics, add an extra. I think when I introduced my cousin to you, obviously just before we came here. He was saying, for you particularly, you're a weird blend of insanity mixed with some business acumen and quiet reflection, which I think is indicative.
That's a very nice way of saying
That's a
it.
very nice way of saying, yeah.
I think it's indicative of you three as it is, though, because sort of tying in sort of everything that we've been talking about when we're talking about all have a very similar upbringing. We didn't come from the hood, from the steel characters that you obviously hang out with that way to create our own obstacles, as it were. From me, from my own perspective of just the sheer fact of knowing you three and being around you three more is very incentivizing for me. It's very, very motivating. So I just want to say thank you just for the three of you for being who you are.
Oh.
Thanks for being our
Don't
mate.
know.
Yeah.
Because, mate, we fucking love being around you.
Yeah,
You're all fucking
We
good.
appreciate it. Appreciate it all, buddy.
Yeah, it was fucking beautiful. Especially if
see
we get
where-
more shit like this coming out.
Exactly.
There you
Let's
go.
see where this fun leads, shall we?
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us on.
I'd love to come back as well.
Well, we ran out of film because my phone needs more storage. But for everyone who's listening, just remember, like and subscribe because it means we can keep this shit going.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Well done, Charles.
Now we're all going to kiss each other. Shame the camera's not on.
Yeah.